Sei was just a regular girl until the death of her parents. Then she is turned into a servant by her uncle's family and forced into a disastrous marriage. Her uncle and his family plan to marry her into the Beastman clan known for eating humans. Sei is, as usual, doing her daily duties. This time she has to clean the whole manor all by herself. The poor girl is too weak, so she faints. There is no pity for her as her aunt pours cold water on her to wake her up. She scolds Sei for being lazy. She doesn't like this niece who returned to the family after a failed marriage and is determined to make use of her. Sei's cousin, Chio, appears, pretending to be concerned about Sei, but really, she just came to mock her. She tells Sei this is what she deserves for ruining their Fujigamine family name and warns Sei to stay away from her. Two maids are gossiping about the Fujigamine's daughters. The first maid doesn't understand why the madam is nice to her younger daughter, while she makes her eldest do chores even servants wouldn't do. The other maid reveals Sei is just their niece. Like the uncle's family, she looks down on this divorced niece. She feels comfortable gossiping about her, until the person herself appears. Sei is not offended and lets the two maids run away. Our female lead's life is really tragic. When she was 15, her parents died in a fire while she was the only survivor. She was forced to live with her uncle's family, but instead of the love she expected, all she got was hate and wickedness. Her uncle didn't waste time to let her know where she stands. He only took her in because she has their family name. His family worked her like a servant, insulted her, and reminded her daily that she was unwanted. By 16, they had already sold her off into a marriage for their own benefit. But that marriage didn't last long, and soon Sei is kicked out of the man's house. She tried to find a job, but no one wanted a maid as young as her. With no choice, she returns to her uncle's house, and the abuse continues. Sei endures it all because at least she has a place to stay. But all these chores are ruining her body, and even the skin on her hands is starting to peel off. Her only comfort in this world is Maru, her loyal old dog, the last gift from her parents. Sei stops feeling sad when her little friend comes rushing up to her. As long as she has Maru, Sei is okay. He is her only family, but Sei's nightmare isn't over. The wicked uncle and his family are having a meeting. Sei's cousin, Chio, learns the family plan. Her parents are eager to form a connection with the powerful Kamishiro family. They plan to marry her to the terrifying Beastmen, the rumored human eaters. Horrified, Chio pushes the marriage onto Sei instead, and her father agrees. Sei is heartbroken hearing this news. Everyone knows who the Kamishiros are. They are a beast clan full of white wolves who like to eat up anyone they dislike. The family head is even worse. He is a well-known criminal, and that is the man Sei is being forced to marry. Her uncle doesn't really care which of the girls gets married, but since he has always hated Sei, he decides to let her do it. He roughly grabs her hair and warns her never to reveal the truth of her first failed marriage to anyone. This time, she must be useful to them. Sei is on her way to the Kamishiro's clan. She's terrified, and she had to leave Maru behind. Her aunt promises to take care of the dog for her, but she doesn't believe them. Our dear girl soon starts crying. She is afraid, but there is nothing she can do. She makes up her mind to be the best bride for the Kamishiro family. She must serve her husband well. The Kamishiro family are also expecting her. Standing in a room is a man. Well, half-man, or beast-man, whatever. A golden-eyed wolfman is waiting. It seems this beast-man is Sei's husband, and he is not happy. Sei arrives at the massive Kamishiro estate shaking with fear. This is the home of the Empire's legendary apothecaries, and her new husband, the sixth lord of the Kamishiro family, Lord Suhaku Kamishiro. But our female lead feels no joy. All she can think about is if her husband is as scary as the rumors claim he is. Everyone warned her he's terrifying. Chio even claimed that the Kamishiros ate someone last week. Although she wishes Sei to have a happy life with her new husband, we all know she is just cursing her to die. Sei still carries that fear. But when she sees the man she is supposed to marry, she is stunned. Can this handsome man with white hair and golden eyes really be the renowned monster and human eater? Answer: yes. When the man knows she is Sei Fujigamine, his new bride, he immediately becomes angry and hostile. He clearly isn't pleased to be marrying a human like her. He detests humans so much he would rather watch his family fall into ruin than marry a human. But his stubborn mother forced this marriage and this human bride on him. He is, however, determined to chase her away. He begins to change into his beast form, planning on scaring her so much she will regret coming here in the first place. And Sei is indeed scared. Who wouldn't be? Seeing this giant white wolf appear in front of you. Just one bite and it is over for her. But she knows she can't show this fear. So when Lord Suhaku asks if she is afraid, Sei lies that she isn't. He doesn't believe her at all, especially seeing the way she keeps trembling. He warns her to leave if she doesn't want to get eaten right now. The man has given her a chance to escape. Sei would love nothing more than to do that, but a life even worse than this is waiting for her if she leaves here. Returning to her uncle's house will be worse than death, so she decides to stay. She is prepared to be Suhaku's wife. The man gives her an impossible challenge: to make the other beastmen accept her as his bride. He doesn't believe she can do it, certain she will fail and run away soon. Sei immediately falls to the floor as soon as he leaves. Those people didn't lie. Lord Suhaku is seriously frightening. She is ready to begin her mission, but only then does she understand how difficult it is. The people here all seem to dislike her and avoid her every day. The servants mock her. The beastmen gossip about her. Nobody wants her there. They all believe she is going to run away, especially since Lord Suhaku hates humans. There is no way their marriage will work out. Sei is disappointed. Ever since her parents died, she tried to find a place where she is welcomed, but no one seems to want her. Not her uncle's family, not her first husband, and now not even the whole Kamishiro estate. But our girl isn't going to give give up. She is determined to find a place for herself no matter what it takes. She decides to survive the only way she knows, by working herself to the bone. She is determined to prove her usefulness and goes about helping the servants do their work. What she doesn't know is that someone is watching her. Lord Suhaku finds this new bride mysterious, especially that sweet scent on her. He seems to know her from somewhere. Our female lead has spent 10 days in the Kamashiro's mansion, but there is still no progress. The people in the mansion still dislike her, always gossiping about her every day. They believe she is just faking her concern and is pretending to help them out. In reality, she must look down on them. They can't wait for her to leave. Sei already expected this behavior from them. The humans and beastmen have always lived apart. They never had any relationship, and even when they did, it was always unpleasant. Sei knew they were never going to accept her easily. In fact, she has no hopes for this marriage. She is only helping the servants out while waiting for this engagement to be called off. Surrounded by people who don't like her, Sei desperately misses the one person who does, Maru. She is busy thinking of him when suddenly someone crashes into her. Sei sees a maid behind her. The girl has dropped the clothes she just washed and is freaking out about it. Our female lead decides to help her, and the two go off to do the laundry together. The maid feels bad for letting the Lord's fiancé help her out, but Sei doesn't see anything wrong with it. She even bandages the girl's injured wrist, making sure she is fine. The girl is touched by Sei's actions and smiles at her, thanking her. Sei is almost blinded by that beautiful smile and starts blushing. The two are just about to start a cute friendship when Suhaku suddenly appears. He doesn't look very happy to see Sei still here and drags her off to scold her again. He doesn't believe she actually wants to help the servants. He thinks she's pretending, just like all humans do. When Sei asks him if he really dislikes humans, he tells her he does. The humans have always hated the beastmen, looking down on them and calling them filthy animals. He believes Sei is the same too. Now Sei understands why those beastmen all stayed away from her. But Suhaku is wrong. She doesn't dislike the beast tribe. Suhaku is eager to do everything he can to get rid of this human fiancé. He tries to scare her off by telling her the things she would need to do if they get married, live among other beastmen, and attend social events with him. He tells Sei she will also have to take care of his physical needs, especially during his rut period. I think we all know what that is, mating season. Sei can almost hear her own heart beating, but it isn't love. She knows Suhaku will want his own children, but the thought triggers her traumatic memories of her ex-husband. She imagines she is still with him and starts to have a panic attack. Unexpectedly, it is this seemingly heartless husband that rushes to help her. He hugs her tightly, comforts her until she calms down, then he pushes her away. He tries to go back to his tough guy image, but we all know now that he is just a softie. Sei also feels this way. Held in his strong arms and hearing his voice, for the first time in years, Sei feels safe. Our female lead's past marriage was anything but pleasant. In fact, it was a nightmare. The man wasn't someone she loved, but a husband prepared by her uncle's family. Her uncle, eager to form connections, married her off to the only son of a kimono seller. Her ex-husband was good at pretending. In front of others, he was a cheerful person, which made everyone around jealous of her marriage. But in private, he was a beast. He would hit Sei, calling her nasty names, and would even chase her away sometimes. Just like all women beaters, he would apologize later, only to repeat it the next day. Our girl is just minding her business, washing her clothes when the rumors start up again. The nosy beastmen, while watching her, mock her efforts. They think she is useless. No matter what she does or how much she helps them, they would never trust a human like her. Hearing her fiancé's family call her useless just makes Sei determined to prove them wrong. She goes about helping with everything. Sewing, sweeping, cleaning, washing, just doing anything. Sei tells herself she needs to try harder, but she knows it might not work. If even her own future husband can't accept her, then it is impossible for his people to. But she still wants to keep trying. She pushes her human body far beyond its limits, all because of that one moment of warmth from Suhaku. But she might have forgotten something. She isn't a beastman. Her fragile human body can't take it anymore. And one day, she faints in her room. Lord Suhaku might pretend not to care, but he still notices Sei's absence during the day. He thinks he has scared her into running away, but Sei's new friend tells him she fainted from a fever. The maid had something to ask Sei and went looking for her. Otherwise, our girl might really have died. Suhaku really doesn't want to interact with humans. All his life, they always mocked and insulted him. It doesn't matter that his family is noble. The humans look down on them just because they are beastmen. What annoys Suhaku is how they act all superior, yet they are very weak. He always thought humans are evil, but this one human girl makes him feel something he doesn't understand. Sei is asleep, but she is having a nightmare again. This time, she is tied up and locked underground by her aunt. No matter how hard she begs, the woman refuses to free her and punishes her to stay there for a night. Even worse, Chio comes to mock Sei, eager to enjoy the look of suffering on Seiya's face. Next it is her uncle, who finds her an embarrassment for being divorced and returning home. He even wishes she was burned to death with her parents. Sei begs for mercy in her sleep, and then she feels someone beside her. Sei wakes up to see Lord Suhaku sitting at her bedside. He is here to take care of his little fiancé. He checks her temperature and even feeds her the Kamishiro family's legendary medicine, something priceless and usually reserved for the highest elites. She can't believe she is eating such precious medicine. This drug is said to be able to heal any sickness in the world. Why would he give something so valuable to someone like her? Lord Suhaku watches her sleep. He has noticed some things about his fiancée. She is far too thin, her ribs are visible, she cried in her dreams, and she even begged to die. This is not a spoiled noble girl. This is someone who has suffered deeply. Now Suhaku is curious about her life. He thought she would be like those other spoiled women since her Fujigamin family is a wealthy one. But now it seems something terrible was really happening to her. Suhaku feels bad because he knows how unwelcoming his people have been. He knows his female servants have always been suspicious of her. The little maid confirms everything. No matter what Sei does, the servants still insult her behind her back. Suhaku realizes the truth. He caused all this. His hostility made everyone dislike her. He scared her on purpose and pushed her too hard, all because he doesn't want this marriage. Yet she still smiles at him. She speaks nicely to him and thanks him. No matter how cruel he is, she still stays. Why? For the first time, Suhaku doesn't know what to do with this feeling in his chest. The next morning, Sei is awake and feeling better. She believes it must be the medicine Suhaku gave her and is grateful to him. For once, she didn't have any scary or sad dreams. She is ready to go out and start working again. She doesn't feel comfortable staying in the Kamishiro-e estate without doing anything. She is afraid those people would see her as useless. But when she steps out, she sees something that gives her a fright. There is an unexpected person sitting outside her door. When she opens her door, Lord Suhaku is sitting outside waiting for her. He is here to see Sei and make sure she is all right, but he is too shy to say it. The two sit in silence for a while until Sei starts apologizing. She thinks Suhaku is unhappy with her, but he stops her and admits he was the one who caused trouble for her. Sei is stunned when she hears him asking about her health. Seeing her going out so early, he is sure she is going back to do those servants' chores again. He warns her to stop doing that and says he has something to tell her today. Sei has prepared herself for the worst. She is convinced Suhaku is about to break off their engagement, but nothing prepares her for what she is about to hear. This time, when Suhaku turns into his beast form, Sei is not at all scared. She knows the wolf isn't a monster. He is the one who stayed by her side, cared for her, and protected her when she was at her weakest. Sei has never received any love or care from others, even when sick. So what Suhaku did is enough to gain her trust. Suhaku finally says the words Sei never expected to hear. He tells her he doesn't trust humans, but he is willing to trust her. Suhaku doesn't know what is wrong with him. At first, it was this woman's scent that drew him in. Her scent was familiar, but he is sure he has never met her before. Curious, he decided to watch her, but somehow fell for her innocent gaze. Now he is ready to give humans a chance. No one is more shocked and happy than Sei right now. Not only is Suhaku finally calling her name, he is ready to trust her. But her happiness doesn't last long because she remembers her secret, the one her uncle forced her to hide, the truth about her first marriage. Sei doesn't want to deceive Suhaku. If Suhaku wants trust, she must tell him the truth. So our female lead goes ahead to tell Suhaku she has already been married once. Sei is terrified just recalling her past marriage. She tries to explain but trembles so badly she can barely speak. Suhaku gently stops her. He doesn't care why she divorced. He doesn't want her to force herself to relive the trauma. He only cares about her. The male lead understands why she was so scared before. He believes her failed marriage must be why she isn't close to her uncle's family. But what bothers him is the knowledge that there is another unmarried daughter in the Fujigamin's house. For them to send a divorced daughter out means the other daughter refused to marry a beastman. So Sei, the abused, unwanted niece, was forced to take her place. The male lead lets Sei know he isn't bothered. Her past doesn't change anything. She is his fiancée, and he intends to keep it that way. Such a sweet confession, and yet all Sei can do is cry. The great wolf lord panics over his crying human bride. Now he wonders if she even wants to stay by his side or actually wants to break off the engagement. He is already panicking when Sei finally tells him she is very happy. In fact, our female lead has been very afraid. She was worried she would be chased out of the Kamashiro's estate just like she has been chased out of everywhere else. Ever since her parents died in that fire, it seemed like Sei had no place to go. No one wanted her, until Lord Suhaku took her hands. Now she also wants to put her trust in him too. On the other side of town, things aren't so rosy and sweet. Sei's wicked cousin Chio is throwing a tantrum. She can't believe the horrible marriage proposals being brought to her. She finds all the men irritating. What she wants is a perfect husband, the kind she can show off to Sei and use to make her cousin jealous. Just the thought of how terrified Sei must be living among the beastmen makes Chio very happy. She believes Sei must be miserable now, wishing she was never married into such a terrifying place. Little does she know she is wrong. For some reason, Chio keeps comparing herself to Sei. She believes she is young, super cute, and better than Sei. Therefore, she must find the perfect husband, so she can rub her marriage in Sei's face and make her feel more miserable. What a psychopath. But as they say, wishes never come true, especially not for someone as terrible as Chio. Chio returns home and receives a letter. For a moment, she thinks it is a rich, handsome admirer, only to discover it is from someone she considers beneath her. Irritated and bored without Sei to torment, she actually starts missing the terrified expression Sei always made. Her day takes a turn when Sei's dog suddenly barks at her. Disgusted and hating anything connected to Sei, Chio plots to get rid of the dog, but her mother refuses. She wants to keep the dog alive so she can use it as an excuse to squeeze more money from the Kamishiro family. Angry, Chio goes to complain to her father, but he snaps at her for bothering him with something so meaningless. Just then, an assistant arrives with a letter from the Kamishiro estate. Convinced it must be a letter to cancel the engagement, Chio tries to snatch it, only for her father to slam the table and order her out. She leaves, feeling extremely wronged. She has always been her parents' priority, but now everything is about Sei and her marriage. Chio is consumed with jealousy and hatred. In her mind, Sei has stolen her parents, and for that, she vows never to forgive her. Meanwhile, Sei remains blissfully unaware that a target is being placed on her back. She still believes she must be dreaming now that Suhaku has accepted her as his fiancée. She is determined to become the perfect wife for him. Sei receives a visit from the little maid she once helped. The girl is here to check on Sei and see if she is better. Sei suddenly remembers. It was this maid who found her in her room when she fainted. If she hadn't come, who knows what would have happened. Sei is both thankful and sorry. She believes she caused the girl trouble and apologizes. The maid can't accept this apology, especially since she also has a little secret she is hiding from Sei. She isn't a good person like Sei thinks. Even though Sei was so kind to her, she avoided her because she was afraid of what the other beastmen would say if they saw them together. She feels guilty and begs for Sei's forgiveness, but Sei is simply happy someone wants to talk to her. The two decide to become friends, and the maid introduces herself as Riri, a squirrel beast woman. Riri explains why the beastmen distrust humans. Humans have used their power to oppress them, even having beastmen arrested over rumors alone. Their peaceful lives were destroyed all because of the humans. Riri is convinced Sei is different. She wants to help clear Sei's name. She promises to tell everyone how kind Sei truly is, including the Lord himself. And just then, Lord Suhaku arrives. Lord Suhaku claims he came for something important, but the moment he tries to speak, he starts stammering. Before Sei can figure out what is wrong, a man suddenly appears behind Suhaku and exposes him. Suhaku doesn't have anything important to say. He came simply because he wanted to see Sei. Suhaku is annoyed. His feelings are exposed this easily, but he still tries to pretend he isn't shy. The man points out how nervous he is. The two start arguing, and if I didn't know better, I would think they are a couple. The newcomer is Suhaku's aide, Tadamasa. He still can't believe Suhaku finally agreed to having a human as his bride. Tadamasa then turns to Sei, telling her she can stop pretending now. She no longer needs to do servant work or act humble. She can flaunt her new status as Suhaku's wife-to-be in front of those female servants who insulted her. Everyone is shocked to hear Tadamasa speak like this, but Sei refuses. She never planned to flaunt in front of those servants. She is the only human among beastmen. If she did that, she would never gain their trust. She knows she must gain the beastmen's trust slowly and respectfully. Sei is determined to do her best and eventually get them to accept her as Suhaku's fiancée. Everyone is shocked by her maturity, but they are also pleased to hear this, especially Tadamasa, who ends up flustered for the first time. He apologizes for saying such things, but Sei doesn't get angry because he is telling the truth. Plus, she believes the man is trying to help her out. Tadamasa is stunned to see her smiling and doesn't understand why she isn't angry with him. He looks so confused, Lord Suhaku can't hold it anymore. He actually bursts into laughter. He is proud that Sei managed to throw his composed assistant off balance. He praises Sei for being able to get his assistant flustered for the first time. Sei, however, is blushing because Suhaku looks so good smiling, and he is actually smiling for her. It makes her happy. The men continue making fun of each other. Tadamasa points out that Suhaku is actually smiling. He usually carries such a cold face. It must be because Sei is here. Watching the two of them, Sei feels like they seem more like friends than servant and master. The three of them go for a walk. The male lead has asked Riri to announce to the other servants that Sei is officially his fiancée. Afterwards, he shyly reveals the real reason he came. He wants to take Sei somewhere special. Their first date turns out to be the medicine room. Not the most romantic place, but for Suhaku, it's special because nobody else is ever allowed inside. This is Lord Suhaku's workplace, where he plants all his medical herbs and creates medicine. He tells Sei apart from him, no one else is allowed in here. He brought Sei here because he wants some private time with her. Inside the medicine room, Suhaku fusses over Sei non-stop, worried the smell might bother her or that she might fall. Sei reassures him she's fine, but he still offers to hold her hand to prevent her from falling. Suhaku wants to know if Sei has ever seen a beastman actually eat a human. Sei realizes the truth. She has only ever heard rumors from different people. She has never actually seen it happen. Suhaku tells her a secret. The taste of human blood is like drugs to the beastmen. Once they taste it, they can never forget the taste or stop craving it. However, the only beastmen who eat people are those who have tasted human blood. But this issue has caused a lot of problems between the beastmen and the human race. The humans believe all beastmen eat people, but it isn't true. Some of the beastmen clan, like the Kamashiros, hate human eaters. Suhaku promises Sae she is safe. He has never eaten a human before and never has anyone in his family. He promises to protect Sei. Moved, Sei confesses that she's no longer afraid because she now has him by her side. The words make Suhaku so shy, he almost kicks her out just to hide his red face. He rushes to find some work to do to hide his nervousness. Sei isn't ready to go, however, and offers to help him do some work. They begin planting herbs and mixing medicines together. Sei is happy he didn't refuse her. She watches Lord Suhaku make medicine and admires him even more. The beastman's medicine is known to be super good. It cures any illness. In fact, all the previous emperors have been using it. Sei knows her family company wants to start selling this medicine overseas. The Kamashiros also want to spread the medicine, and so the two families decided to join through marriage. Sei knows her marriage is just to seal a business contract, but she wants more than that. She wants to be useful to this man. Her chance comes when Suhaku asks her to read a foreign medical text, and Sei reads the language effortlessly. She explains her father once taught her during the 15 years they lived abroad. Back then, her father moved abroad to start up the Fujigamine Trading Company, and she and her mother moved together with him. She was always interested in foreign novels, so her father bought her a few books. He would teach her those languages as they read together, but after she returned to the country, she was forbidden from learning any foreign languages. Suhaku is confused by her story. He doesn't understand why a daughter of the Fujigamine family would be stopped from speaking foreign languages. Her father worked so hard to teach her, so why was she stopped from using it? Suhaku is shocked when she quietly reveals the truth. After her father died, her uncle forbade her from reading, burned her books, and destroyed the last gifts her father gave her. This time, Suhaku can no longer hide how angry he is. He knew something must have happened to make her wish she was dead, but he never expected it to be so bad, and for such horrible treatment to come from her own family. Suhaku feels bad for making Sei remember such bad memories. Sei doesn't blame him nor her uncle, even though her uncle has always hated her father and also hates her too. She is grateful to him for taking her in. Just as Sei wishes, she can finally help Suhaku. He wants her to translate the medical text for him. Sei is beginning to doubt herself now. She doesn't feel she is good enough and asks him to find an expert, but Suhaku refuses. He wants Sei to do the job and reminds her of all the efforts her father put into training her. He advises her not to disappoint her father. Sei knows he is right. She remembers all the times her father praised her and is ready to make him proud. She also wants to do this for Suhaku. He could have found an expert, but he chose her to do it. She must repay his trust. Sei is beginning to regret praying so hard now. She is staying up late at night trying to translate the book. She wants to be useful to Lord Suhaku, but right now she can barely read anything in this text. It has been so long since she read a foreign text, and this book is full of difficult medical terms. But still, Sei is happy to do it. She finally gets to read the foreign text she loves and be useful to her new husband. Meanwhile, Suhaku is far from calm. In fact, our male lead is furious. He asked Tadamasa to carry out an investigation on Sei's background, and what he hears makes him very angry. From what the maids said, the Fujigamins have been treating Sei very badly. They refuse to give her food or let her sleep properly, and would even lock her up claiming they were disciplining her. Suhaku feels like destroying everything right now. He transforms into his beast form, his rage shaking the room. Even Tadamasa retreats in fear. Suhaku orders his aide to send a message to the Fujigamines. He is planning on holding a party to announce his engagement to Sei. He wants to use this party to warn the Fujigamine family. Back at the Fujigamine home, Jiru Fujigamine has received the letter announcing his niece's engagement to the Kamishiro family. The rest of the family are with him. Chio is enraged and jealous. She isn't pleased to hear a party is being held for her cousin and plans to humiliate Sei at the ball. Chio's mother is happy to hear the engagement is still going on. She was afraid they would call it off, and her source of money would be gone. Her husband also thinks the same thing. He despises the Beastmen but plans to exploit their medicine once Sei marries Suhaku. He will use it to make himself rich. They have no idea Suhaku's invitation is not a celebration, but a warning. The day of the engagement party arrives. Sei dresses in a gown specially prepared by Suhaku. She is nervous because for the first time, she will stand before both families as the future Lady Kamishiro. Our female lead is afraid, wondering if she will be able to host this party well. Not only as Suhaku's fiancée, but also as Fujigamini's daughter. The girl desperately needs her companion, Maru, right now. Riri brings some white gloves for Sei to wear, but when she does, it completely exposes the scars on Sei's palms. They were the burn marks she got from the fire that killed her parents. Riri is sorry for her, and they decide to stick to her normal black gloves. Riri starts doing Sei's hair. She and all the other Kamishiro estate maids will attend the party as servers. She earnestly wishes to see both Sei and Suhaku happy. Sei is grateful for her friend. Riri might not know, but just seeing her smile is enough to encourage Sei. The couple meets up outside to head to the party. When Suhaku sees Sei, he freezes. Blushing, stammering, completely undone, he can't believe how beautiful she looks. Sei feels the same. He's so handsome it leaves her breathless. Now she is afraid to stand next to him because he is so beautiful. Suhaku tells her not to be scared because he is going to be by her side. They head into the grand ballroom together. Meanwhile, Chio arrives with her fiancé, Kiyoshi Kaneko, intending to show him off to Sei. She is prepared to laugh at Sei, but is stunned by how beautiful the hall and the Kamishiro's estate are. It is worse when the fiancé she brought also starts praising her sister. Chio is about to show her ugly side, but she still needs to use him to make Sei jealous. Her fiancé is Kiyoshi Kaneko, the heir to a large trading company. Chio believes he must be better than Sei's beast fiancé, but reality proves her wrong. Her great fiancé tells her he cannot even afford to have such a grand party for her. Kaneko informs her that the Kamishiros are not just wealthy, they are a noble family and important to the entire nation because of their medicines. Even the emperor relies on their drugs. Chio thought that was just a rumor. Kaneko tells her the Kamishiro are a noble beast clan family. They might not appear in public very often, but they are the most respected in society or among nobles. They are a very powerful family. Chio is starting to feel regret. The only way she can cope is by convincing herself that Sei's fiancé is just some ugly beast man with a horrible personality. His medicine must be the only good thing about him, but she is about to be slapped in the face. Our couple arrives and the whole crowd starts talking about them. They keep praising the two for being a good match. Chio also looks back and is shocked to see the handsome Suhaku. She cannot believe this handsome man was the one she was supposed to marry, and she gave him to Sei. Chio can't believe she just gave such an opportunity away to Sei. Not only is this man rich, but he is also handsome. Suddenly, she doesn't find the fiancé she brought so attractive anymore. Even in wealth, he can't compare to the Kamashiro's family or Lord Suhaku. She feels disgusted and embarrassed to be seen with him and immediately walks away, leaving him behind. Chio isn't the only one shocked. Her mother is also surprised to see how wealthy the Kamashiros actually are. She too feels some regret. She should have forced her daughter to marry the Beastman. She blames her husband for not telling her about this. All he cares about is his business. She is thinking about how to fix this mess. Well, she and her daughter definitely share the same brain. Chio is here to find her mother, and she has a suggestion for her. Our couple is greeting everyone and having fun when Tadamasa suddenly shows up. He has bad news for Suhaku. There is a suspicious person walking around their mansion. He didn't manage to catch the person because they left as soon as they noticed him. Suhaku tells him to keep guard. Another bad news, or rather, a bad person is here again. It is Jiro Fujigamine, Sei's uncle. This is the first time the two men have met in person. Suhaku is still polite, apologizing for not coming to see the man sooner. However, Jiro isn't so polite and calls Sei useless right in front of her fiancé. Marriages like theirs between humans and beastmen are extremely rare, especially those from noble families. Jiro feels bad for giving Suhaku such a useless girl in exchange. He tells Suhaku that all he needs to do is train her well after marriage. Our male lead is furious and wants to speak to her uncle alone. The two head to the study to talk. Jiro hasn't seen Suhaku's mother at the engagement. Suhaku reveals she is sick and is resting somewhere far away. After the death of his father, his mother has always been worried about the Kamishiro family, afraid it would go to ruin. She always believed it was important for humans and beastmen to coexist, which was why she arranged a marriage between the Kamishiro and Fujigamine families. She believes it would create a wonderful future for them. It is such a touching story that all Jiro can do is laugh in his head. He never considered partnering with the Kamishiros. To him, Suhaku might be the family head, but he is still just a young, ignorant boy. Since his family will be the one selling the medicine, he can already imagine how much money he can steal just by falsifying the accounts. He really likes the beastmen now. They're so ignorant. They have no idea they are about to feed him, but unfortunately, his grand plans of thievery are all wasted. Suhaku has no plans of feeding this ingrate. He already caught news that someone was selling bad medicine to people some years ago, and lying it was the beastman's medicine. He suspects it was the Fujigamine's family. Seeing Jiru's nervous face, Suhaku is sure of his thoughts. He asked Tadamasa to investigate the Fujigamine family, and found out they were the ones most likely to have been selling that medicine years ago. Suhaku didn't manage to gather enough evidence to convict the man. The dealings were mostly done in secret between noble families, but now he is extremely cautious. If Jiro could do that years ago, then he might also abuse their family's medicine as well. He can't allow them to continue. Jiro is wondering if someone has already exposed him, but he refuses to confess and is determined to pretend he knows nothing. He tells Suhaku this is the first time he has heard such news. Suhaku doesn't argue with him. He only has one thing to tell him. From now on, the Kamishiro family will closely monitor the Fujigamin family's sales of their medicine. Suhaku is determined not to let such a thing happen again. They shake hands to seal the deal, but each man has his own thoughts. Jiro is annoyed, but he plans to play along for now. Suhaku, on the other hand, is planning to use this opportunity to keep his medicine safe and also protect his fiancée from her old family. Sei has no idea what the two are talking about. She just feels cold remembering how her uncle looked at her like she wasn't even human. It really scared her. But even worse is about to come. Chio and her mother are here. The two witches have made their way here to torment Sei once again. As soon as our female lead sees the mother and daughter, she knows bad things are about to happen. But she still has to greet them. When she asks about her dog, her aunt pretends not to know. Seeing Sei so worried, she tells her there is another option. She comes back home to take care of the dog herself. When our girl doesn't understand, the aunt tells her she should just come back home, because she isn't going to be Lord Suhaku's fiancé anymore. Chio is very jealous. Seeing Sei's shocked face, she reminds Sei that she was the one who gave her the opportunity. She allowed Sei to take her place, but now she wants the position back. Sei is in disbelief. She reminds her sister that she is already engaged, but Chio has already broken off that engagement. She is determined to get Suhaku back from Sei. Our girl is reluctant. She tells them it isn't possible, but the mother and daughter are too delusional. They believe they can talk to the Kamishiro family later and switch the brides. Now all they want is for Sei to come back home with them. Her auntie promises to take good care of her again, but Sei knows that means more beating and punishment. She can't accept that she will have to go back to being abused and maltreated again. Even though the Kamishiros are beastmen, she has begun to feel safe in their estate, especially when she is around Suhaku. She has already planned their future. After marriage, she would bring Maru back and they can finally live peaceful lives. But that dream seems impossible now. The two women gang up on her, persuading her to call off her engagement for her cousin. Sei can't breathe and is just about to give in when someone suddenly stops her. Lord Suhaku is here. Yes, help us destroy those witches. The two women are shocked to see the Lord. Chio starts acting all shy. After seeing how handsome and rich he is, she suddenly doesn't care about him being a beastman. Chio has made up her mind to snatch her sister's fiancé, so when the man asks what they were talking about, she starts to say bad things about Sei, pretending pretending to be shy, she says she came here to apologize to Suhaku on her cousin's behalf. She tells him Sei has deceived him. She claims she is his real fiancé, and Sei stole him away from her. Not only that, she directly reveals that Sei has been married before, but her ex-husband divorced her. Chiyo believes Sei isn't fit to be his wife. She tells Lord Suhaku she was worried about him, so she came to beg Sei to stop hurting him. And finally, Sei agreed to break off their engagement and come home. Sei has said no such thing, but before she can protest, her aunt grabs her and threatens to harm her dog if she says anything. Chiyo is now touching Lord Suhaku as she earnestly advertises herself. She even promises to do her wifely duties better than Sei. What a shameless saleswoman. She really believes she is younger, cuter, and deserves more praise than Sei. But what she doesn't know is that her twisted personality is showing. She and her dumb mother are smiling, thinking they have gotten the man, but they are going to be disappointed. Lord Suhaku pushes the girl away and tells her she is disgusting. Her acting skills are trash, and he needs her to stop. He tells them they must really think he is a fool to believe their nonsense. Lord Suhaku completely disgraces the mother and daughter. He tells them he is fully aware that Sei has been married before. And in fact, she told him herself. He wants Chiyo to stop talking about it like it is a big sin because it doesn't really matter to him. This doesn't make the girl stop. She is so determined to ruin Sei's engagement that she plans to reveal the biggest secret their whole family has been hiding. The truth about why Sei's husband divorced her. The truth is that Chiyo can't have children. Chiyo is happy, especially when she sees Cyan so scared now. She calls her cousin useless and barren. Even after 5 years, she has never had a child for her husband. Those words trigger Sei's memories. She will never forget the beatings, the insults she had to bear just because she couldn't have children. Her husband would say she was causing him and his parents trouble, but no one ever thought about her position. Every time he would forcefully sleep with her, but it never worked. Sei remembers those things now, and she can hardly breathe. Chiyo is happy to see her like this. She proudly tells Suhaku how Sai's ex-husband cheated and then got another woman pregnant. After that, he finally divorced Sei. Our girl can't take it anymore. She begs her cousin to stop. She remembers how proud her husband had been to show off that woman's pregnancy. He was just happy to prove the fault wasn't with him, but that didn't stop him from forcing her one last time. Chiyo really thinks she has done something. She starts to self-advertise herself like goods again, desperate to take her cousin's place. Seriously, girl, just stop. She tells Suhaku he should marry someone younger, like her, and not a barren woman like Sei, who would end up being a problem for him. But she doesn't expect Suhaku to tell her to shut up. He tells the girl no matter what rubbish she opens her mouth to say, he will never accept anyone other than Sei as his fiancé. He even drags our girl to his side and presents her to them. This is the only woman he wants. He tells Chiyo he has no interest in a woman like her who self-advertises herself like some common goods. Poor girl, imagine a barren, divorced woman being chosen over a young, cute girl like you. Go male lead. The mother and daughter have been pretending to be innocent, but Suhaku already knows everything they did to Sei. He hasn't done anything to them because they are his wife's mother and sister. But if they continue talking rubbish about her, he wouldn't think twice about destroying them. Sei's aunt is finally scared. Suddenly, she remembers that Suhaku is a beastman and a powerful one at that. He isn't touching her, but she feels like she is choking. It seems like a terrifying beast is holding her throat. She is so scared that she starts begging for forgiveness. Chiyo is still delusional, asking why they should beg for their forgiveness. She keeps talking, saying the Lord will be unhappy to marry her sister. But this time, even her mother doesn't support her. She tells her to shut up and also apologize. No matter how unwilling the girl is, she still has to obey her mother. And so she apologizes to our female lead. Sei looks at the two women and remembers a time when everything was good. Back when her parents were alive, her uncle would bring his family over. Little Chiyo would hug her, always calling her big sister. The two sisters were affectionate. Sei really thought they had a good relationship, but it was after her parents died that she found out her uncle's family actually disliked them. Looking at the two women now, Sei wonders where it all went wrong. How did they turn out like this? Sei's aunt is afraid Suhaku might mention this incident to her husband. Turns out Jiru wasn't aware of their foolish plan. Suhaku doesn't want anything to ruin the engagement party he prepared for Sei, so he promises not to say anything. But that doesn't mean he has forgiven them. They leave the mother and daughter behind. Once they are gone, Sei immediately bows down and starts begging for Suhaku's forgiveness. She really didn't mean to hide the truth about her last marriage and how she couldn't have children. Sei is expecting his anger, but what she gets is a long and warm hug. Sei is feeling really guilty for not telling him, but Suhaku doesn't want her to apologize. He has always known she couldn't have children during her last marriage. The two are just about to start confessing some sweet feelings when an unwelcome visitor arrives. From the face Lord Suhaku is giving him, Tadamasa is sure he must have interrupted them. He nervously announces it is time for the dance to begin. As the main couple of the day, they need to be the ones starting the dance. Once he gives his message, he immediately runs for his life. Sei still wants to speak to Suhaku and explain everything to him herself. The two plan to meet later to discuss, but first, they go downstairs to start dancing. All Sei can think about during the dance is how much Lord Suhaku still wants her after knowing she can't have children. She doesn't want her fears to destroy this new marriage and has made up her mind to tell him everything. Meanwhile, the wicked cousin still can't believe everything that happened today. When she hears people praising the couple, it just makes her even more jealous. She even yells at her fiancé when he tries to speak to her and tells him she doesn't like him anymore. She really wants to break off their engagement. Chio feels pain anytime she hears people praising her cousin and her fiancé. It feels like they are all humiliating her. She is so annoyed that she just leaves the hall without even caring about the man she brought. But as she walks away angrily, someone is staring at her with an evil smile. It looks like something is going to happen to our Miss Cute. Sei and her man have separated. Suhaku goes off to greet some people while Sei just watches the party. Until suddenly, she hears a loud scream. It seems like someone is being attacked. The person seems to be a foreigner. No one can understand what he is saying, except for Sei. She rushes to the place to see a man squatting and crying while a beast woman stands near him. It looks like the beast woman is about to eat him. Of course not. The poor beast woman is just here to deliver drinks, but the foreigner misunderstands and thinks she is about to eat him. Both of them can't understand each other's language, so it causes such a big misunderstanding. It is quite fun to watch such a big man begging for his life, but he is also making the cute dog woman scared too. Finally, Sei appears and separates them. She comforts the scared beast woman and explains to the man that the woman just wanted to serve him drinks. The man is a partner of their Fujigamine trading company and is surprised when he hears Sei speaking a foreign language. Once he realizes it was all a misunderstanding, he is embarrassed and apologizes. He has always been afraid of beastmen, which is why he was so scared. Sei tells him she was once like him, always scared of the beast tribe because of her ignorance. But once she got to know them, especially her husband, she found out they are really gentle. Because of Sei, the man is able to speak to the beast woman while she interprets for them. After apologizing, he suddenly sees how pretty the beast woman is and even starts asking for her name. Looks like a love story is about to start. Everyone around, especially the beastmen, is also praising Sei. Not only can she speak foreign languages, but she also treats the beast woman very gently. They are all proud of her. Suhaku is very happy to see his people accept his wife. He is also happy to see her defending his people. Suddenly, he wants to have that conversation with her and invites her to come outside with him. Sei is finally telling Suhaku her story. At first, she was extremely happy to marry her ex-husband. He might have been chosen by her uncle, but he was also her ticket out of that wicked household. But how could the person her uncle chose ever be good? Her husband was not only an animal abuser, but also a wife beater. After hitting her, he would proceed to forcefully sleep with her using the excuse of making babies. Her married life was indeed very miserable, but still she tried to stay, convincing herself her husband would be nicer to her if she could just have a child. Then she would finally be able to live a happy life with her dog and her baby. So she endured everything he did to her, dreaming of a future that would never happen. Eventually, her husband got another woman pregnant. Sei wasn't sad about that. She already knew he had several lovers. What made her despair was realizing it was her fault they could never have children. Speaking to Suhaku now, she tells him there might also be a possibility she won't be able to give him children either. She apologizes for hiding something so big from him, but Suhaku really isn't concerned about that. He is someone who only cares about his medicine and finding more techniques to move his family's business forward. If not for his mother forcing him, he would never have thought about marrying, and even more so the humans he dislikes. But now that he has met her, his feelings have changed. Of course, he wants children, but more than that, he would like to marry her. Even if they can't have children together, he would still choose to marry her and no one else. Being embraced by him makes Sei's heart melt. To this man who has chosen her over and over again, she is ready to give herself to him. When she tells him yes, her smile is so bright, it affects Lord Suhaku. Anytime he sees her smile, his feelings for her always increase, and it makes it hard for him to hold back his desire to touch her. This time, he doesn't hold back and actually kisses her neck. Sei doesn't find it unpleasant at all. She is just very shy. Suhaku wonders if that is why she smells so sweet. Ever since he met her, her sweet scent has stuck to him so much that he can never forget it. Even though he was meeting her for the first time, his beast already knew her scent. Our female lead can't control herself right now. Everything about this man just makes her heart beat. From how gentle he is, to how good his voice sounds. She knows this is just an arranged marriage, a business contract even, but the way Suhaku is looking at her with so much heat almost makes her believe he has deep feelings for her. Suhaku asks her the question that has always been on his mind. Have they met somewhere before? Before she can answer, all the lights suddenly go off. There is a blackout at the banquet. Suhaku sends someone to investigate, and they discover that someone purposely cut off the power supply. When Tadamasa goes to look at it, he sees someone suspicious in the garden and goes after them. Sei is comforting the beast woman. They are all afraid, but she tells them to stay calm, stay together, and promises them Suhaku is already fixing the problem. The man himself appears and asks her to help explain the situation to those guests who speak foreign languages. The wicked cousin is also afraid. Someone hits her and she almost falls, but she is saved. Her savior turns out to be the man she abandoned, her fiancé, Kiyoshi Kaneko. He is worried she might fall again and suggests they go into the garden. The two go outside. Chio, eager to seduce Suhaku, thought she wouldn't need this fiancé again. Now that her plan has failed, she has decided to settle with him. She tries to convince herself she doesn't want Lord Suhaku because he is a beastman. She keeps telling herself Sei will soon regret her choice, but it seems she should have been worried about herself. Kiyoshi Kaneko is no longer the lovely man he pretended to be. He grabs Chio and tells her he has always hated how proud and arrogant she is. He calls her the stupid daughter of a rotten merchant and lets her know he also settled for her. She is not the one he wants at all. Sei and Suhaku are busy checking around when they suddenly hear a scream from the garden. They rush outside to see a beastman holding down a human. It is Tadamasa, and he has caught the person who cut off the power supply. Suhaku praises him. Sei is happy thinking all their troubles are over E number sign now, until she suddenly hears a voice screaming for help. When she looks over, she sees her cousin Chio. She seems to have injured her legs. Sei runs over to help her. Although I don't know why, but the person she is helping is not grateful at all. Instead, she is wondering why this is happening to her. Maybe because you're a bad person? The men have also seen the girl. Suhaku asks the man on the floor if he hurt Sei cozy, but he denies it. He tells them he was only hired to cut off the power supply and cause a power outage by a man. The group is wondering who that man is. There is no need for them to, because that same man is sneaking up to Chio and Sae. He is Kiyoshi Kaneko. Sae has no idea danger is coming. She hears sounds behind her, and when she looks back, Kaneko is standing there. The next time Suhaku sees Sae, she is being held hostage with a dagger around her neck. Kiyoshi Kaneko is using her to threaten Suhaku. Suhaku is confused because he doesn't know why Kaneko is doing this. Kaneko is almost crazy. It turns out he has a grudge against Suhaku. His family was among those who bought the illegal drugs that the Fujigamine family was selling years ago. The Fujigamines sold fake drugs to them, claiming it was the beastman's medicine. Jiru said it would cure Kaneko's mother, who was sick, so his family bought the drugs. Even though they were so expensive, he was willing to buy them just to save his mother. However, what did he get? His mother's dead body. Those drugs were fake, and his mother died immediately after taking them. Kaneko believes the Kamashiros are the ones selling those fake drugs, so has come to get his revenge. Suhaku denies these accusations. He tries to explain to the man that the medicine had nothing to do with his family, but Kaneko doesn't believe him. For Kaneko, the greatest proof is the marriage deal between the Fujigamine and Kamashiro families. He believes the two families must have been working together secretly. He purposely got close to Chio, just so he can sneak into this banquet and take his revenge on the two families. Kaneko believes there could have been other ways to treat his mother, but just because of these two families, his mother is now dead. That is why he wants to kill someone important to both the families, and that person is Sei. Everyone is afraid, especially when an injury appears on Sei's neck. But our girl can tell Kaneko is also afraid. He's just a boy who has lost his mother. She touches his hand and tells him she also met his mother. Back then, they were invited to the Fujigamine house, and his mother was very kind to her. She tells him the truth. It was always her family's fault and has nothing to do with the Kamashiro family. She is sure her uncle was the one purposely selling the fake drugs. She tells him the two families only just started to interact, so it is impossible for the Beastman's family to be the one selling those fake medicines years ago. She wants Kaneko to believe them, but he refuses to accept that he is wrong. He wants to put all the blame on the Beastman tribe. While he is distracted, Suhaku quickly changes into his beast form and moves to attack him. He manages to push the dagger away before the man can stab Sei. Our poor girl is so scared she can barely stand. Lord Suhaku grabs her before she falls, greatly worried about her. He is sorry for putting her in such danger and hugs her. Suhaku is still worried and asks Seiya to show him the wound on her neck, but that is his greatest mistake. Suhaku was planning on treating Sei's wound and asks her to show it to him, but that is his greatest mistake. All it takes is one look at Sei's wound, and Lord Suhaku is on fire. He can't control his body and immediately turns red. Something seems to be controlling him, begging him to just take a bite from Sei. His eyes turn red, and he can't stop it anymore. He pushes her against the wall and is just about to bite her when he suddenly stops. His senses come back, and our male lead is horrified to find out he almost killed his fiancée. Our girl doesn't know what her blood is doing to him. She tries to get close to him, but he screams at her not to touch him. Sei is hurt, but there is nothing Suhaku can do. He leaves her alone and lets Riri stay with her. Riri is there to worry about her, but all Sei wants to do is watch Lord Suhaku walk away so coldly. The engagement party ends peacefully, but what follows is a storm. Kaneko is not the only person in trouble. He was arrested for attempted murder, but after the accusations about selling fake drugs, the Fujigamines are also going to be investigated. Sei's auntie is freaking out, afraid the military is going to find out everything they have been doing. If that happens, all the nobles who sold those fake drugs to them are going to come looking for them, asking for compensation. Even worse, she is afraid the Kamashiros might call off the engagement, but her husband isn't worried at all. He has thought of a plan. All they have to do is lie that they were also tricked and push all the blame to the foreign country they bought it from. He is also sure Lord Suhaku won't call off the engagement because of how much he likes Sei. And he is right. The parents are worried about being arrested, while all Chio can think of is how she was rejected by two men. She keeps recalling the way Lord Suhaku and even Kaneko insulted her. She doesn't understand why she is being treated this way, and like a normal human being, she decides not to blame those men. Instead, she blames Sei for getting in her way. She makes up her mind never to let Sei have peace. She will never let her get married happily. A few days have passed since that terrible part, but Riri still can't forget about how dangerous it was. She still worries about Sei's wound, but our female lead assures her it is fine. Sei also remembers that night, but she feels more pity for Kaneko. From his behavior when she spoke about his mother, Sei knows he must love her very much. Since she also lost her mother, she understands how much pain he must feel. Her mind is also filled with thoughts of her husband. She hasn't seen him since the day he shouted at her not to touch him. She misses him and is feeling sad when she hears a familiar bark. Guys, Maru is finally here. Thank God he is safe from those witches. Sei is very happy to see him and wonders how he got here. Tadamasa suddenly appears and tells her it was Lord Suhaku who ordered them to bring him over. The Lord knew how precious Maru is to Sei. He is her most precious family member, so he had them bring him over. Sei is touched to hear this and really wants to see Suhaku now. She has not seen him since the night of the party, but now she has a good excuse to go looking for him. All she has to say is she wants to thank him, but Tadamasa gives her heartbreaking news. Suhaku doesn't want to see her. Sei is trying to translate the foreign book Suhaku gave her, but it doesn't seem to be working. Nothing has gone right for her ever since the day Tadamasa told her Suhaku doesn't want to see her. It has been a week since then, and truly, she has not seen Suhaku even once. She keeps worrying, wondering why he doesn't want to see her and if she made him angry. She has been so sad. Even her dog notices her mood and sticks to her side, worried about her. She feels sad for the animal. Even when they are together, she keeps making him worried about her. To cheer both of them up, she decides to go for a walk and meets the most beautiful woman ever. Sei is surprised when a beautiful woman in a military uniform suddenly stops her and wants to speak to her. She introduces herself as Senri Baba, one of Suhaku's close friends. She is the person in charge of communications between the military and the Kamishiro family. She has already seen Suhaku, and when she heard he was engaged, she came to see what type of person Sei is. To make a human hater like Suhaku pick her as his fiancé. Sei is very nervous in front of this beautiful woman. She introduces herself and wants to know if Senri is also a beast woman. The soldier reveals she is. She is the horse type. Suhaku was a good soldier, but he could never beat her in speed. Sei is surprised because she never knew Suhaku was a soldier. Senri tells her Suhaku was a military doctor before he came back to become the head of the Kamishiro family. She finds it suspicious that Sei doesn't know anything about Suhaku, even as his fiancé. She tells Sei it must be because beastmen and humans are from different worlds. We don't know if she is trying to cause problems between the couple, but Tadamasa stops her before she can continue. He tells her to stop being so inconsiderate of Sei's feelings, but the damage has already been done. Now Sei is feeling sad again. Just like Senri said, she knows nothing about Suhaku's past and doesn't even know why he wouldn't see her. It looks like her title of fiancé is just empty. Just then, they notice the man himself staring at them from above. But immediately he sees Sei looking at him, turns and walks away. Lady Senri leaves, but she has already caused damage in their relationship. Now, Sei really believes humans and beastmen live in different worlds. She thinks the reason why Suhaku won't open up to her or tell her anything is that she is human. That is totally not true. Suhaku is not avoiding Sei because she is human, but because every time he is near her, he gets an uncontrollable urge to have her. He doesn't understand why this is happening. He was a military doctor and had seen human blood countless times, but he didn't know why Sei's blood affected him this way. He seems to remember something, a time when he was still a military doctor. Then Sei was kneeling in the middle of a burning place and crying. We don't know what is happening, but we do know the last thing Suhaku would want in this world is to hurt her. Tadamasa is concerned when he comes looking for his lord and sees him in pain. Suhaku tells him he is fine, and Tadamasa says Senri has left. He says he misses the days when the three of them used to hang out, but it seems something has happened between them. More importantly, Senri brought news about the military investigating the Fujigamine family, but it seems something shady is going on. It seems like Suhaku is involved in the accident that killed Sei's parents 10 years ago. Tadamasa asks his lord to tell her before it gets too late. Sei is having a bad dream, a very, very terrible dream. In the dream, Lord Suhaku is cheating on her with that pretty soldier, Senri. Her ex-husband appears and tells her Suhaku would prefer any woman over her. But even in her dreams, Sei knows it isn't possible. She knows Suhaku isn't that type of man. So when she wakes up, she decides to go looking for him. She wants to see him and is tired of his avoiding her. Whether he wants it or not, she is going to talk to him today and find out what is happening. She goes to his medicine room, but when she sees him, he is sleeping peacefully. She loses all her courage when she sees how tired he looks. She doesn't plan to disturb him and just wants to remove the leaf on his shoulder when the man wakes up. He doesn't expect to see her here and tries to drag her out, but it is too late. His eyes turn red as his beast takes over. Sei is still talking when Lord Suhaku suddenly grabs her. Oh no, guys, he is about to eat her, about to bite her. He is kissing her. Guys, he is kissing her. Our male lead can't control himself anymore. Sei's scent is so sweet that he can't think straight anymore and starts licking the wound on her neck. But that was a horrible mistake. It triggers the beast side that needs her blood, and he suddenly turns into his beast form. He wants to eat her. Sei is terrified and closes her eyes just as he leans down to bite her neck. Our girl is waiting for the pain, but nothing happens. She is still alive. When she opens her eyes, she sees that Suhaku bit his own hand instead of hurting her. He immediately moves away from her and does his wolf call, summoning Tadamasa to the place. He orders his aide to take Sei away while he kneels down in pain. Outside, Sei is still confused. Tadamasa finally explains what is happening to her. Lord Suhaku is in his rut season. Normally, the rutting season for wolves is still far away. Even when it comes, Suhaku has always been able to manage it. But because he saw Sei's blood back at that party, his rutting season started early, and now he is in deep pain. Sei feels guilty because she thinks this is all her fault. He has been suffering because of her. She knew he didn't want to see her, but because of her selfishness, she went to meet him forcefully. causing him so much pain. Seeing her crying so badly, Tadamasa tells her the truth. Suhaku could have followed his beastly instincts and attacked her, yet he called for Tadamasa. The reason is simple. He doesn't want to hurt Sei. The reason he would rather bite his own arm is that Sei is just that precious to him. She is the person Suhaku wants to spend the rest of his life with. Those words stun Sei because she never knew Lord Suhaku felt that way about her. But now that she knows, she must do something about it. Lord Suhaku is still recovering from the previous pain. He feels bad for scaring Sei, and for the first time, he isn't happy to be a beast. This heat and pain in his body will always remind him he isn't human. They make him want Sei so much. Someone knocks on his door, startling him. The woman he wants so much, our female lead, is standing right outside his door. Lord Suhaku isn't expecting anyone and wonders who might be visiting so late. He thinks it is his assistant, but it turns out to be his fiancée. They just had an unpleasant afternoon, so he is surprised she still wants to see him. But he refuses to let her in. He knows his assistant must have told her about his condition. He might be in a rut, but he doesn't want her to sleep with him out of obligation. If he sees her right now, he will ruin her like a beast. So he tells her to leave. The man thinks that is enough to scare her away. He refuses to see her because he knows she is afraid of intimacy. Her trash ex-husband had only thought about getting her pregnant and had been too rough on her. Suhaku doesn't want to add to her trauma. This is the right thing to do. But Sei doesn't think so. Lord Suhaku is the only person who has ever confessed his feelings to her truthfully. He had once asked her to trust him, and now she tells him she does from the bottom of her heart. She apologizes to him and pushes open the door. She doesn't stop there. She takes the initiative and kisses him. Lord Suhaku's heart is beating so fast. He blushes and holds her tightly. The girl in his arms tells him not to hold back. Just knowing that he wants her makes her very happy. The couple has moved to the bed, but their intimate time is ruined when Suhaku touches her hand. Sei realizes she forgot her gloves. She is self-conscious because of her burn scars. She feels bad about it until the man kisses the spot. He doesn't want her to hide and says he wants all of her. Sei has to admit, Lord Suhaku is completely different from her ex-husband. He wants her so passionately, reminding her he is a beast man, but she doesn't mind getting ruined by him. The couple woke up the next morning after an interesting night. Lord Suhaku is worried he might have hurt her, but Sei assures him she is fine. She's more worried about him and his rut. He tells her it has disappeared since she accepted him. The girl grows shy again, covering her face and blushing, which makes the man smile. He apologizes for making her worry and explains why he stayed away. The sight of her might make him change into his beast form, and he was afraid she would dislike him. He promises to tell her everything from now on. After all, they will soon get married. Sei is happy to hear this and smiles. Suhaku wants to know more about the burn scars on her hand, so she tells him her story. 10 years ago, the hotel she was staying in with her parents caught fire. She made it out but tried to go back inside to save her parents. In her hurry, she touched the burning building with her bare hands. To our surprise, the man seems to know her and says she is really the girl from back then. He gently holds her hands, feeling bad for her. Seeing his sad face, Sei remembers the past. That night, someone had taken care of her injured hands. A doctor from the military had come to save the people who had been caught in the fire. She had been in shock back then, but she always remembered how hard the man had tried to help her. She had always wondered why. All Sei wants is to forget that sad day. But when Lord Suhaku holds her hands so gently and looks right at her, all her forgotten memories come rushing back. Sei starts crying. It turns out Lord Suhaku was that doctor. He was the one who saved her. That was why when they first met, Suhaku thought her scent was familiar. The couple hug each other happily. Things are changing for our female lead. She has not only grown closer to her fiancé, Lord Suhaku, but his people are also beginning to accept her. It might be a small change, but Sei really cherishes these moments, just like now. She is finally done translating Lord Suhaku's foreign book and brings it over to him to read. He happily accepts it, and the two spend some sweet time together. Meanwhile, Sei's wicked uncle is having a meltdown. He has just lost another client, and he blames it all on Kaneko, the man who tried to kill Sei. But he won't let these things bother him. As long as Sei marries Lord Suhaku, everything will be fine. Unfortunately, his daughter Chio hears this and isn't happy. In her twisted mind, her father has abandoned her and chosen Sei. Since they don't care about her anymore, she is going to destroy Sei's marriage. Sei's ex-husband, Shuichi, is being a nuisance. He scolds his new wife, yelling at her to get out of bed and help with the work. The lady is pregnant and reminds him that the doctor asked her to stay in bed. He thinks she is challenging him and yells at her, scaring their little daughter. Shuichi walks away, muttering about how lazy pregnant women are. A servant stops him and announces he has a female visitor. Shuichi doesn't ask who she is. He wants to know if she is pretty. When the servant says she is beautiful, he immediately smiles like a pervert. He decides to see her immediately. Shuichi is very eager to see his beautiful visitor, greeting her happily and welcoming her to his shop. But when he sees the woman's face, he loses his smile. His visitor is none other than his ex-wife's cousin, Chio. The woman greets him and he responds. He reminds her he has divorced her cousin Sei, but she says she already knows. She is, after all, Sei's younger sister. She apologizes for visiting so suddenly, feigning sadness. She announces she is here on Sei's behalf. Shuichi is actually curious to know more about his ex-wife. He has heard rumors about her new marriage. All he remembers about her is how gloomy and slow she was. She loved her dirty dog so much, But what he really liked was how terrified she was of him. He imagines her scared face and immediately starts smiling like an old pervert. He rushes to invite Chio inside, making the girl smile like a disgusting snake. Our heroine has no idea that two people are now scheming against her. She is spending the day with Lord Suhaku, and he praises her translation. She is really happy to hear this and asks him more about the book. She noticed it was all about making medicine. Suhaku reveals he is making a drug that will suppress the beastman's desire to drink blood and to rot. Sei is surprised to hear this, but he tells her that other countries have already started making these drugs. They are called suppressants. If the beastmen want to live peacefully among the humans, they absolutely need these drugs. Now, Sei understands why he bought the foreign book. In her mind, all she can think about is how amazing her fiancé is. He is working so hard to create a society where the beastmen wouldn't be discriminated against. He is too hardworking, so she decides to do her best to support him. A sweet moment suddenly occurs. The two are picking herbs when suddenly their hands touch. Sei looks away as her heart begins to beat faster. Lord Suhaku is sorry and wants to apologize. But when he looks at his fiancée, the poor girl has turned completely red. She stammers, trying to apologize, but her shy behavior suddenly makes Suhaku's heart race faster. Now they both look like ripe tomatoes. Our male lead wonders what is wrong with him. His rut season should have ended, so why is he feeling this way? Just the touch of her hand reminds him of the passionate, steamy night they spent together. Our main leads aren't the only ones falling in love. Riri, Sei's personal maid, receives a letter written in a foreign language. She is confused until the cute dog woman says the letter might be for her. Now Riri turns into a gossip, wanting to know who sent it. They are interrupted when Lord Tadamasa arrives to collect Suhaku's mail. The women panic and rush to gather the mail. As Tadamasa waits, he sees a strange letter and picks it up only to discover it is from Chio Fujigamine. What is the girl planning now? Sei is meeting with Suhaku and Tadamasa. She has read the letter and tells Suhaku that her cousin wants to meet her. Chio says she wants to apologize for everything she has done. Lord Suhaku is speechless while Tadamasa doesn't believe it. He asks about her relationship with Chio, and Sai tells him her cousin finds her irritating. She remembers all the mean words Chio has always said to her, but a part of her still remembers how good their relationship was when they were younger. Lord Suhaku has never forgiven Chio. He still remembers how she accused Sai at the banquet, but he knows Sai still loves her cousin. So when she asks for permission to meet Chio, he agrees but tells her she won't be going alone. Tadamasa can't understand his new mistress. She is really a softie. If it were him, he would have cut off such a cousin completely. He thinks she is the same as Lord Suhaku. Although the Lord dislikes humans, he would never ignore a sick or injured human. The two are really the ultimate married couple. Sei is shy again and reminds Tadamasa she hasn't married Suhaku. The man thinks it is only a matter of time. The two already tell each other everything. Even most couples don't do that. He wishes her well, hoping she settles things with her cousin. Sei is happy and blushes. She thanks him, happy to have someone who always encourages her. Her happiness makes the man smile too, and everything just seems sweet. But it doesn't last long. They arrive at the meeting place and Tadamasa offers to wait outside. Sei goes in to meet the snake. Sorry to meet Chio. That smile makes me so annoyed. The girl starts acting, crying and trembling as she apologizes for insulting Sei at the engagement party. She says she never meant those harsh words, and even claims her parents forced her to say them. She says her father would hit her anytime she tried to be nice to Sei, making her afraid. She reminds Sei of how close they were when they were younger. Our heroine actually believes her. She remembers Chio calling her barren and useless and actually believes the girl was forced to say those words. Chio reminds her again of how close they were when they were younger. She tells Sei she wants to have a fresh start with her. Something feels off. Sei should be happy that her cousin finally likes her, but everything seems strange. Chio notices her reluctance and starts crying, acting as if Sei has betrayed her. Sei rushes to comfort her. She tells the girl to give her some time to think. Chio grabs her hand, happy to have an opportunity to meet her again. When Sei doesn't answer, she suddenly hugs the girl, begging her not to abandon her. She reminds her that they are sisters and have no one else. Sei is finally touched and agrees to meet Chio again. What she doesn't see is the evil smile on her cousin's face. Outside, Lord Tadamasa has been listening to their conversation. It doesn't seem like Chio plans to harm Sai, but for some reason, he feels uneasy. At home, Lord Suhaku is also worried, so Riri brings him some tea. She knows Sei will meet with her sister today and wonders whether they have reconciled. Well, Lord Suhaku is stressed out, wondering the same thing. Lord Suhaku notices something strange. Sei has arrived home, but she still looks sad. He asks her about it, worried Chio might have done something to her. Sei says nothing happened and tells him Chio even apologized properly, but too many unpleasant things have happened between them, making her wonder if she should forgive her. She tells him Chio still wants to meet with her and asks for his permission. The man has no problem with her seeing her cousin, but insists she go with someone. He still doesn't trust Chio. Enough about that crazy girl. Sei has noticed something lately. Lord Suhaku has been spending more time with her. Sometimes he will even remain in his beast form, just like now. She has heard that beastmen don't show their beast form to humans. This can only mean one thing. Lord Suhaku must trust her now. The wind blows, making Sei shiver. She is actually cold, but she will bear it just to stay with her man. What she doesn't expect is for Lord Suhaku to notice and suddenly hug her. It turns out the man can't feel the cold since he is in his beast form. He apologizes but notices her staring at him. He starts to panic as he realizes he touched her while in his beast form. Sei suddenly holds him and even moves closer. She tells him his beast form is very warm and fluffy. Now our male lead is blushing like a teenage girl. He thought she would dislike his beast form, but Sei isn't concerned about that. It doesn't matter what he looks like. He will always be her fiancé. The man starts blushing again. He pulls her close and even wants to kiss her. Well, That will be hard considering he still looks like a wolf. Thankfully, Maru arrives and starts barking wildly. He is probably afraid this wolf is about to eat his mistress up. Sei is worried because the dog keeps growling at Sohaku while acting sweet with her. Meanwhile, our male lead is feeling wronged. Turns out he can understand what Maru is saying. The dog absolutely hates him and is warning him to stay away from Sei. He reminds the dog he is the one who saved it, and the arrogant Maru finally allows him to pat his head. Sei scolds the naughty dog and tells him to be grateful to Lord Sohaku. The two play around while Lord Sohaku watches them happily. What a perfect family. Days have passed, and Sei is finally meeting her cousin again. Chiyo is eager to see Sei, but not for anything good. She mocks her cousin for being an idiot. All it took was a few fake tears to get Sei to forgive her. Sei arrives and Chiyo switches to her sweet self, complaining about being late. Her fake smile fades really fast when she notices Sei didn't come alone. She is here with Tadamasa. Sei says Lord Tadamasa will be driving them around today. To Chiyo's twisted mind, it sounds like Sei is bragging. She must want to show off her new car and how much better it is. She pretends to be calm, but she is angry that Sei brought an assistant. She finds it disgusting to be escorted by a beastman. Chiyo is about to enter the car when Tadamasa suddenly moves closer and asks what evil thing she is planning. The girl is shocked for a moment, then smiles. She pretends not to understand what he is saying and rushes into the car. She wants them to visit a popular sweet shop. She knows Sei doesn't trust her yet, but she isn't concerned. Her plan has only just begun. It is a new day. Lord Sohaku is taking a look out the window when he notices 3 women standing downstairs. Sei seems to be going out with Chiyo again. Tadamasa notices them as well and tells Sohaku he doesn't like Sei's cousin. Sohaku scolds him, telling him to speak carefully. He says Lady Senri will be arriving soon for their weekly report. Tadamasa has heard some rumors about Fujigamine's company. Their business seems to be collapsing, and he is worried it might affect the Kamishiro family. On Chiyo's side, it is complete chaos. She pulls Sei along, dragging her to different stores to shop. Behind them, poor Riri is about to cry as she chases after them. Our female lead is happy. Ever since Chiyo apologized, their relationship has gotten better. Now they even go into town together. It is almost like everything that happened before was a dream. Chiyo asks Sei if she is tired, worried she might be bothering her by inviting her out all the time. Sei assures her she is happy, making Chiyo smile even brighter. Meanwhile, poor Riri is struggling to carry all their boxes. She thinks her mistress is buying way too many things. Chiyo arrives to add to her misery, scolding her for being careless. Riri carefully drops the boxes in the car, only to hear Chiyo calling her slow. In fact, the lady says she hates beastmen. Now Riri is confused, wondering if she has developed some hearing issues. She is convinced she must have imagined those words. It is already evening and Riri has fallen asleep on Sei's shoulder. Our female lead thinks she is cute. She must have been too tired from shopping all day. Chiyo apologizes for being overexcited and laughs. But we all know she is laughing because her opportunity has finally come, just as we thought. When Sei looks outside, she notices the carriage is going in a completely different direction from their home. Chiyo finds it a pity that Sei noticed. She says she wanted to surprise her cousin and tells Sei she wants to visit one more place. Our heroine is panicking because this street is familiar. She recognizes this road because it leads to her ex-husband's house. They arrive at her ex-husband's shop and Chiyo pulls her out. Our female lead doesn't run away. She stands there asking why they are here. Chiyo lies, saying she wanted to buy a new dress for Sei to celebrate her engagement. Since Shuichi knows Sei very well, she decided to visit his shop. She says the man insisted on seeing Sei personally and wants to congratulate her on her marriage. Being the lovely sister, she decided to set up a meeting for them. Chiyo cannot believe what she is hearing. There is no way her evil ex-husband would want to congratulate her. She stands there in shock until the man himself arrives. He immediately hugs her, pleased to see her. He has been waiting for them and immediately invites her inside. Sei seems to have become mute. She just stands there trembling and allows the man to take her into the shop. At the last moment, she looks back at her cousin, desperate for help. Wrong choice. Chiyo just stands there and waves. She even says they have a lot to talk about and encourages the two to spend more time alone. Now, what is going to happen to our heroine? Lord Shuichi is pleased with himself. He tells Sei not to worry because no one is here. He made sure to close his shop today, as he believes she must be afraid of people seeing them. He seems to think something might happen between them. Meanwhile, our girl is just confused, wondering why he would think she came to see him. The man probably thinks he is being sexy as he likes his lips. In reality, he just looks disgusting. He reminds Sei of their good physical chemistry and even suggests they have fun one more time. Shuichi has pushed the girl to the floor, trying to harass her. He tells her not to be embarrassed. They haven't seen each other for so long, and he is desperate to hear her moans again. He recalls the many nights they slept together when they were married, and it excites him. She might not have gotten pregnant, but those nights were always enjoyable. Our female lead keeps struggling. She doesn't want to remember those nights. Those days might have been fun for him, but they were torture to her. She starts panicking while the man keeps saying lewd words. He even asks if she has slept with her new fiancé. He is sure she hasn't. Suhaku might be a noble, but he is still a dirty beastman. He thinks Sei doesn't want to marry Suhaku, which is why she came to see him. Sei finally gets angry. All Shuichi does is twist the truth to fit his narrative. He did it before and is doing it now. He acts like he wasn't the same man who beat her many times. Shuichi doesn't want to talk about her beastman fiancé anymore. He tries to touch her, but Sei slaps his hands away. She warns him to stay away from her. She has no problems marrying Lord Suhaku. He even makes her happy. Instead, it is Shuichi's touch that disgusts her. The man is furious and starts shaking her. He thinks she is playing around with him. After all, she was the one who requested to see him. Sei is confused because she never made that request. Because she can't explain, the man becomes violent. Just like he did in the past, he tries to hit her, but our Sei has changed. This time, she fights back. She suddenly grabs a weapon and throws it at his face. While the man is still in shock, she runs out of the shop. Chio sees her cousin coming out so quickly and is disappointed. But it doesn't really matter because her plan has already worked. She allows the carriage to leave, but in a corner where no one can see, two women are watching them. They have witnessed the whole incident. Lord Suhaku has been waiting for his fiancée to arrive home. He rushes to meet her, but immediately notices something is wrong. Even Riri looks worried. When he tries to touch her, Sei moves away. He grows suspicious and asks whether anything happened while she was out. Sei begins to panic. Is she going to tell him the truth? Lord Suhaku is suspicious. He is sure something went wrong. Sei remembers everything that happened and how her ex-husband tried to harass her. It makes her even more nervous. Her behavior is too suspicious, and Lord Suhaku can tell something is wrong. He believes Chio must have done something to her again. Sei disappoints everyone when she decides to hide what happened from Suhaku. She lies to him, saying they just visited too many places. Lord Suhaku asks again because she looks too pale, yet Sei keeps lying. She claims she is just tired from riding around in the carriage. After hearing that the maids will bring her food up to her, she thanks Suhaku and wishes him goodnight. She is clearly chasing him away. Although she smiles at him, it looks very fake. And the man notices it. He is clearly unhappy as he leaves. Once he is gone, Riri starts questioning Sei. She also suspects that something has happened. She tells Sei she can confide in her. However, Sei refuses to. She can't forget what happened. After she escaped from Shuichi, she questioned Chio about what happened. The man seemed to believe she came to see him, but Chio denied ever saying that. She claimed the man tricked her and started crying, blaming herself. Still, she didn't forget to ask Sei if anything happened between her and Shuichi. That was when Riri woke up. The maid knew nothing about what happened and just apologized for falling asleep. Sei refused to say anything after that. She doesn't want anyone to know what happened, but it is too late. Days have passed, but the city is already full of rumors. When Lord Suhaku goes to a beastman meeting, they ask him about his engagement to Sei. Our male lead is ignorant and tells them he is planning for his wedding. The other beastmen remind him of the rumors about Fujigamini's company, but Suhaku doesn't care. He even plans to take responsibility for them. The other men don't support him and even advise him to call off his engagement. One man even tries to warn him about his fiancée, but the rest stop him. Now Suhaku is worried, wondering if something has happened to Sei. The other men see how ignorant he looks and decide to tell him about the rumors spreading around town. The nasty rumors have reached the Kamashiro's estate. A group of maids surround a confused Riri and ask her if the rumors are true. Everyone is saying Lady Sei had an affair with her ex-husband. Riri defends her mistress, but the other maids tell her there are witnesses. People saw Sei entering and leaving her ex-husband's home. The rumors have spread all over the city. Meanwhile, Chio is having the time of her life. She is at the Fujigamin home listening to some music. She has never been happier. She doesn't regret paying those servants to spread the rumors. She imagines how angry her father would be when he hears the rumors. This is enough to destroy the marriage between Sei and Suhaku. The girl smiles because she can't wait for her cousin to be thrown out again. Just the thought of it makes her laugh happily. The maids at the Kamashiro house are busy cleaning. They all notice their new mistress hasn't left her room all day. Riri is worried, but the rest of the maids gossip. They believe Sei must be feeling guilty. She must have really slept with her ex-husband, which is why she is feeling ashamed. Riri is so angry she starts yelling at them. She tells them Sei isn't that kind of person and blames them for avoiding her just because she is human. She tells them how special Sei is. Her beast form is a squirrel, which makes the humans and even beastmen look down on her. Only Sei has been kind to her. The other maids finally look guilty. Riri promises them the rumor isn't true and plans to enter the town to investigate. The dog woman stops her and tells her to calm down. Lord Suhaku and Sei have to settle these issues themselves. She advises Riri to wait until Lord Suhaku returns from his business trip tomorrow. Then Riri will know if Sei is worthy of her trust. Our heroine is still hiding in her room. Everything has been ruined, and she somehow believes it is her fault. She blames herself for not refusing her ex-husband properly. She lied to Lord Suhaku, saying nothing had happened. Yet, she has been hiding in her room since then. She thinks she is a horrible person. She starts to cry until she hears Maru bark. It turns out Lord Suhaku is back. Sei is surprised to see him since he was supposed to return tomorrow morning. Suhaku says he came back early to talk to her. Sei realizes he already knows. She finally tells him the truth and says she really spent time alone with her ex-husband. She apologizes for lying to him that day, saying nothing had happened. But the man isn't bothered by that. He holds her hand and tells her he trusts her. He wants her to tell him everything that happened that day. Sei finally says the truth. When she tells Suhaku how her ex-husband tried to push her down and harass her, the man is furious. She assures him that nothing happened because she managed to escape. Lord Suhaku still looks angry, and Sei thinks it is her fault. He stops her from apologizing and reveals he isn't angry at her. He is more annoyed with her ex-husband, who tried to touch her without her permission. His anger turns to guilt when he remembers how he tried to touch her once in the medicine room. He apologizes, but Sei doesn't mind and even hugs him. She blushes as she reveals she didn't dislike his touch. Her relationship with him is completely different from her ex-husband's. She remembers that nasty man and gets scared again. She moves away, but Lord Suhaku suddenly pulls her close. He tells her he wants to spend the night with her. Sei is waiting for Lord Suhaku, and he finally arrives. Just like he asked, they are really going to spend the night together. The girl is already blushing, but it becomes worse when Lord Suhaku asks to kiss her. Her heart is beating so fast. I never thought it was possible, but her cheeks become even redder as she tells him he doesn't need to ask. He should just kiss her. He starts kissing her, but Sei can tell it is different. During his rut, he was very impatient, but now he is kissing her so gently. The two lie in bed, but the man doesn't plan to do anything to her tonight. He just wants her to sleep peacefully. He is still upset that her ex-husband tried to force himself on her. Sei assures him nothing happened between them, but Suhaku is still unhappy. He keeps imagining what would have happened if he met her before her ex-husband. He wished he had met her before the fire. Then he would have been able to save her and her parents. Sei tells him not to blame himself. She is happy just to know he thinks that way. Lord Suhaku feels strange. He can't control his feelings around Sei. He wants to touch her even when he isn't in rut, make her comfortable, and treat her like a treasure. Sei has fallen asleep, but Lord Suhaku is still bothered. Something is suspicious. Sei might have gone to see her ex-husband, but the rumors are spreading too fast. It seems like someone planned this, and there is only one suspect. We see Shuichi panicking the next morning. He has just heard the rumors about him and Sei, and wonders who could have seen them. If his wife hears these rumors, it is going to be terrible. He believes it isn't his fault because Sei came to him first. Yet she kept saying weird things. He is insulting her when a maid announces he has a visitor. Shuichi goes to see who it is and sees a strange man standing at the door. He wonders who he is, but we all know it is our male lead. Shuichi has no idea who his new visitor is, but the man's expression is truly frightening. When the man finally speaks, he accuses him of harassing his fiancée. Shuichi is sure this is Sei's fiancée. He is annoyed and disgusted to see the beastman posing as a human. He really thinks humans are superior to the beastmen. He immediately denies touching Sei, even claiming he wouldn't want a woman he has already divorced. He calls her boring and says Suhaku can have her for himself. Well, he has successfully pissed off our male lead. Suhaku turns into his beast form and questions the man, accusing him of bringing Sei to his store secretly. Meanwhile, the scumbag is so terrified he falls over. He thinks Suhaku is going to eat him. He calms down once he remembers it is a crime for beastmen to harm humans. Suhaku might be from a noble family, but he can't touch him. Suhaku has no idea what Shuichi is thinking. He just wants to know the truth. He thinks the man used Sei's cousin to trick her into coming over. Shuichi denies it and says it was Chio who came to him and said his ex-wife wanted to see him. Suhaku asks, but even Shuichi doesn't know who is spreading these rumors. He reminds Suhaku that they are also destroying his reputation. Well, he doesn't look like he is lying. Suhaku has confirmed his suspicions. Chio must have planned everything. He has no use for Shuichi anymore and turns to leave. But it seems the scumbag is tired of living. He thinks our male lead is leaving because he is afraid and starts mocking him. He tells Suhaku to give up on Sei if he wants children. He has remarried and is already expecting his second child, but no matter how many times he slept with Sei, she never got pregnant. Well, Shuichi finally receives the reaction he is looking for. Suhaku punches the wall beside the man's head and it immediately crumbles. He tells the man to shut his dirty mouth if he doesn't want to end up dead. The scumbag takes one look at Suhaku's frightening face and trembles. He is expecting a beating, but Suhaku has planned something worse. The next moment, a servant rushes in with bad news. Many of their customers have refused to do business with them. Shuichi is shocked to hear this until the servant tells him they all have ties with the Kamishiro family. In fact, all his best customers are gone. His business will soon be bankrupt. On the other side of town, Lord Jiru is practically foaming at the mouth. He is so angry. His wife tells him to calm down, but he just can't. He has heard the rumors about Sei having an affair with her ex-husband. He thinks Sei has ruined her chance with Lord Suhaku. His wife tries to comfort him, suggesting it might just be rumors. The man isn't satisfied and insists on hearing the truth from Sei. He orders his servants to drag her back home. Chio has been listening to them secretly and is glad her plan worked. Sei is preparing herself for battle. Well, not an actual battle. The rumor about her affair with Shuichi is still being spread all over town. Lord Suhaku told her of his suspicions that someone was setting them up. They can't stop the rumors from spreading, but he promised to solve the problem and asked her to wait. Sei decides to trust him. She can't do anything about the rumors. The only thing she can do is believe Suhaku and wait. But today, her main goal is to gather the servants in the manor and explain things to them herself. Sei gathers the servants, but she can hear them gossiping about her. They stare at her with anger as they wonder what she is going to say. They believe she has betrayed Lord Suhaku. In fact, she must secretly dislike the Beast tribe, but Sei doesn't let it bother her. She bows to them and sincerely apologizes for the trouble she has caused. She tells them she will explain what really happened between her and Shuichi, which makes the maids nervous. Sei starts her story by announcing she never went to her ex-husband's shop willingly. She didn't go there to have an affair with him. She met him outside his shop by mistake, and then he forced her inside. Because she was too scared, she didn't resist him at the beginning. At the end, she managed to escape. She promises the maids that nothing happened between her and Shuichi. She even reveals her biggest secret to them. Her ex-husband divorced her because she couldn't get pregnant. The maids are all shocked to hear this. Sei tells them she was never loved during her marriage. Her ex-husband thought she was worthless and always treated her like an object. The maids are all silent. Sei doesn't know if they believe her, but she wants to tell them the truth. After spending time with Suhaku, she has realized how important it is to believe in your friends and talk about even the hardest secrets. She refused to tell the truth last time, which caused this mess. But nothing will change if she keeps hiding, so she decides to face it. She tells the maids that Lord Suhaku gave her a home. She would never betray him or any of them. Riri is touched and hugs her. She tells Sai not to worry because she believes her. The maid even blames herself for falling asleep that day. If she hadn't, her mistress wouldn't have been put in danger. She believes it is all her fault that this nasty rumor has spread, and she begins to cry. Sei comforts the girl, telling her it wasn't her fault. The other maids finally speak. The dog woman can tell how hard it was for Sei and thanks her for explaining things to them. She thought Sei wouldn't bother speaking to them since they are just servants. The other maids agree with her, and they all tell Sei they believe her. Our female lead is so touched, she begins to cry. She keeps bowing to them, thanking them for trusting her. None of them notices the man hiding in a corner watching them. Tadamasa catches his lord hiding like a thief and tells him not to worry anymore. Turns out, Lord Suhaku has always been bothered about Sei's relationship with the female servants. Tadamasa doesn't understand his master. If he was so worried about her, why didn't he go out to support her instead of hiding somewhere and eavesdropping? Lord Suhaku says Sei had to face this alone. He announces he is leaving and tells Tadamasa to prepare the car. Sei is walking with Riri. The maid is proud of her, happy that they were able to talk things out. Sei says it was only because Riri was there and thanks her. Their day is going so well until they notice a carriage stops in front of their house. It is from the Fujigamine family. Chio steps out looking worried. She immediately clings to Sei, crying and begging her to return home quickly. She has no idea the male lead is behind her. She is busy describing how angry Lord Jiru was after he found out about the rumors of her affair with her ex-husband. Sei is confused because she has already sent a letter to her uncle explaining what happened. Chio says her father didn't accept the explanation. He is so angry he isn't listening to anyone. She begs Sei to follow her back to the Fujigamine's house and explain things to her father. She is already smiling happily, thinking her plan has worked, until Lord Suhaku appears. For some reason, even though Sei's cousin seems to have changed and has even started caring about Sei, Lord Suhaku just can't trust her. Chio clings to Sei, begging her to return home immediately. She claims her father has heard the rumors of her affair with her ex-husband and ordered her to bring Sei home. Sei is confused because she has already explained everything in a letter to her uncle. Chio tells her Jiru still isn't satisfied with her explanation. He is too angry and refuses to listen to anyone, making her scared. She begs Sei to return home with her. Sei is already panicking. She remembers all the torture her uncle put her through. He has never once listened to her explanation. If she goes back home, he won't just scold her. He would probably beat her up too. She doesn't know what to do, but thankfully Lord Suhaku arrives. Chio greets the man but sees how angry he looks. She is smug, thinking he is angry with Sei for causing him trouble. Her plan is going perfectly well. She had hardly finished that thought when Lord Suhaku said Sei won't be returning to the Fujigamine's manor. Chio immediately loses her smile. Her evil attitude begins to show as she angrily asks him what he means by that. In her mind, she thinks he has to be joking. Why is he stopping her? Well, Lord Suhaku believes someone set this entire rumor up, and he tells her so. Of course, he suspects it is Chio, and he tells the girl that whoever planned this must be close to Sei. Chio's heart might just fail at this point. Lord Suhaku keeps talking, pointing out how quickly the rumors are spreading. He tells her they are currently investigating the source of the rumors. Once they learn the truth, he will go with Sei to Fujigamine's manor to explain it to her father. At this point, Chio deserves an Oscar. The girl doesn't even panic. She just acts shocked, asking why someone would set Sei up like this. She even says she will pray for them to find the culprit, more like curse them. Since Sei won't be returning home with her, she runs away. Sei watches her cousin leave. She wants to know whom Lord Suhaku currently suspects. Although he has no proof yet, Lord Suhaku believes Chio must be the one who set her up. Once again, Sei is betrayed by her cousin and she feels sad. Meanwhile, Chio is having a meltdown inside her carriage. She can't believe it. She planned the rumors carefully, thinking it would cause problems between Sei and Lord Suhaku. Yet the man is still supporting her cousin. It only makes her hate Sei more, and she vows never to forgive her. What did our heroine do? Well, Chio just hates seeing her cousin protected and loved by someone. She vows to do everything she can to force her father to take Sei back home. Chio arrives home and immediately tells her father about Suhaku's suspicions. She keeps saying it is all an excuse and insists the affair must be real. That is why Sei has refused to come home. She accuses Sei of always causing trouble. She thinks her father will agree with her and proudly says Sei's engagement will be called off. They need to bring her back home quickly. Well, Chio is about to get a slap to her face. I mean, literally. Her father slaps her and warns her to shut up. The girl goes into shock while her mother yells at him for hitting her. Their shouts are nothing more than noise to Jiru's ears. He tells them to stop screeching and focus on finding the culprit who spread the rumors. He calls them idiots because they can't understand that this matter could actually ruin their family. He forbids Chio from leaving the house, then leaves himself. Her mother keeps trying to console her, but the girl walks away. She finally realizes she is in trouble. She never thought her father would want to investigate the rumors, too. She believes she won't be caught since she paid off those servants and even fired them. Even if Shuichi confesses, nobody would believe him because he harassed Sei first. Chio almost looks insane as she convinces herself nobody will find out the truth. Days have passed, but Sei is still thinking of what Lord Suhaku said about Chio being the mastermind. The maid's arrival stops her depressive thoughts. They all wonder what this sweet scent is. Turns out, our heroine has prepared a bunch of foreign sweets for the maids to taste. They are all surprised and wonder if they can actually eat this. Riri assures them they can, and they start eating. After the first taste, the only thing they can say is, delicious. They never knew foreign sweets were so sweet. Sei tells them she grew up overseas. Back then, she would bake with her mother. It is customary to eat cookies while chatting with friends, so she wanted to try it with the maids. The maids are conquered by her kindness, and they all gather around her asking for the recipe. She promises to teach them all, and everyone is happy. Sei is happy everyone liked the cookies, but the most important thing is if her man will like them. She has saved a box for him and heads over to deliver it. She hasn't even seen him yet, but her heart is already racing. Suddenly, someone taps her from behind. It is Lady Senri and Tadamasa. The two are on their way to meet Lord Suhaku, as today is the military check-in day. Sei gives them some of her cookies, which they appreciate. Lady Senri says she wants to apologize to Sei. When they first met, she had been very rude to Sei, and even told her that humans and beastmen don't belong in the same world. She tells Sei she wasn't being mean. She just didn't believe humans and beastmen could live together peacefully. But Lord Suhaku and Tadamasa have told her more about Sei, which has changed her mind. Sei also apologizes to Senri. She was never upset with her and told the female soldier not to worry about it. Now, Senri has also been conquered by Sei and calls her a good person, which makes our girl smile. Tadamasa smiles. He never thought someone like Senri would say something like that. Senri asks what he means, and he says he never knew she could also be cute and honest. Senri acts as if the word cute is a bomb and starts yelling. She's actually just trying to hide her racing heart. Sei watches the two tease each other until Tadamasa runs away. Senri seems to be scolding the man, but her blushing face betrays her. She thanks Sei for the cookies and leaves her behind to chase after Tadamasa. Sei watches them with a smile, wondering if Senri loves Lord Tadamasa. Now it is our girl's turn to blush, as she wonders if she also loves Lord Suhaku. Lord Suhaku has finally received some of Sei's special cookies. Sei delivers it to him, and he tells her Tadamasa and Senri have been bragging and showing off their cookies, mocking him for not having one. He admits he was actually jealous, thinking she wouldn't give him any. His confession makes Sei's heart race. Even just watching him eat the cookie makes her blush. Hearing him praise the cookies makes her understand her feelings. She actually loves this man. Once she realizes that, her heart just won't stop racing. She hugs him, but it still isn't enough. She just wants to get closer and closer to him. Girl, just crawl into his skin. All Sei desires is to get closer to Lord Suhaku. She hugs him tightly, but even that isn't enough. She just wants to be close to him. Meanwhile, Lord Suhaku is wondering what is happening to his fiancée. He calls her name, and only then does she regain her senses. Sei is ashamed and quickly moves away, apologizing for touching him suddenly. She doesn't understand why she suddenly wanted to touch him. She is so embarrassed that her face turns red. Well, there is no need for that because the man hugs her too. He doesn't want her to apologize and even tells her she can touch him anytime she likes. He doesn't mind it at all. Our girl has officially turned into a stammerer. Since she can't speak, she hugs him again and thanks him. Suhaku just thinks she is so adorable. The two hug each other for a long time. Suhaku wants to know how she feels after hearing that her younger sister might have been scheming against her. Sei tells him she has been thinking about it and has finally realized that Chio and Shuichi seem to be saying different things. Chio claimed Shuichi wanted to congratulate her on her wedding, but the man seemed to believe Sei came to see him. Her cousin kept saying the man had tricked her, but from the way Shuichi was acting, he really believed she had come there for him. Sei doesn't want to suspect her sister, but if it is true and Chio really planned everything, then she can only blame herself for being too naive. It is her fault that everything happened. She tells Suhaku she wants to know whether Chio planned this, to find out the truth, and to stop the rumors. She asks for his help, and he promises to assist her. He wants to know if she has noticed anything strange while she was out with her sister, and indeed she has. In another part of town, Lord Shuichi is under attack. His pregnant wife has found out about his affair with Sei and accuses him of cheating on her. He tries to defend himself and says it was Sei who seduced him first. Of course, she doesn't believe him. She pushes him away and reminds him of the different mistresses he has always had. She would be a fool to believe him. Shuichi is annoyed. He reminds his wife of her identity. She was once his mistress too, before he married her. He regrets marrying such a rude woman like her, and indeed wouldn't have if she hadn't become pregnant for him. He is still glaring when the woman suddenly asks what he would do if it weren't his child. Shuichi is confused, wondering what nonsense she is saying. They already have 2 children together. She changes her question and asks what he would do if he found out none of the children were his. Well, his wife has really been hiding a big secret. She was really desperate to marry him and knew how much he wanted a child. But no matter how many times they slept together, she could never get pregnant. The woman decided to be bold and sleep with another man to get pregnant. She vowed never to do it again. But Shuichi kept asking for a son, so she cheated on him again. This news is too much for the scumbag. He keeps stammering as he asks about the child in her stomach. His wife has had enough and yells at him. She says the kids are not his own. They belong to another man. It has always been his fault that they can't have children. Lord Suhaku tells Sei that Tadamasa is investigating the rumors. He assures her it is being handled and promises the result will be released soon. A letter has arrived, but it is written in a foreign language. Sei picks it up but is shocked when she sees to whom it is addressed. Finally, we learn the dog woman's name. She is called Misono, and it turns out the letter was sent to her. Sei hands it over to her while the gossipy Riri runs over. She reveals Misono has also received a foreign letter like this previously. They all want to know who sent it, and Misono confesses it was the handsome golden-haired foreigner she met at Sei's engagement party. She reveals she couldn't read the letters because she didn't understand the language. She guessed it wouldn't be something bad, and just found out how to write thank you in the man's language. She didn't expect him to send another letter. She had to sit with the dictionary, struggling to find simple words to reply to his letter. She has always wanted to know what he wrote and asks Sei to read the letters for her. Of course, Sei is willing. Misono gathers all the letters and hands them over to Sei. The first letter is just an apology for frightening her during the party, and he says the drinks she gave him were delicious. In the second letter, he says he is happy to receive her reply and thanks her for writing it in his language. Riri is freaking out as she realizes these are love letters. Misono keeps denying it, but her blushing face betrays her. She is eager to read today's letter, but Sei hands it to her. Today's letter is written in their language so she can read it. Misono is surprised. The man apologizes in his letter. He finally realized she couldn't read the previous letters because they were written in a foreign language. From now on, he will write in her country's language. He says he treasures her letters, but he wants something more. He wants to see her smile again. So sweet. The man wasn't joking when he said he wanted to see her. Lord Edward actually visits their manor. He apologizes for visiting suddenly, but he was just desperate to see his lover. He becomes shy as he confesses he has already learned her country's language just so he could speak with her. Misono is so happy. She smiles brightly and thanks him for coming to see her. Edward is charmed by her beautiful smile and begins to blush. She is just so cute. The two seem to have forgotten there are people around. The single Riri is hurt by the bitter taste of love, while our couple watches them happily. Suhaku is surprised by the man's visit. After hearing he is an investor in Fujigamina's manor, he tells Sei about his plan. He has been searching for a foreign partner to build a relationship with. Now that he has met Edward, he plans to speak to him and ask Sei for her help. Our heroine is really happy to see two people fall in love. Their relationship looks wonderful. She thinks it's lovely watching them become friends. Even though they speak different languages, it makes her very happy. Not everyone is happy. The people around Shuichi's shop notice he hasn't opened for a long time. Another person reveals the family is fighting, and the wife even left with their child. Inside the shop, Shuichi is destroying everything he can touch. He is almost going crazy as the words his wife said repeat in his head. He tries to convince himself she is lying, wondering why this happened to him. Suddenly, the door opens and someone steps in. Chio is here, and she starts brainwashing him, trying to convince him that this is Sei's fault. She tells him that Sei set everything up just to get her revenge on him. Shuichi is convinced and curses Sei for being horrible. She has destroyed his life. Chio agrees with him and tells him that Sei also used her. She suggests they work together to destroy her. Chio's mother, Yoshie, is panicking. She has just found out Chio is missing. She has no idea her daughter is on another death-seeking mission and questions the maids. She orders them to find her quickly. Yoshi fears her husband will find out and wonders where her daughter could have gone. Misono is preparing a coat for Sei, who seems to be going on a walk. Our girl doesn't forget to ask Misono about her new relationship with Mr. Edward. Misono tells her the man plans to send her more letters. It seems like he won't be leaving their country anytime soon. Sei offers to help her with any language problems, and Misono thanks her. She is about to head outside when they notice a storm coming. We're all curious about where Sei is going, so let's go back to a few days ago. The men have found a hairpin, which Sei recognizes as Chio's. It was in the hands of one of the Fujigamini family's former maids. It is made of pure gold, and if sold, would fetch a lot of money. Sei had told Sohaku her suspicions about the maids. Tadamasa investigated and finally spoke to one of them, only to find out Sei was right. That day, she had seen the two maids hiding in a corner, watching them. She is heartbroken when her suspicions are proven right. Tadamasa tells her that Chio gave the maids some valuable items to sell off. In exchange, they had to spread the rumor about Sei's affair all around the town. Chio even made sure to fire them after, an act even Tadamasa thinks is disturbing. She really used and abandoned them. This time, Sei won't forgive her cousin. She blames herself for being foolish enough to forgive Chio and trusting her. She reveals that Chio sent her another letter asking them to meet. She has decided to go and plans to force Chio to confess to her crimes. She will make her explain everything to her uncle and aunt. Our heroine is still too naive. Lord Suhaku supports Sei's idea. They have to find a way to make Chio take responsibility for everything. He allows her to visit Chio for the last time, but this time he will go with her. Back to the present, Lord Suhaku and Tadamasa have arrived at the spot, but they are in beast form. Chio isn't here, but Sei has arrived with Riri following her. All around them, people are murmuring, all afraid to see the beastmen. They try not to show their fear, afraid they will be eaten. Riri and Sei are feeling bad, while the men are just annoyed. Well, Lord Suhaku is. Tadamasa is just happy and offers to chase them away, but Suhaku stops him. Sei approaches Suhaku, feeling bad for him, but he is already used to this. No matter what form they take, they will never fit in. It will be better for them to just remain like this today. They still haven't seen Chio. It is past their meeting time, and it doesn't seem like she will be showing up anytime soon. Suhaku tells Tadamasa to check the surroundings. On the quiet street, a car suddenly rushes by. The people around yell, wondering what is wrong with the driver. Lord Suhaku is in shock as he watches the car, because it is heading straight for Sei. He runs over, but it is too late for both of them to escape. There is a loud sound, and the next thing we see is Sei lying on the floor and Riri screaming beside her. But the maid isn't looking at her. She is looking ahead. When Sei looks up, she sees a large pool of blood and Lord Suhaku lying on the floor. He was hit by a car. Sei is still in shock when someone suddenly grabs her. When she turns to look, she sees a crazy Shuichi. He holds her and says he will never forgive her. Shuichi has gone crazy. He seems to be driving somewhere. Not only does he keep talking about never forgiving Sei, but he has also kidnapped the girl. Our heroine is tied up in the back seat. She wonders why Shuichi is doing this and concludes he is crazy. She remembers how he ran his car into them, injuring her fiancé. She wants to cry, but she knows it won't solve anything. She can't just sit here scared. She has to find a way to escape. The girl looks around only to notice the man is heading out of town. She has no idea where he is taking her. Shuichi arrives at an abandoned warehouse and steps out. He tries to pull Sei out, but she keeps struggling. He is very violent and just carries her out and throws her into the warehouse. The girl is in pain, but her heartbreak increases when she hears someone's laughter. She looks up to see Chio smiling at her. Chio is very happy. She admires the view and tells Sei such filthy places really suit her. Our girl is shocked. Shuichi goes out to get rid of the car, leaving the two sisters all alone. Sei has finally realized the truth. She asks Chio if she was the one who planned all this. She must have told Shuichi their location and set them up to be alone in his shop that day. She is the one who paid those maids to spread a fake rumor about her. Her cousin doesn't feel bad and even mocks Sei. calling her a clueless idiot. Lord Suhaku already suspects her, so she doesn't need to hide the truth anymore. Our heroine can't believe it. She had really thought her cousin wanted to start over and be as close as they were when they were kids. Those words make Chio laugh. She tells Sai she must really be a nice person. She has always loved Chio and treated her like a younger sister, but Chio never cared. She tells Sai she had forgotten all about their past. Sai is heartbroken, but seeing her in pain makes Chio very happy. She keeps laughing and finally confesses she has always been jealous of Sai. Even when they were kids, she hated seeing Sai so happy and having everything. Sei's heart is broken. Lord Shuichi returns and Chio leaves them alone. She encourages the man to do whatever he wants to say and happily tells the girl goodbye. Our heroine is left alone with the man who believes she ruined his life. He looks crazy as he approaches Sei. Our girl can't do anything and just closes her eyes, praying for her man to appear. Well, her man has fainted, and Lord Tadamasa is begging him to wake up. Suhaku finally opens his eyes and his assistant is happy. He wants to treat Suhaku first, but the man's focus is on Sei. When he hears that she has been kidnapped, he immediately tries to stand up. Tadamasa tries to stop him because he is seriously injured, but Suhaku refuses any medical care. Right now, he needs to find his Sei. He sends Tadamasa away to seek help from the military. As he walks around, he sees some familiar clothes on the floor. He remembers the dress. That was what Riri was wearing. It might be raining, but that won't stop our male lead from saving his woman. He is tracing Riri's scent when he finally sees the girl herself. Just like he suspected, she had changed into her squirrel form. She looks very cute, yet tired. Lord Suhaku notices and tells her to calm down and tell him where Sei was taken. Riri says Sei was forced into the car that hit him. When she noticed, she changed into her squirrel form and followed them. She reveals Sei is being held at an abandoned warehouse outside of town and begs Lord Suhaku to save her. Suhaku is touched. Riri is so small, yet she ran all the way here with her little body. He praises her and keeps her safe, waiting for Tadamasa. He prays that his fiancée remains safe. Sei faces the crazy man who believes she ruined his life. No matter how hard she wishes for him to stay away, he still approaches. He grabs her clothes and suddenly accuses her of knowing he can't have children. Our heroine is confused, wondering if the man is completely insane. He was the one who divorced her because she couldn't have kids. He was even expecting a child with another woman. He chokes her, demanding an answer. He keeps mumbling, saying his children belong to another man. Sei is in shock because this means it was never her fault that they couldn't have children. When she asks the man about it, he jumps away in fear, insisting it wasn't his fault. He can't accept the fact that he is infertile. He really is crazy, as he suddenly starts laughing. Our heroine wonders what is wrong with him. But if this is true and it was Shuichi's fault that they could never have children, he doesn't let her think and suddenly approaches her again. He still insists he isn't infertile and decides to test it out on Sei. Lord Suhaku is bleeding and keeps coughing, but that isn't important because he can finally smell Sei's scent. There is no mistake. Sei must be inside the warehouse. Our heroine is struggling for her life. She refuses to let this man touch her again and keeps fighting. It frustrates Shuichi, and he yells at her to keep quiet. He wants her to remain obedient and listen to him, just as she did before. But as I said, our Sei has changed. She immediately kicks his stomach and tells him she won't listen. He needs to stay away from her. The man can't believe she just hit him. He becomes violent and slams her head to the floor. But even that won't destroy her determination. Sei refuses to listen to him anymore. But right now, there is nothing she can do. She closes her eyes and calls her man's name, only for him to really appear at the door. The two turn back and stare at the beast man in shock. Sei is so relieved that she begins to cry. Well, bad news for Shuichi. The sight of her tears makes our male lead snap, and he suddenly becomes feral. Get him. Shuichi must really regret treating Sei so violently, because once Lord Suhaku sees the tears on his fiancé's face, he snaps and becomes feral. Now Shuichi is scared. Instead of running, he stands there asking why our male lead is here. Wrong choice. Suhaku only has to hit him once, and the man flies across the room, slamming into the wall. Suhaku's sharp claws have injured his arm, and Shuichi lies on the floor wailing like a child. Our male lead isn't done with him. He approaches, wondering just how much more the man has to hurt Sei. Oh no, it seems we have all forgotten that beastmen can't control themselves when they see blood. Right now, Shuichi is bleeding, and the sight of his blood makes Lord Suhaku lose control. He can't even hear Sei, who begs him to stop. Our heroine realizes he can't hear her. He keeps attacking Shuichi and is now choking him. The man questions Suhaku, reminding him that it is a crime for a beastman to hurt a human. A very unfair rule, though. It seems Shuichi really wants to die, as even now he still insults Sei, saying Suhaku is wasting his life for a worthless woman. As expected, our male lead is furious and slams him down again. Now Sei is very worried. She keeps begging Suhaku to stop, but he can't hear her. She is still tied up and desperately moves around, praying that the rope loosens. It does, and she immediately runs forward. Shuichi has been beaten up badly. Lord Suhaku is about to land the killing blow when Sei suddenly rushes to his front, calling his name. She cries and begs him to stop. Our male lead is struggling, so she holds his hand. He finally regains his senses and holds her hand. He turns back to his human form and gently calls her name. Sei turns into a big baby, hugging him and crying loudly. Suhaku apologizes for scaring her. All he wanted to do was protect her. The couple settles into a corner and keeps hugging, relieved to have each other. Well, this is an interesting trio. We see Tadamasa in his wolf form, riding a horse, which is actually Senri in her beast form, while Riri hangs on his shoulder in her squirrel form. They are tracing our main lead's scent, and Tadamasa announces he can smell some blood. Senri agrees that it is bad news, while Riri tells them they have arrived at the warehouse. They all rush into the warehouse, calling out for the couple. Instead, the first thing they see is an injured Shuichi. Some soldiers have arrived and everyone wonders what happened here. Lord Sohaku finally stands up and Senri asks if he was the one who injured Shuichi. Sohaku admits it was him and tells them they can arrest him. Sei definitely won't allow that. She tries to stop Lady Senri, telling them Sohaku was just trying to protect her. The man himself stops her. He assures her he is fine, but she doesn't listen. Tadamasa holds her back and reminds her that a beast man can never hurt a human, no matter what happens. We can all agree that it is the most useless rule ever. Even Sei feels it is unfair, but there is nothing she can do. The soldiers check on the scumbag who, unfortunately, is still breathing. What a pity. Thankfully, they also arrested him. Our heroine watches as her fiancé is taken away. She tries to follow him, but Tadamasa stops her. She is in despair, begging them not to take her man away, but no one listens to her. Our heroine isn't the only one having a breakdown. Jiru Fujigamine can't believe Sohaku has been arrested for harming a human. He wonders just what the man was thinking. But Jiru has always been a businessman. He immediately decides to cut ties with the Kamishiro family and announces that the engagement is called off. Chio and her mother hear this. Her mother isn't pleased, thinking it will be a big disgrace for Sei to return to their home a second time. Chio is happy and suggests they also disown Sei from the Fujigamine family. She is really pleased. Both Shuichi and Sohaku have been arrested, and no one will believe Sei. Everything happened exactly the way she wanted. This is amazing news for the snake. Chio. Her mother is still worried because their business has been going badly. Chio assures her mother that everything will be fine. She is going to marry a good man and support her family. Her mother doesn't support her because it isn't the right time for Chio to marry. Well, we aren't the only ones terrified of Chio. The look on her face frightens her mother, who quickly changes her mind and agrees with her. She tells the girl she is their only hope now. At the Kamishiro estate, Tadamasa asks about Sae and learns she hasn't been sleeping or eating. The maids think this is normal since she just went through a scary incident. The man planned to take her to the military for questioning, but decided to reschedule upon hearing that. The maids are worried and wonder what would happen to their family if Lord Sohaku never returns. But even Tadamasa is confused. He is taking a walk when he sees Sae. She is dressed up and tells him she is ready to leave. Her determination makes him happy, and he promises to follow her anywhere. The maids gather to wish Sei goodbye, acting like she is going on a long journey, but their sincerity makes her smile. Sei asks Riri about her beast form, and the maid reveals she doesn't like anyone seeing her that way. Because she is an animal form beast woman, she always ends up naked, which makes her shy. Sei is confused, so Tadamasa explains to her, beastmen have two forms, human form and animal form. People like Sohaku look more like humans when they change, but some people, like Riri, become full animals when they change. Riri has always disliked her beast form. Because she is just a squirrel, most people look down on her. But that night, she was glad to be a squirrel because it allowed her to chase after Sei and find her. Tadamasa announces they will soon arrive. The three are headed to the Imperial military quarters. This is where Sohaku is being kept. Sei explains what happened to Senri. She tells her that Shuichi had already gone mad. If Lord Sohaku hadn't saved her, she would have been killed. She believes her younger sister orchestrated this whole mess and wants Chio investigated as well. Senri promises to do so, but she tells Sei this information may not be useful. Sei feels it is unfair. She wants to see Lord Sohaku, concerned about his wounds, but Senri tells her it is impossible. Any beastmen who harm humans are strictly quarantined. Tadamasa begs her to speak on Sohaku's behalf, since Shoichi has committed many crimes as well. Their begging annoys Senri, and she yells at Tadamasa, reminding him how things work. In the military, the beastmen are the weakest. No one is willing to listen to them. Senri is extremely sad. She also wants to save Sohaku, but there is nothing she can do. They all look hopeless except for Sei. If her testimony is not enough, she is ready to write a petition for Sohaku's punishment to be reduced. Senri doesn't think the military will release a beastman who hurt a human, but Sei doesn't care about that. She is ready to do anything to free Lord Sohaku. The three are done, and Tadamasa praises Sei for her courage. It is time for them to return home and get some sweet rest. Tadamasa leaves the women behind and goes to fetch their car. Sei knows Tadamasa is right. The only thing they can do is wait, but she still feels worried. Sei is still thinking of her fiancé. She has no idea she will meet her ex-husband's new wife soon until the woman calls her name. She introduces herself to Sei. Of course Sei knows her. After all, this was the woman Shuichi divorced her for because she was pregnant with his child. She wonders what the woman is doing here, and Teruko says she is here to testify. She tells Sei none of the children she had belongs to Shuichi. She wanted him to divorce Sei, so she slept with another man to get pregnant. But now, Teruko really regrets doing that. She apologizes to Sei for harming her. The baby seems to agree with her and kicks her. The woman shouts in pain, prompting our heroine's concern. Teruko tells Sei the baby will soon arrive. Sei isn't bothered by that anymore. She might have wanted a child before, but now she has someone even more important, Lord Sohaku. She wishes Teruko well. Her actions make the woman feel guilty, and she tries to say something. What is she going to tell Sei? Sei sincerely wishes Teruko well, making the woman feel guilty. She promises Sei she will tell the soldiers the truth so Shuichi will be properly punished. Sei likes it. And the woman leaves, thanking Sei for caring for her. Inside the military headquarters, we see a handsome redhead soldier receive a letter from his subordinates. Sei really wrote a petition for Sohaku's release. The man seems interested when he hears about Sei. Days later, Senri visits Sei and informs her that she has been allowed to see Lord Sohaku. Before our heroine can get too excited, she is told there is a special condition. She must first meet their colonel. The man has specially requested to speak to her. Now what could that be about? Sei too is confused and wonders why the military colonel wants to see her. Well, we are about to find out why. She visits the military base and is taken to see the man. Apparently, the colonel's name is Rindu Kagami, and he is a human who hates the Beastman very much. Senri couldn't believe he was the one who approved Sei's visit. The two men were very famous back then. Kagami was known as the Beast Hater, and Suhaku as the Human Hater. Sei is surprised and asks Tadamasa whether he knows this man as well. He says he does because Kagami took care of him when he was in the military. Except it was not the good kind. Tadamasa hated the man so much that he actually considered eating him. He might not have harmed Kagami, but he has definitely scared our heroine. But she is still determined to do anything to save Suhaku. Sei has arrived at Kagami's office, and the first thing she notices when she enters is the sweet smell of flowers. The man seems very friendly and even tells her to relax around him. Tadamasa follows her in, and Kagami finally notices him. Tadamasa doesn't waste time insulting his perfume, only for Kagami to say he can't recognize him. Low blow. Tadamasa definitely wants to fight, but Senri begs him to calm down. Kagami can't be bothered by those two silly people. Sei has requested that Suhaku's sentence be reduced, and he tells her the military would never allow it. But if he were to specially plead for Suhaku, he might even be able to free the man. Senri doesn't trust him, wondering why this man who hates beastmen would suddenly decide to help Suhaku. Sei doesn't know what Senri is thinking. Her only concern is if Kagami can help them. He says he can help them reduce Suhaku's punishment, but he has one condition. He tells Sei it depends on her and reveals he has always been interested in her. He has been waiting to see her and now wants a private chat. We see our male lead in prison garb, locked in a cell. He looks sad until he hears his fiancée calling him. When he looks up, he really sees her. Sei has come to visit him. Our male lead is at first delighted to see his fiancée, but then he becomes ashamed, thinking he has no right to see her. He was once a military doctor and has been trained not to lose control when seeing human blood. But for some reason, anytime it involves Sei, he seems to lose control. At that moment, he wanted to punish Shuichi for everything he had done to Sei. If she hadn't stopped him, he would have eaten the man. He feels very guilty, but Sei warns him not to apologize. He did all those things to save her, so she doesn't blame him. In fact, she is even thankful. He committed a sin just to protect her. So it is her turn now to protect him. Suhaku might just have fallen in love with her all over again. He must really want to hug her right now. But the prison bars are in their way. They can only touch their foreheads together. This is another form of torture for them, being so close and yet not being able to touch. She is still worried about his health, but he tells her he is fine. He is a beastman, so his body is naturally stronger than a human's. She tells him about her plan to have his sentence reduced. Suhaku knows that it is impossible. The military would never have pity on a beastman. Someone interrupts them. Kagami arrives and says it is indeed impossible. Suhaku is shocked to see him, while the man is as cheerful as always. Suhaku demands to know why Kagami is here. The colonel talks about how he read Sei's petition, and her feelings for Suhaku impressed him, making him approve of her visit. He lets Suhaku know that he has been chatting with Sei, and she even told him how she met Suhaku. He seems to be purposely annoying our male lead as he touches Sei. Of course, Suhaku reacts and shows his fangs, warning the man to stay away from his fiancée. Kagami laughs and moves away, but wants Suhaku to stop glaring at him. After all, he is the one helping him now. Like the rest of us, Suhaku is shocked that a beast hater would want to help him. He is sure the man must have a plan. Kagami does want something. He wants Suhaku to owe him a favor. He advises the beastman to make the smart choice and rely on him. Done with annoying Suhaku, he tells Sei the visiting hours are over. Our heroine is reluctant to leave her man and promises to do everything to free him. Everyone is waiting for him to come home. Sei follows Kagami out, wondering if she should trust the man, but she has no choice. Right now, he is the only one who can help Suhaku. The man suddenly asks whether she speaks foreign languages and wants to know more about her. She tells him her parents were running a trading company, so they lived abroad. He is curious about them, and she reveals that her parents were kind people. They spoke several languages and adapted to life abroad, forging many close friendships. They might be dead, but they were honest people. Kagami believes she can trust the beastman because her parents were wonderful. He is actually confused. Her father and Jiru clearly had the same parents, so why are they so different? He decides to reveal a secret about her uncle to Sei. Just what could it be? Kagami tells our heroine a little secret. Her uncle will soon be arrested. It is true. The next day, Lord Jiru is arrested in his home for selling illegal drugs. Kagami still has that annoying smile on his face, even when arresting people. He tells Jiru he should have just continued scamming nobles and selling fake drugs. Yoshi is panicking. She never knew her husband would actually start selling hard drugs. Everything is a mess. And she doesn't know when her husband will be released. How is she supposed to run the Fujigamine company when she knows nothing about business? Chio rushes in, but her only concern is how they will live and what will happen to her engagement. She already looks defeated, but it is just the beginning of her karma. Senri goes to the Kamishiro Manor to tell Sei about her uncle's arrest. Our heroine isn't surprised, since Kagami had already told her beforehand. The only new detail is that Jiru was selling hard drugs, but she has no strength to worry about him. She is still thinking of Suhaku and asks Senri for updates about his sentence. It seems to be going smoothly. Kagami was very helpful, and the military finally agreed that Suhaku was just trying to protect Sei. To our surprise, we find out that Teruko also testified against her husband. Sei remembers the woman's promises and is surprised she actually did it. But there is bad news for our heroine. Senri tells her that Suhaku's case has been abandoned. Sei demands to know why, and Senri reminds her that they are beastmen. Most humans won't agree to forgive a beastman. Riri agrees, and tells Sei how the beastmen would be punished in the past, even when the humans are at fault. Sei is annoyed by how unfair it all is. Senri has always been taught not to offend humans. She was told it was her role to be used by humans. She believed it was normal for beastmen to suffer even when they didn't offend humans. Only now does she realize how wrong it is. Sei still won't give up. She makes up her mind to keep speaking out to expose this injustice. Senri agrees with her. There are many beastmen in the military who all support Suhaku. She will speak to them and stage a protest. Sei wants to come along, and Senri agrees. Sei is out with Senri and Tadamasa on their mission when they run into the last person they wish to see. Sei's wicked sister, Chio. The girl acts surprised and seems to regret seeing Sei alive. Sei doesn't want to waste time with this psychopath. She tells the girl she has reported her actions to the military. Chio isn't afraid because our heroine has no proof. She thinks no one will believe her. She mocks her cousin for relying on the Kamishiro family for everything. She reminds Sei that her fiancé has been arrested, so she doesn't even have a backer. Sei is annoyed by Chio's audacity. She was the one who planned everything, so how dare she speak that way? Chio is annoyed to see Sei glaring at her. Her cousin has always been a coward, so why does she look so scary now? Chio is annoyed to see Sei glaring at her. It makes her scared, and she yells at our heroine, telling her to speak. The situation calms down when Chio's mother arrives. She smiles at her daughter, but it changes to fear when she sees Seiyao. She nervously asks what our heroine is doing here. Sei brings up the issue of Jiru's arrest, which makes Yoshi panic. She probably thinks Sei is after their company and tells her someone has been helping them run it. She tells Sei to stop worrying about it because it is none of her business. Just like her daughter, Chio's mother hates seeing Sei looking so bold. Sei's fiancé has been arrested too, so she expects the girl to be as wretched as they are. She angrily says Sei has been expelled from the Fujigamin's family and warns her not to return. She tells our heroine to remain with her beastmen. Sei doesn't argue. She tells them she will do as she wants. Since they can't bully her, the mother and daughter leave. Those women seem to have a way of making people hate them. Even Senri finds them annoying and almost hits them. It might have become Sei's habit to apologize as she says sorry once again. Senri neither accepts her apology nor praises her actions. She really liked seeing Sei stand up for herself. Tadamasa points out how nervous the women looked. They must be panicking because Jiru was arrested. Sei knows her aunt has never been involved in the business. She must be having some trouble now that Jiru is gone. She orders Lord Tadamasa to investigate and keep watch on what happens within Fujigamini's company from now on. Tadamasa is confused. It is an easy task, but he wonders why. Sei doesn't answer, only saying she is suspicious about something. They aren't the only ones worried about the Fujigamins. Over at the military base, Jiru has still refused to confess. The soldiers report to Colonel Kagami, but he isn't bothered. After all, it won't affect him. It is Jiru who will suffer because his sentence will be lengthened. Kagami even assigns someone else to the case. The soldier has one more thing to report. They have been getting complaints from the beastmen in the military. They are all unhappy with how Lord Suhaku is being treated and punished. It turns out Sei's petition is gaining more support. Yay. Nothing can really bother Kagami. He still doesn't care about this. His soldier, meanwhile, is worried, asking why he would assist Suhaku when he's just a beastman. Everyone knows how much he hates them. We finally see Kagami's mean side as he warns his soldier to shut up and get out. The poor man looks like he has just seen a ghost and quickly rushes away. Kagami sits alone, thinking of what the soldier said about the beastmen supporting Sei. He never thought a human would be able to capture the hearts of the beastmen. She is really better than he expected. At the Fujigamin's home, Chio happily welcomes her mother home. Yoshi has just returned from the bank, and she happily asks for a new dress to celebrate her future engagement. Well, she is going to be disappointed. Chio finally realizes something might be wrong as her mother's face is pale and she keeps shaking. She asks about it, and her mother finally reveals it is all gone. There is nothing left in the bank. The girl can't believe it, asking how their money could be gone. It turns out the person running their business for them is missing. Her mother tried to reach them, even going to their house only to find it empty. Chio has finally realized that their money has been stolen and blames her mother. She trusted her friends so much that she even gave them access to her bank account. She suggests they beg their relatives for help. Yoshi reveals they all cut ties with them after hearing of Jiru's arrest. She can't bear it anymore and starts screaming. Chio watches in shock, wondering how this could happen to her. Tadamasa has been watching the Fujigamin family and tells Sei about their current condition. Not only have they been scammed out of their money, but even their servants have also abandoned them. Their lifestyle has completely changed. He tells Sei the hard truth. The Fujigamin's family probably won't be able to survive. Our heroine doesn't react much, and the man can tell she is still worried about Suhaku. He wants her to stop worrying. She has done everything she can to help Suhaku. The only thing they can do now is pray and wait for things to change. Alone in his cell, our male lead reflects on what Senri told him. Many of their old military friends came to protest his release, all because of Sei. Her determination not to give up on him encouraged everyone. Suhaku is moved until he catches a familiar scent. It belongs to someone he absolutely doesn't want to see. Kagami says Suhaku must be bored and offers to chat with him. The Beastman refuses. He still hasn't forgotten how mean and cruel Kagami was to the Beastmen soldiers. He treated them like useless pawns. The colonel insists he has changed since then. He has also noticed Suhaku's change and thinks it is because of his fiancée, Sei. He is actually impressed with Sei. Because of her efforts, Suhaku will soon be released. But as usual, the colonel has a condition. Suhaku will have to exchange something for his freedom. What could that be? Chio has always been proud, so it is very satisfying to watch her beg a maid to stay. All their servants have left, and the last one seems to be leaving too. Chio tries to convince her to stay back, but the woman shoves her away. She has always disliked the current Fujigamin family. She will be a fool to keep serving them when they can't even pay her. Chio throws a tantrum after the maid leaves. She believes she doesn't deserve this. She's already used to servants doing everything for her. even feeding and changing her clothes. She really can't survive. Her mother returns home, but this time she is smiling. This is a sign that she has found some money, and Chio is finally happy. The money seems to be a lot, and with this, they can survive for some time. Chio wonders where her mother got so much money, and the woman reveals she sold the company. Chio can't believe her mother would sell the company behind her father's back. Well, Yoshi has bigger news. She plans to divorce the man. The money from selling the company will be her divorce fee. Chio doesn't seem to understand their situation, still concerned about losing her status. Her mother isn't worried. She has a new target, the man who bought Fujigamine. He is a business expert and is very rich. From the way she describes him, golden hair, blue eyes, foreigner, she is clearly talking about Edward. She discovered he was single and wants her daughter to seduce him. Then they will have an even higher status. Yoshi is meeting Lord Edward. She returns to the company to sign off on the final rights and receive the last payment from him. The woman thinks of the money and wastes no time in signing the agreement. She doesn't care about the Fujigamine company. Her only concern is avoiding poverty. After the signing, Edward tells her the Fujigamine family has no connection with the company anymore. The woman can't refuse because her husband committed a crime and sold drugs. In her mind, she scolds him for causing her trouble. After selling his company, she plans to divorce him. She thanks Edward for buying the company despite the situation. At first, no one would buy it and she panicked. The man promises to make the company work. He reveals he is just an investor. Someone else will take over the company and manage it from now on. Yoshi doesn't care about that and, after wishing him well, asks about the money. Edward hands over a suitcase full of money, and the woman almost cries in happiness. This money is actually too much for a failing company. But Yoshi isn't complaining. She eagerly accepts the money. They will be able to survive now. Edward is throwing a party to introduce the new manager and tells Yoshi to bring her daughter. This is a perfect opportunity for the woman. She will make sure her daughter seduces him so they can get everything. The day of the party finally arrives. As soon as Chio sees how pretty the hall looks, she knows this investor must be very rich. She keeps looking around, eager to see him, but is approached by a foreigner. He tries to speak to her, but she doesn't understand what he says. She quickly runs away, annoyed at him. She isn't here to talk to random people. She came to meet her future husband. She waits outside and finally sees her mother. She is about to complain when she spots the handsome man beside Yoshi. It is Lord Edward. Her mother introduces him to Chio, and for the first time, we see Chio shy. Her heart is racing, and she is amazed by how handsome the man is. He is different from her former fiancé. Even Seiya's Beastman can't compare. She decides that Lord Edward is her soulmate and is worthy to become her husband. Her mother urges her to speak to him, but he refuses. He says he has to introduce the company's new president and walks away. He thanks everyone for attending today's party to celebrate the rebirth of the Fujigamine company. He tells them he invested in the company only to help a certain lady. From now on, that lady will be running the company. We are all curious to know who this mysterious lady is. Edward finally opens the door, allowing her in. Chio and her mother are shocked to see this person, as they know her. The new president of the Fujigamine company is Sei. Edward introduces the new president of Fujigamine's company, and it turns out to be our heroine. Yoshi and Chio are shocked. They never thought Sei would be here and rush to confront her. Sei has no explanation for them. Just like Edward said, she is the new president. She reveals she was the one who encouraged Edward to invest in and buy the company. Yoshi is unhappy and accuses Sei of tricking them. Our heroine reminds her of whose fault it is. Her aunt was just too greedy for money and didn't read the contract carefully. The woman says she wouldn't have sold it if she'd known Sei would be the owner. Sei mocks her, reminding her that there were no other buyers. She actually saved them. This is exciting news for the people around, and they begin to gossip. They look down on the mother and daughter for getting scammed. They think they are shameless, daring to show up at the party after what Jiru did. Of course, the women can hear this, and they both look pale. Sei watches them from behind. She has finally decided to take action. A few days ago, Senri informed her that Lord Suhaku would soon be released. She was so excited that she ran over in her beast form. Of course, the happiest person was Sei. But after that day, our heroine began to plan. Her fiancé has always wanted an equal society for beastmen and humans and has focused on developing medicine. If she takes over Fujigamine, she will be able to assist him once he is released. That was why she made this decision. Back to the banquet. Sei criticizes Jiru and his family. She reminds the mother and daughter that the company was created to be a bridge between countries. The generations after the company's founder, including her own father, all followed this rule. Yet after Jiru took over the company, he started selling hard drugs. She says her aunt isn't better, rushing to sell and abandon the company. She calls the family greedy and accuses them of destroying the Fujigamine's company. From now on, she will lead the company herself. Edward is impressed, glad he made the right decision by investing in her. Sei continues her speech. She knows it will be a difficult journey, but she has the support of Lord Edward, Lord Sohaku, and others who trust her. She makes a promise to the people around, vowing to revive the Fujigamine's company and asks for their support. The crowd is moved, and they all start clapping. Of course, not everyone is happy. Chio's mother can't control her temper and starts yelling at Sei, accusing her of humiliating them. She calls her ungrateful and an awful daughter, and even starts pulling her clothes. Sei announces she is no longer related to them. Her aunt chased her out and told her to do whatever she wanted. Yoshi grows violent and tries to slap Sei, but Tadamasa stops her. He promises to throw her out if she keeps causing a scene. She doesn't listen and keeps shouting, vowing never to forgive Sei. Chio appears as well and accuses Sei of being vile, demanding that she release her mother. She condemns her for harming her own family. Now that she knows Sei might have some money, she says she wants to apologize and work together with our heroine. So delusional. Sei doesn't fall for her tricks and slaps her hand away. warning her not to touch her. She doesn't need the girl's fake apology and vows never to forgive the family for everything they did to her. Chio might not remember their past, but Sei still remembers the girl who would smile and care for her. Sei really loved the girl back then. She was blinded by that love and never realized Chio had started to hate her. Even she thinks she was a fool for never noticing. They have already received the money from selling the company, so Sei has no business with them anymore. Sei tries to leave and doesn't listen to Chio, who begs her to stay. It annoys the girl, and she suddenly tries to attack Sei. Thankfully, Lord Edward rescues our heroine and warns Chio to stop disgracing herself. After all, she is in public. The girl is ashamed and runs away. Sei apologizes to Edward for the mess, but he doesn't mind it. He only invited the women to show how foolish they were. He advises Sei to keep being confident. Our heroine apologizes to the crowd and vows to win their trust once again. She doesn't expect them to suddenly start clapping. They all approve of her. In fact, they are all eager to start business with her. The mother and daughter try to convince themselves that it's all a dream. How can their company end up in Sei's hands? Well, that is the reality. Days have passed and our heroine has become busy. The business is going smoothly, and she thanks Tadamasa for assisting her. They pass by a familiar street, and Sei notices her ex-husband's shop is gone. After his arrest, his relatives had to close the shop down. She worries about Teruko and her child and prays for their safety. Finally, the past is behind her, and our heroine doesn't have to worry about her ex-husband again. She is happy because Lord Sohaku will be returning to the Kamishiro Manor tomorrow. Kagami sends Sohaku off with a warning. He will still be under military observation, so he must be careful. Sohaku thanks him for his help, but Kagami doesn't need thanks. He reminds Sohaku of his conditions, and the Beastman promises to fulfill them. What could his conditions be? The Kamishiro estate is bustling as all the servants gather around to wait for their lord's return. Sei joins them, and even the proud Maru is dragged along. The servants are getting impatient and wish they could have gone to fetch him from the base, but they had been advised to keep silent about his release because he is a beastman. The maids feel it is unfair. Riri doesn't want any sad news today. She talks to Sei, but our heroine is so nervous that she is blushing. The maids all tease her, as everyone knows how happy she is. She has been waiting for this day. Lord Sohaku has finally arrived. Before the maids can speak, Sei turns into an Olympic runner and rushes to his side. Sohaku is playing with Maru when he hears an incoming missile. Of course it is Sei, and she throws herself at him, hugging him tightly. She has been waiting for this moment. The man thanks her for her help. Senri told him everything, and he is really grateful. The couple hug each other rightly. They look really happy. I'm so jealous. The Kamishiros throw a party to celebrate Sohaku's return. Even Edward has been invited, and everyone looks happy. Sohaku and Tadamasa seem to be having a private discussion. Sohaku pours some wine for him personally, almost scaring Tadamasa, but it is just our male lead's way of thanking him for taking care of his fiancée and the estate. Tadamasa refuses to accept his thanks, feeling guilty. He failed to protect Sohaku from the accident. They are interrupted by a drunk Senri. She isn't the only one drunk, as even Riri has turned into her squirrel form and fallen asleep. The party is over and the servants start cleaning up. Sei tries to help, but she is chased away and asked to go stay with her man. Sei is shy again, especially when the man praises the idea and says they should go to his room. Unfortunately, they end up in the medicine room and continue drinking. Sohaku notices how red her face is and assumes she is drunk. He isn't wrong. She was so happy that she drank too much. Just looking at her pretty face stirs the man up, and he suddenly pulls her close and kisses her. Sei's body is so hot she feels like she could melt. She blames the innocent alcohol, but we all know it is because of the kiss. When he stops the kiss, she isn't happy. She really wants him to touch her more, just like he did during their first night. They are enjoying their kiss when something happens. Lord Sohaku gets a strange feeling and pushes Sei away. He says he got too heated, but it is clearly a lie. Sei is worried and scolds herself for desiring him in such a public place. She is afraid he will think she is an indecent woman. But Sohaku is thinking of something different. He just had the same feeling he had when he lost control after seeing human blood. He actually felt the desire to eat a human. The feeling of rut and the desire to eat a human are the same. Normally, a beastman in heat wouldn't desire to eat his partner, but it is different when their partner is a human. The more they love their partner, the stronger their desire to eat them is. Sohaku is in despair. He always thought he could control himself around Sei. He would be careful not to hurt her, and everything would be fine as long as they trusted each other. But it isn't so simple. Only now does he realize how painful it is to have a partner from a different race. But he knows he wouldn't have these feelings if he didn't love Sei. Still, he can't marry her when he has these urges. He remains silent, making Sei panic. She thinks he might have noticed her indecent feelings and probably dislikes her now. The man suggests they leave and offers to walk her back. They arrive at Sei's room. Sohaku is reluctant to leave her and hugs her again. He wishes her goodnight and leaves. Sei is relieved he has returned to his normal self. She believes they will be together forever. The thought makes her happy, and she prays the man feels the same way. We see some soldiers arrive at the prison. The younger one is scared when he hears a strange noise. The other man isn't bothered. He says it is just a prisoner in the cell slamming his head against the wall. The man seems to have gone insane after learning his company had been sold out. He warns the other soldier to stay away from him. Just like we expected, it is Lord Giroux. He has gone crazy, slamming his head against the wall. He keeps repeating the same words, vowing never to forgive them, and declaring that Fujigamin's company is his. What a satisfying end. Lord Giroux isn't the only one going crazy. In the Fujigamin home, the mood is just as terrible as the weather. Chio's mother keeps counting the money. Like Giroux, she keeps laughing and repeating the same words, vowing that the company isn't important as long as they have money. Chio watches her mother in disbelief. In the next scene, Edward tells Sei that the Fujigamin mansion has been sold. Our heroine already heard the rumors and isn't surprised. She already knew her aunt would sell the house and run away from Giroux. Jiru might still be locked up for now, but Edward knows he will soon be released. He advises Sei to look for a lawyer beforehand. Sei knows he is right. Right now, the Fujigamin family has been destroyed. She can only rely on herself from now on. Edward interrupts her train of thought, worried she might be tired from all the business talks. She assures him she is fine. She finds it fun as Edward teaches her about business. Edward reveals he also has a trading company back home, so she can ask him anything. Miss Ono arrives with some tea, and Edward immediately turns into an awkward teenage boy. He even says her tea is so precious that he wants to preserve it and take it home. The two start flirting again, forgetting our heroine is still there. Thankfully, she isn't bothered. Edward gives her a present, though, a trading book that will be helpful for her business. Sei thanks him and begins to read. He wants to know what her company will trade in, and Sei says she will focus on medical supplies. She wants to sell medical devices and ingredients to support the Kamishiro medicine. Edward supports her idea and offers to introduce her to a friend in that business. Suhaku is with Tadamasa, and the man keeps talking about how hardworking Sei is. He tries to annoy Suhaku by praising her, but his master doesn't fall for his trick. Tadamasa suggests they start preparing for the wedding now that both of them are free, but Suhaku's reply shocks him. Our couple meets in the hall, and Suhaku is stunned when he sees Sei. She is wearing a foreign outfit which looks really good on her. He praises her and she smiles. He asks about her business, and she reveals she will start selling medical supplies. He is shocked by her reason. She hopes it will be useful for his medical research. He is happy she is considering his work, and she promises to do her best to support him. He is proud of her and touches her face, but that feeling appears again. His claws have grown sharp. He immediately moves away from her, terrified that it happened again. But Sei misunderstands his actions and thinks he doesn't want to touch her. She tries to convince herself that she was just imagining things. But there is worse news for her. Remember the condition Kagami kept talking about? Well, Suhaku finally reveals what it is. In exchange for his freedom, he promised to rejoin the military. Our heroine is shocked. Suhaku explains that after he left, the fights between the beastmen and the humans continued. The higher-ups have been troubled by this and have decided to bring Suhaku back into the military. Sei is upset. The military not only locked Suhaku up without a reason, but they are also now demanding his return. She remembers the favor Kagami asked for and realizes it was all part of a plan. He had threatened Suhaku. She blames herself for seeking Kagami's help, but Suhaku doesn't want her to feel guilty. If she hadn't done that, he wouldn't have been released. He has always known Kagami couldn't be trusted, but he can't deny that the man helped them this time. Well, it is already determined that our male lead will return to the military. His return has been postponed so he can prepare and settle his affairs. He tells Sei he will still make medicine while working there and promises to buy all his supplies from her company. Sei promises to support him. She tells him about the land Lord Edward bought for her. Our male lead suddenly panics. He misunderstands and thinks she is leaving him. Sei explains that the land is just to build a new office for her company. Now the beastman is embarrassed and apologizes for overreacting. Sei grows shy and asks if she can continue living in the Kamishiro estate. She doesn't expect the man to suddenly hug her. He says she can stay here forever, and the two become very lovey-dovey again. Suhaku knows he wants to marry her, but he is terrified. His feelings for Sei keep growing, but the stronger they become, the less he trusts himself. He is afraid he will lose control one day and eat her up. The thought is too terrifying, and our hero becomes more desperate to create the suppressant, but it never seems to work. Sei notices her fiancé has been locking himself up in the medicine room every day. When she asks Tadamasa, he reveals that the Lord is preparing him to become a military doctor. He has also finally made some progress on the suppressants. Suhaku has told Sei about the suppressants and how they can control the beastman's urge to mate and eat humans. She's more worried about Suhaku's health. Tadamasa agrees with her and promises to tell Suhaku to rest. Except the man goes ahead and recounts the full conversation to Suhaku, making him know his fiancé is very worried about him. He notices how pale his master looks and can tell he hasn't slept for days. Suhaku keeps insisting he is fine, but he clearly isn't. Since the man is being so stubborn, Tadamasa brings out his ultimate move. He has a letter which he believes will make Suhaku rest after reading it. It is a letter from his mother, Lady Ritsuko. Well, some people just don't learn their lessons. Chio returns to her grandmother's home with her mother, but instead of investing their money, they waste it on buying jewelry. The grandmother is shocked to see this and warns her daughter to be careful, but Yoshi doesn't listen and even says she still has more money. The grandmother doesn't know what to do with her daughter. She had accepted the mother and daughter after they came home crying, saying they had nowhere to go. But not only is Yoshi's daughter spoiled, but the woman herself also insists on wasting all the money she gathered. She tells them to spend carefully, otherwise they will go broke. Her words just annoy Yoshi, who declares she will spend her money the way she wants. Her mother mocks her, reminding her that the money was gotten from her niece. That name is enough to make the woman snap, and Yoshi starts yelling. She hates hearing Sei's name. Just remembering how Sei looked down on them is enough to make the mother and daughter sick. Our heroine is also going through some troubles. Suhaku informs her that his mother would like to see her. She wants Sei to come to the wolf village so she can introduce her to Suhaku's relatives. But there is a huge problem. Everyone in the village is a beastman and they all hate humans. Suhaku is afraid to take her there, afraid she might get hurt. Sei doesn't mind. Since his mother has invited them, it would be rude to decline. Besides, she really wants to meet his mother. As so the next day, our couple begins the journey, except Suhaku is asleep throughout. Riri and Tadamasa follow along and are amazed that the Lord could sleep in front of other people. But Sei knows it is because he has been too busy researching his drugs. She really hopes he will relax during their trip. She's excited to see the wolves' village. It might be far from the capital, but it is where Suhaku grew up. They finally arrive at the village. Sei thinks this is Tadamasa's hometown too, but he says he was born in a different village. He met Sohaku in the military. Suddenly, a beastman runs over yelling Sohaku's name. He seems to be panicking. When Sohaku asks what is wrong, he says something has happened to his mother. They rush to our male lead's home and meet his mother, coughing harshly. She seems to be really sick. The beastman said she had been ill for some time, but it suddenly worsened that morning. Sei is worried for the woman. Well, she should worry about herself first. The door is suddenly pushed open, and a beastman appears with some water for Ritsuko. Sohaku begs the man to be quiet. He greets him as his uncle, but the man doesn't look happy. When Sei looks at him, he glares at her. He even pushes Sohaku out of the way and insists he can take care of his sister alone. He seems to really dislike our male lead. Sohaku has brought some new medicine for his mother, but his uncle still looks angry. We find out it is because Sohaku looks like his dead father. He chases them out, claiming his mother can't rest with so many people. Later that night, Sei asks about his mother, and Sohaku says she has fallen asleep. His mother has always been weak and often falls sick. They are already used to it, so he doesn't want Sei to worry. Our couple is going to meet Sohaku's relatives, and Sei is extremely nervous. Well, I would be too if I saw a bunch of wolves gathered in a room staring at me. Our heroine is scared. Who wouldn't be when you have a bunch of wolves who dislike humans staring at you? Sei can tell what the look on their face is. They don't trust her. The banquet is off to a rocky start as one of the wolves yells at them to get in. Sei recognizes him. He was the wolf who had been caring for Sohaku's mother. She feels nervous, but it disappears when she remembers Lord Sohaku is by her side. Sohaku thanks the wolves for inviting him and taking care of his mother. He introduces Sei to them as his fiancé. Sei does a full 90-degree bow with her forehead touching the floor just to show her respect. While some still don't like her, a few are amazed by how pretty she is. One of the female wolves offers her a seat to make her comfortable. Sohaku introduces that wolf as his aunt, Etsu. Etsu introduces the rest of the wolves sitting on her side of the table. They are all from the Kamishiro family. Turns out Sohaku is an only child. His father died years back, leaving only him and his mother. Sohaku has never spoken much about his family, and Sei mentions this to him. Since he is unwilling, his aunt tells Sei about his family. Sohaku's father, Suichiru, was known as the most beautiful white wolf. Ritsuko was his childhood friend, and everyone agreed they were a perfect match. They were the ultimate married couple. Ritsuko's brother doesn't seem to agree with this story. He seems to dislike Sohaku's father. The reason? The man died before his sister could. Etsu introduces the people sitting at the other table. They are from the Ginju family and are Ritsuko's family members. The wolf who has been disturbing our couple is Taiko, the first son. Everyone knows he loves his sister very much. He wasn't happy when she was married off and always fought with Suichiru. Sohaku talks about his father and Sei sees how happy he is. She is sure his parents must have been a wonderful couple. Well, the Kamishiros are the only ones enjoying the talk of the past. Taiko doesn't care about that and wants to focus on the news of Sohaku's return to the military. He is angry and asks if our male lead isn't ashamed to be used by humans again. The relatives try to persuade him, but Taiko feels it is unfair how the humans treat the Beastman soldiers so poorly. Sei still thinks it is her fault that Sohaku couldn't refuse. The man himself isn't bothered. In the past, he might have felt used by humans, but it is different now. He tells them that after meeting his fiancée, he learned it was important to respect people regardless of race. He announces his desire to help humans and beastmen live in peace together. Sei is touched by his words, while his uncle is just annoyed. The other beastmen gossip. They believe it will be impossible to live with humans, but they all think Sei's and Sohaku's marriage will bring hope to the beast tribe. Taiko isn't pleased to hear this. He slams his cup down and declares their marriage won't work. His sister might have arranged this marriage, but he still won't support it. It is too easy for a beastman to become a man-eater, especially for the wolves. Taiko shares a story. There was once a man who, like Sohaku, fell in love with a human and decided to marry her. He fought the entire village and ran away with his bride. Unfortunately, they didn't have a happy ever after. It is more like a nightmare because the man lost control and ended up eating his wife. Taiko doesn't want a man-eater in their family and asks Sohaku to control himself. That is one question our male lead cannot answer. Taiko becomes suspicious and begins to question Sohaku, certain he is now attracted to human blood. Sohaku remains silent for too long, making Taiko suspect he is attracted to human blood. He even believes Sohaku must have tasted it after attacking Shuichi. Sohaku quickly swears he hasn't tasted blood. His uncle refuses to believe it. Sure, Sohaku is pretending. We aren't the only ones who have had enough of him. His wife slaps his head with a plate. She apologizes and chases the man away. The rest of the wolves complain about the banquet being ruined, but Sei keeps looking at Lord Sohaku. It is time for bed, and Lord Sohaku comes to say goodnight to his fiancée. Thanks to his dramatic uncle, the banquet ended quickly. Sei isn't bothered by the drama, and the man promises to see her tomorrow. As soon as he leaves, the girl stops smiling. She could tell Lord Sohaku was nervous when he heard his uncle's accusation. The man had refused to touch her lately, and she finally understands why. The next day, Sei goes looking for him, only to be told he is teaching the village's children the sword. Of course, she has to watch him. She arrives and immediately sees Sohaku fighting. He looks very charming. Judging by the group of ladies blushing and cheering him on, we can tell he is very popular. Our heroine is also charmed by him. Lord Tadamasa praises his master and reveals Sohaku has been trained in martial arts as a soldier. Sei is surprised because Sohaku is a military doctor. Tadamasa tells her beastmen are always sent to the front of the battles. Sohaku might be a doctor, but he is still a beastman and was trained to fight. The children complain about how strong Sohaku is, and he gives them some advice. Sei is happily watching her man when someone suddenly calls her. It is one of Sohaku's many admirers, and she challenges Sei, demanding to know if she is truly Lord Sohaku's fiancée. Back in the capital, Chio is having fun. She has just bought another batch of luxury clothes and overpaid the store. She thinks beautiful things suit her, and she's happy she still has plenty of money left. She is so blessed. Well, she wouldn't be any longer. She overhears some people on the street talking about some recent attacks by man-eaters. After hearing that beastmen visit the area, she decides to run home, but she is panicking too much and somehow gets lost. She suddenly hears some beastmen talking. Except these aren't normal beastmen but man-eaters. They are even sharing human blood. Chio is terrified and decides to run away quickly. However, she is too late. The beastmen already notice her smell and find her hiding place. Chio Fujigamin is panicking. How did a normal shopping trip end up like this? She tries to escape, but the wolfman catches her. She falls to her knees in fear. She wants to run away, but her legs refuse to move. The black wolf's red eyes are too scary. The other wolf is prepared to kill her. Since she has seen their faces, she deserves to die. That is the reasonable solution. But the black wolf disagrees. After the man-eating incident yesterday, the military surrounded the city. They won't be able to eat Chio today. The other wolf isn't satisfied, not wanting the girl to escape. Chio is eager to survive and promises to keep their secret, but the men don't need her promise. The black wolf pulls her closer and takes a sniff. He has memorized her scent. Chio is terrified and runs away screaming. The other wolf is amused by how fast she escapes, but he understands. Just one look from the black wolf is enough to make you feel like dying. We see Chio crying in fear. She can't forget the black wolf's words about memorizing her scent. Over at our heroine's side, she is challenged by a group of Lord Suhaku's admirers. They look down on her for being human, thinking she isn't worthy of being his fiancée. They try to convince Sei not to steal him away, saying the man belongs to everyone. Riri and Tadamasa are angry on her behalf, but the ladies insist they are right. It would have been fine if the Lord's fiancé was a wolf, but she is just a weak human. She doesn't deserve him at all. Sei feels bad, but Tadamasa advises her to ignore them, calling them kids. Our male lead hears the commotion and comes over. His admirers start blushing just looking at him. Even our Sei isn't spared. But before she can speak to him, the other ladies push her out of the way and surround the Lord. They all praise his skills, but his eyes are on his fiancé. He wants to hear her praising him. The girl calls him amazing and says she couldn't take her eyes off him. Just a single compliment from her is enough to turn the mighty Lord into a shy schoolgirl. The other ladies are stunned. They have never seen the Lord blush or look so shy before. Lord Suhaku isn't the only one with a lot of admirers. A group of soldiers gathers around to admire their lord's new fiancé. They all think Sei is very pretty. Even her scent smells nice. Our hero almost explodes from jealousy. He decides to take his revenge and orders the boys to begin another round of battles. The boys all moan in pain, but the ladies are happy to watch them. Except for one of them. One of the female wolves, Akane, seems to really like Suhaku. She keeps glaring at Sei. The crowd is focused on the match and nobody notices the wolf glaring at them through the door. He looks really suspicious. Lord Suhaku visits his mother, who feels guilty. She asked him to return home, but all she can do is lie in bed sick. The man isn't concerned, telling her to focus more on her health. The woman has heard about last night's banquet and her brother's terrible behavior. He never wanted Suhaku to marry a human, but she insisted. She is doing this for the Kamishiro family. To survive, they need to connect more with humans. Lady Ritsuko wants to know what her son thinks about his new fiancé. Our male lead is smitten and keeps praising Sei. He tells his mother that Sei isn't afraid of the beastmen. In fact, she is very patient with them and doesn't care about their race. She stayed by his side when things were hard and refused to give up. Our male lead even thinks he doesn't deserve her. Seeing his worried face, his mother makes a big guess. She can tell he is afraid to marry Sei. The man is exposed and tries to explain. Suddenly, he stops and rushes outside, leaving his mother confused. Suhaku opens the door, but the place is empty. That doesn't stop our male lead from panicking. He can clearly smell Sei's scent. She must have heard everything. They say eavesdroppers never hear good about themselves, and they are right. Our Sei ends up listening to the mother and son's conversation. Now she panics, afraid the man no longer wants the marriage. She tries to convince herself that everything is fine. After all, Lord Suhaku didn't say anything. It was just his mother asking. Things are awkward between the couple that night. During dinner, Sei doesn't eat properly. Lord Suhaku, on the other hand, is eating quite well. Our heroine remembers Suhaku begging her to stay. She decides to trust him once more. Over at the capital, the military arrives at Chio's house. Unfortunately, they aren't here to arrest her as we hope. They are searching for the man-eaters and decide to hold interviews among the people. The soldier describes the main culprit, and it matches the black wolf that attacked Chio. She hasn't forgotten his words and starts screaming in fear again. She doesn't want to hear anything about the beastmen. The soldier returns to the military headquarters and reports to Kagami. He wasn't able to find any information about the black wolf. He mentions his meeting with the girl who seemed afraid to talk about the beastmen. He thinks she looks very familiar, but Colonel Kagami isn't interested in her. The soldier is worried about the black wolf. This wolfman is really smart. For years, he has been killing and eating humans, but no one has caught him. He wants the colonel to hand over the investigation to the beastmen since they are better trackers. Kagami refuses. The beastmen might be strong, but he is afraid they would be tempted by human blood. They need a beastman with a strong spirit. It seems the man already has someone in mind and is just waiting for him to arrive. Our heroine is starting to worry. Last night, Lord Suhaku didn't sleep in their room. Ever since they arrived here, the two haven't slept together. Sei's day is destined to be strange. Someone comes looking for her and it turns out to be the girls from yesterday. But they don't look like they came to fight. Actually, they are here to apologize for their rude behavior. They feel bad for being so mean to her, even though she is Suhaku's fiancé. They apologize and are ready to run away, but Sei stops them. She insists on them staying and even offers them some sweets. The thought of eating candies is enough to bribe the girls, and they start drooling. Just as they thought, the candy is very sweet. But just as they are enjoying this peaceful moment, trouble arrives. A wolfman appears, but he looks very suspicious. Akane recognizes him as Santa Jinju, her childhood friend. She thinks he is here to see his father, Takeo. The man refuses to speak and keeps his head down. Akane thinks he came here for some sweets too and is just feeling shy. She offers him some candy, but the man suddenly pushes her away. He looks crazy and rushes towards Sei, prepared to attack her. The wolfman seems to have come for Sei. He rushes towards her and is about to bite her face off. Suddenly, Lord Suhaku appears and pulls him away. He throws Santa to the floor, but the man doesn't give up. Our male lead notices the boy isn't in his right mind. From his appearance, he looks like a man-eater. Sei is still terrified. She really thought she was going to die. Tadamasa rushes over to protect them. Lord Suhaku is happy he was secretly stalking. Sorry, watching Sei from afar. If he hadn't, his beloved would have been hurt. Santa hasn't given up and keeps trying to attack Sei. Suhaku holds him down and orders Tadamasa to bring his medicine box. Our male lead has made a suppressant, but it is actually a failed product. Still, it is better than nothing. The noise is too loud and Lord Takeo comes out. He scolds them for disturbing his sister's rest, but it turns to anger when he sees Suhaku holding down his son. Our male lead says his son tried to attack Sei. He thinks Santa might be a man-eater and plans to hold him down till he is calm. Lord Takeo can't believe his son is a man-eater, but it is true. When Santa finally wakes up, he confesses and says his friend forced him to drink human blood. Tadamasa, always the troublemaker, says his friend must be a really bad person. Suhaku is more concerned about where they found the blood. Santa reveals his friend bought a small bottle of blood from the capital. Lord Takeo is disappointed in his son and nearly beats him up. He wonders why he would take the blood, knowing he could get addicted to it. The boy begs his father to forgive him, but Takeo is determined to punish him. Lord Suhaku interrupts and tells his uncle to stop. He believes the boy would be fine since he only took a single lick. Besides, his suppressant seems to be working well, and the boy could easily recover. Our male lead might have looked gentle, but he suddenly becomes stern. He could forgive anything, but Santa nearly harmed his fiancée. He refuses to let it go and wants his uncle to take responsibility. Left with no choice, Lord Takeo kneels and begs Suhaku to forgive them. Yesterday, he said he didn't want a man-eater in the family, only for his son to end up as one. He is ready to receive his punishment. Sei has always been a sweet girl. She stops the men from kneeling and forgives them. Lord Suhaku saved her, so she wasn't injured. She doesn't want to make it a big issue, and says Lord Suhaku will decide their punishment. Her fiancé indeed has a punishment. He wants to keep Santa with him so he can monitor the boy's condition. Lord Takeo has always been cold-hearted and mean, but he is finally touched by the couple's kindness. He starts crying and thanks them for helping him. Everything seems fine until Sei notices Suhaku's hand is bleeding. She is worried and rushes to his side, but the man stops her. He suddenly hugs her, ignoring the people staring at them. He is just happy to see her safe. Sei can feel the Lord trembling and is surprised. He must have been terrified. Knowing that he treasures her so much makes her very happy. She knows he rejects their marriage only because they are from different races. But she isn't going to give up. Sei takes Suhaku to the room to bandage his hands, but she is doing a terrible job. She apologizes but seems to forget her husband is a wife slave. Anything she does is perfect for him. This couple seems to have a lot of heart-racing moments. Sei remembers how Suhaku protected her, even risking his own life. She suddenly holds his hands and tells him how grateful she is. She makes the Lord blush again. She knows the man is worried about marrying her because of their races, but Sei is ready to accept him. Lord Suhaku blames himself for the incident and keeps apologizing to her. She must have been terrified. The girl isn't worried about this since her man protected her. She confesses to him and says she is willing to marry him. She doesn't care if he has man-eating urges. Lord Suhaku was right. Sei was really listening to them yesterday. He doesn't blame her for eavesdropping and wants to talk about their marriage. Sei doesn't think his man-eating urges are a big issue. She has been with Suhaku for so long and it still hasn't happened. Lord Suhaku finally confesses and says he once had an urge to eat her. It happened after he returned from the military prison. He explains that the urge to eat humans and the urge to mate with a human are very similar. The more he thinks about marrying her, the more his desire to eat her grows. He really wants to marry her, but he is so afraid. He is focused on making the suppressant so humans and beastmen can live together. Sei thinks he has succeeded, but he tells her the medicine he gave Santa was a failed product. It can reduce the urge but doesn't destroy it completely. Suhaku is desperate to make the suppressant, but he is starting to feel insecure. He doesn't know how long it will take or if he can make one. Sei tries to encourage him. She thinks everything will be fine even if he can't make the drug. She totally trusts him. But her words make him upset. He tells her the drug is important. He knows how dangerous his feelings are, so he can't trust himself anymore. After all, he is just a beastman. Sei dislikes hearing him talk down on himself. Ever since he returned from the military, he has refused to change into his beast form. She knows his wolf is important to him and tells him not to hide from her. She begs him to show her his beast form again. For the first time, the man refuses her request. He doesn't want Sei to see him as a beast anymore. He is so angry, he leaves the room and ignores her calls. The girl looks completely heartbroken. Outside, Riri and Tadamasa hear the noise. They see Lord Suhaku walking away, looking angry. They are worried, wondering if the couple had a fight. They aren't the only ones concerned. Lady Ritsuko steps outside and sees her son's angry face. It is nighttime, but our female lead refuses to sleep. It suddenly starts snowing and everywhere becomes cold. Still, she refuses to head inside. She thinks waiting out here might make Lord Suhaku suddenly appear. Well, someone indeed comes, except it isn't the person she is expecting. Lord Suhaku's mother is here. Sei is waiting for her fiancé, but instead of the man, his mother shows up. The lady joins Sei to admire the snow. Our heroine is very worried about her mother-in-law's health, but Lady Ritsuko assures her she is fine. She feels bad for calling the couple here, only to abandon them once they arrived. Sei isn't offended. She offers the lady her blanket, afraid she might catch a cold. She seems to have forgotten that Lady Ritsuko is a wolf. The woman can't feel the cold at all. She reminds Sei, but our sweet girl insists. She believes her gloves are enough to protect her. Cute. Lady Ritsuko also thinks the girl is adorable and smiles. Our heroine is charmed by that pretty smile. Her mother-in-law is very beautiful and looks just like Lord Suhaku. The woman suddenly apologizes, making our heroine confused. The lady feels guilty for forcing the two children into marriage. She tells Sei she was worried about the Kamishiro family. Their medicine might be popular in the country, but foreign medicine is becoming better. She was afraid their family would fall behind and decided to form a marriage alliance with the Fujigamine family. That way, they could spread the Kamishiro medicine outside the country. But Lady Ritsuko believes she has made the wrong decision. Her actions are causing the two children to suffer, so she apologizes. Sei doesn't blame the woman. She believes it is all her fault. She failed to support Lord Suhaku. Lady Ritsuko isn't happy to see Sei looking so sad. She decides to tell the girl about Suhaku's past. It turns out our male lead was a little cowardly when young. Lady Ritsuko has been sick since birth. After giving birth to Suhaku, she couldn't take care of him. The little boy would sit by her bed, worrying about her health. He would cry and beg her not to die. Because Suhaku's father was always busy, the poor boy had to bear the pain alone. Because of that, he developed a soft personality. When he told her he wanted to become a military doctor, Lady Ritsuko was very worried. She knew he wasn't suited for the job because he always bears all his problems alone. But Lord Suhaku was determined to study medicine. He wanted to save lives, so she couldn't stop him. Ritsuko thinks her son is really fragile. But Sei doesn't agree with her. She thinks Lord Suhaku is a strong, kind man, and that was why she liked him. She has experienced different emotions since she met the man. Sometimes they had a peaceful relationship. Other times they had some misunderstandings. She has seen Suhaku worry about those things, but she knows it is only because he cares about her. She tells Ritsuko she loves the Lord very much. Her words make Lady Ritsuko blush. She understands Suhaku's feelings. He is afraid to marry Saya because he cares about her too much. This feeling reminds Lady Ritsuko of her past. Back then, she was afraid of marriage. Because of her weak health, she thought she would die before her husband. Her death would only bring grief to her lover, so she refused to marry Suichiro. She understands her son's feelings, but she doesn't want him to be alone. She wants Sai to be by his side. She tells the girl to think about her feelings again. Tomorrow, they will have a discussion, but this time, Lord Suhaku will join them. The next day, Lady Ritsuko calls the couple and tells them they can make a decision about their marriage. She doesn't want to rush them anymore. This time, she wants to know how they feel. Suhaku tries to speak, but she stops him. She wants to hear Sei's feelings first. She reminds Sei that becoming a beastman's bride will be troublesome. She wants to know if the girl is really ready to accept Suhaku. Sei doesn't answer the lady's question immediately. She takes off her gloves and shows the lady her scarred hands. Lady Ritsuko is shocked to see them, and Sei explains she was caught in a fire 10 years ago. Suhaku's mother is shocked because 10 years ago, her son was working in the military rescue team. She seems to guess Sei's thoughts and asks if the two lovers met back then. Sei confirms they did. 10 years ago, Lord Suhaku saved her and treated her injuries carefully. Because of him, she didn't suffer from more pain and was left with only scars. But these scars are something she is proud of because they remind her of Suhaku's kindness. They are really precious. She tells Lady Ritsuko just how kind her son is. Every time he tries to understand her feelings and treasures his time with her. She really wants to stay by Lord Suhaku's side, but they are from different races. He is a beastman, and she is a human. It is impossible for them to be together. Their races will always be enemies. Because of this, even though they would be perfect together, it is impossible for them to marry. Lord Suhaku looks sad to hear this, but Sei isn't done. It might be true, but she doesn't care about those rules. All she wants is to stay by Lord Suhaku's side. She wants to keep living together with him. Our heroine boldly confesses her feelings and says she loves the man. Our male lead is about to cry, but Sei isn't done. She tells him he is the most important person to her. She will wait for him to create the suppressant no matter how long it takes. She tells him to stop pushing her away because she can't take it anymore. From now on, she is going to stay by his side forever. Sei looks at the man and is shocked by what she sees. Lord Suhaku has changed into his beast form and is crying. He also confesses his love for her and reaches out to hug her. The two lovers have completely forgotten about the woman watching them. But Lady Ritsuko is also happy to see them reconcile. Our innocent Riri is very happy to see the couple back together. She immediately starts crying and tells Sei she was really worried. She was afraid they would continue fighting. Our main leads have no idea their little quarrel would cause so much trouble. Sei comforts the girl and promises her that everything is fine. Tadamasa and Suhaku are watching the ladies when someone interrupts. Lord Takeo is here to see Suhaku. Our male lead is concerned about Santa. His uncle says the boy is fine, but he still suffers from his man-eating urges. Lord Suhaku believes it will soon end. Since the boy only took a little blood, his urges will soon disappear. Speaking of blood, Lord Takeo has brought some over. Our male lead looks disgusted when he sees the blood. His uncle reveals this was the blood Santa took. He managed to get it from his son's friends. The blood has gone bad, and Lord Takeo hands it over to Suhaku. Our male lead decides to keep the blood. It could be useful. His uncle advises him to keep it wrapped up. Lord Takeo is still feeling guilty. He decides to help Suhaku and promises to do anything he wants. Our male lead has a request. He wants Lord Takeo's son. He wants to bring Santa back to the capital and continue his research using the boy's blood. The next day, our couple prepares to leave. Santa is still sick, so he can't follow them. Lord Takeo promises to bring him to the capital. The Lord no longer opposes their marriage and even wants to support them. Lady Ritsuko is very happy and is already planning their wedding dates. Sei is very thankful to her mother-in-law. The woman blushes but has one more request. Since Sei will be marrying Suhaku, she wants the girl to call her mother. Our heroine is very happy and immediately calls her mother. Our male lead is surprised to see his mother looking so happy. During the train ride, Riri and Tadamasa keep smiling. They look like two little perverts. They are just happy to see the couple sleeping and leaning against each other. The lovers finally arrive at the Kamishiro estate. Sei meets the abandoned Lord Edward. The poor man has been managing the Fujigamine company while she ran off to see her in-laws. The company seems to be going well, and he tells Sei she has nothing to worry about. Poor Lord Edward. The couple has just arrived, and they already have another job for him. Lord Suhaku wants him to introduce a foreign doctor to him. Edward is shocked by this request. He has many doctor friends, but all of them are overseas. How is he supposed to bring them over? Sei supports her fiancé and tells Edward to find someone else. The man agrees, but wonders why they need one. Lord Suhaku reveals he is making a suppressant that can make life easier for the beastmen. But his skills are limited, so he needs to meet a doctor with better knowledge. Because of his identity as a beastman, none of the humans are willing to speak to him. He won't be able to approach foreign doctors because of the language difference. This is why he needs Edward's help. He wants the man to assist him so that beastmen and humans can finally live together. Lord Edward is very tempted by the idea. Since his little lover is also a beast woman, he promises to do his best. We seem to have forgotten about Chio, but here she is. Once again, she collects some money from her mother to go shopping. She really hasn't learned her lesson. She ignores her mother, who seems to be going crazy. The woman keeps counting the money and even speaks to it. Chio plans to go out, but as a little princess, she needs someone to dress her. She goes up to her grandmother and orders the woman to prepare her clothes. But the lady completely ignores her. When she gets tired of Chio's complaints, she tells the girl she isn't her granddaughter. She really doesn't like Chio and chases her away. The girl is annoyed and leaves the house. She decides to go to her favorite cafe and spend all her money. She tries to convince herself she is rich and happy, but the twisted look on her face says a lot. She doesn't notice the man following her until it is too late. The man grabs her and pulls her into a hidden alley. He covers her mouth to stop her screams and seems pleased to have found her. He seems to recognize her, but Chio is sure she doesn't know him. The man suddenly opens his mouth and we see some very sharp teeth. He says he has been very worried. The other wolf asked him not to kill her, but he is afraid she might report them to the military. He suddenly changes into his wolf form. Chio finally remembers the man. He was with the black wolf who attacked her before. The man is prepared to end her life, but Chio isn't willing. She doesn't want to die and begs someone to save her. We are disappointed when someone actually does. The black wolf arrives and attacks his friend. Chio is stunned to see him. Wondering why the beast man would save her? Chio isn't the only one surprised to see the black wolf. The other beast man wonders why the black wolf saved the girl. He is shocked when the wolf warns him not to touch Chio again. The black wolf looks very scary, terrifying the beast man. He keeps apologizing, begging the man to forgive him. The black wolf tells Chio to follow him and even takes her to his home. He has noticed her injured hand and wants to treat her injuries. The girl's heart starts beating fast, but it is certainly not from love. She is terrified. This place is completely empty. If she refuses the wolfman, he might just kill her. She allows the man to treat her injuries, but she keeps shaking. He seems amused by her behavior and asks why she is so scared. He isn't going to eat her. He tells her he doesn't eat women or children. His words make Chio relax, until she remembers he is a beastman. No matter what, he still eats humans. More weird things are about to happen. The black wolf says he was able to find her because he memorized her scent. Chio is terrified until the wolf starts confessing his feelings. He says it was just a threat at first, but soon he couldn't forget her scent. Now Chio's heart is racing, and this time it is from love. The black wolf escorts her back to a safe path. He warns her to be careful and even seems worried about her. Chio shyly leaves, but she doesn't notice the weird smile on the wolf's face. Lord Takeo arrives at the capital with Santa, and our couple welcomes them. The Lord says his son hasn't had any man-eating urges again, but he wants Suhaku to examine him. Santa looks very young. He apologizes to Sei and Suhaku for his behavior. He promises to do his best to assist his brother's research. Things are finally getting better. Edward has also found some foreign doctors. With Santa's help, the men begin their research. Spring has arrived, and Sei is hanging out with her maids. Riri mentions the cherry blossoms and says they have bloomed. Sei wishes she could go and see them with Lord Suhaku. But lately, her man has been too busy. He is focused on his research, so she rarely sees him. The peaceful atmosphere is ruined when someone runs in. It is Lord Suhaku, and he rushes to Sei's side. The man is sweating so much and he can barely breathe, making Sei worried. But she doesn't need to be afraid. The man is here with good news. The maids can already guess what is happening. Well, since the couples are both free today, Suhaku wants them to go on a date. Just like Sei wishes, she goes to see the cherry blossoms with Lord Suhaku. He takes the girl to a beautiful forest close to their manor. Just when I think our male lead's romantic feelings are finally awake, he reveals that his father created this spot. Lord Suishiru built this manor for his wife. Since she loves the forest so much, he found this beautiful spot in the woods. Sei is touched by his parents' love story, but the man wants them to create their own. He is very happy to be here with her. Our heroine blushes and tells him she is also happy. She is concerned about his medicine's progress. Our male lead pretends to be casual as he reveals they have finally made the suppressant. That was why he rushed to see her. By using Santa's blood and with the foreign doctor's help, they finally made a serum that can block the man-eating urges. Sei also helped with her medical supplies. Because of the three of them, their research has finally succeeded. Sei is happy and also praises the man. He shows her the bottle of suppressant, which he has just completed. They haven't tried it out, but they believe it can control both the man-eating and the mating urges. Lord Suhaku is as kind as ever. He has prepared some for the Kamashiro's estate, but wants to spread the medicine to the beastmen in the military. Once they are sure it is safe, they will spread it to all the beastmen in the country. Sei is very happy because the beastmen and the humans can finally live together. She wants to keep supporting Suhaku and can't wait to see that future. Well, the future is about to start with her. The moment we have all been waiting for arrives. Lord Suhaku brings out a ring. Sei is in shock and wonders if he is about to propose. Well, the answer is yes. The helpful Lord Edward told him that couples exchange rings overseas, so Suhaku decided to make one. He even chose a ring that would fit her gloves. Sei is still speechless, but our Lord doesn't waste time. He puts the ring on her fingers. The girl is stunned by its beauty. The man gently kisses her hands. He feels sad for making her wait for so long. He has always wanted to say these words to her, and it is finally time. Our male lead asks Sei to marry him. He wants to know if she is ready to stay by his side and overcome the barriers between humans and beastmen. Is she ready to be his bride? Well, Sei refuses. Just kidding, our girl agrees. The painful days of her sufferings are finally over. Under the cherry blossom, the couple shares a kiss. This moment is so magical. It takes all of Sei's pains away. The Kamashiro estate seems to be celebrating. I think it is our couple's wedding day. The maids are all stunned to see Sei and praise her beauty. They can't wait for Lord Suhaku to see her. Speak of the devil. The man arrives to see his fiancée and is immediately shocked. Sei is dressed up in white and looks really beautiful. It is our couple's wedding day. Sei looks really beautiful in her wedding dress. She is so pretty that Lord Suhaku becomes speechless. He stands there staring at her until our girl becomes embarrassed. She tells him he is making her shy. Our male lead seems to have turned into a little romantic. He reminds her of their engagement party. Back then, he really thought she was the most beautiful woman in the world. That thought hasn't changed, and he tells Sei she is gorgeous. This man sure knows how to please a woman. His words make Sei smile. The wedding ceremony begins, and we see Lady Ritsuko handing Sei over to her son. Our couples share the wedding drink. Sei is supposed to be happy, but she feels sad when she remembers her dead parents. She really wishes they were here, but is sure they are watching her from above. We need to give Lord Suhaku some praise. He somehow manages to guess why Sei is feeling sad. He says her parents might not be here, but everyone present is now her family. Our girl is touched, but Suhaku isn't done. It seems he wants our poor girl to cry. He makes a vow and dedicates his whole life to her. Because Sei stood by his side and ignored their different races, he promised to spend a lifetime loving her. Their marriage will become an example and will bring the beastmen and humans closer. Suhaku finally gets his wish, and Sei starts crying. She is speechless, but she also makes a vow silently. She will love Lord Suhaku for the rest of her life. The wedding banquet starts, and everyone is happy. Lady Ritsuko believes her husband and Sei's parents will be happy to see them married. She knows our couple will be busy since they both have different jobs, but she is sure they will be fine. It is time for the wedding night, except our couple is outside relaxing. Sei believes today will be unforgettable. After all, it was the day she officially married Lord Suhaku. Finally, we can call him her husband. She is ready to see what their future will look like. The two start feeling shy again. It turns out our heroine has been living in a separate building. She is ready to move to the manor with Maru. Well, she forgot to ask the dog's opinion. Maru keeps barking, making Sei confused. Don't forget, our male lead can understand the dog's language. He tells her Maru doesn't like the manor because the floors are too slippery. Our male lead has a solution. His father actually built this house for his mother. Since Maru likes the house, Sei can keep living here. Our heroine isn't comfortable. They are finally married, so they shouldn't stay in separate rooms. She feels embarrassed because she wants to be by Lord Suhaku's side every time. She doesn't need to worry because the man feels the same way. He pulls her closer and promises to visit her every night. The couple starts kissing, and the man pushes her to the floor. These two have forgotten they are outside. There is an innocent dog right there. Thankfully, our heroine remembers and reminds the man. He is really eager and carries her up, rushing into the bedroom. Our lord can't control himself. He took the suppressant, but Sei's scent still makes him crazy. But this time it is different. He doesn't feel like eating her anymore, so our lord decides not to hold back. He wants her. Our male lead tells Sei how much he wants her. Well, he is just in luck, because the lady also wants him too. The two spend the rest of the night getting intimate. The next morning, Sei wakes up to see Lord Suhaku holding her. The man feels a little regret. He really wanted to admire her sleeping face a little more. Sei teases him and tells him he will have more chances. After all, he will see her every night. Her words make him happy, and he hugs her again. A few days pass, and Lord Suhaku is finally returning to the military. Now we see why Sei is so obsessed with him. He looks really handsome. The man teases her and tells her she is making him embarrassed. The girl praises him, saying he looks really good. From now on, he will be a military man again. Suhaku is actually nervous, but his wife encourages him. She tells him goodbye, and the man leaves. Lord Suhaku returns to the military office, and the first thing he notices is the smell of perfume. Of course, we can all guess who it is. It is Colonel Kagami. He welcomes our male lead back. He has heard about Suhaku's marriage to Sei and congratulates him. He wishes them happiness, but Suhaku can tell it is just empty words. He doesn't need such a fake blessing and wants to know why the man called him over. Well, Kagami has some bad news for him. It turns out Lord Jiro Fujigamini has escaped from prison. We must all be curious about Lord Jiro's escape from prison. Well, the colonel explains. Yesterday, the soldiers were taking Lord Jiro to court to receive his punishment. Somehow, the man managed to snatch a gun from the soldiers. He even killed 2 of them before escaping. Lord Suhaku is confused since the prisoners are supposed to be handcuffed during the car journey. Kagami doesn't look ashamed when he says the handcuffs were broken. Because of that, Lord Jiro was able to pull them off and escape. Kagami might not feel ashamed, but our male lead thinks it is a big disgrace. The colonel isn't offended. He wants the Beastman to find Jiro quickly. He tells him how crazy the Lord was while in prison. He kept talking about the Fujigamin trading company and insisted it belonged to him. He refused to take responsibility and even blamed someone for stealing from his company. I think we all know who that is. Lord Suhaku seems to realize this, and he isn't happy. He steps out of Kagami's office only to be greeted by a crowd of beastmen. They have all missed him and have been waiting for his return. Suhaku is touched and says he has also missed them. Back in the office, Kagami is feeling excited. Now that Suhaku is here, everything will be fine. Just like Suhaku promised, he visits Sai at night. But this time, he looks very worried. The girl notices and asks what is wrong. The man remembers Kagami's words and feels more concerned. He suddenly pulls Sei close and starts kissing her. The couple is prepared to get intimate, but Maru interrupts them. He still doesn't like Lord Suhaku. Our male lead is annoyed and reminds the dog that he is married to Sei already. The dog doesn't agree and ignores the Lord. He only smiles when Sai hugs him. Lord Suhaku watches his wife and finds her cute. He suddenly hugs her. His behavior is too strange and makes Sei worried. She wants to know what is wrong. The man decides to tell her the truth. He says Lord Jiro has escaped from prison. Our heroine is in shock. She never expected her uncle to escape and started to feel scared. Lord Suhaku can see she is afraid, but they can't avoid this conversation. This situation involves her, so he wants her to calm down and listen to him. He tells her the colonel gave him the information. The man has given Lord Suhaku his first mission. He wants him to hunt down Lord Jiro and find him. Since it concerns his wife, Suhaku is ready to do his best. He promises to find her uncle. Still, he is worried about her safety and decides to assign her more security. Apart from Tadamasa, she will have another bodyguard. Sei is surprised and wonders who it will be. Lord Suhaku tells her it is someone she knows well. And it is. The next day, Lady Senri arrives. Our heroine is very happy to see her. The female soldier will be Sei's new bodyguard. The 2 ladies keep smiling and even shake hands. While our main leads are happy, their enemies are in trouble. Yoshi is thrown out of the house by her mother. The old lady has had enough of them. Yoshi begs her to let them stay and says she has nowhere to go. Her mother doesn't agree. Since Yoshi has always been proud of her money, she tells the woman to use it to rent a hotel. She is tired of taking care of them. Chio listens to their argument and gets annoyed. She's tired of this house already. So when her mother goes looking for her, she can't find her daughter. Chio has escaped. She is tired of everyone, even her own mother. Right now, she just wants to see the Black Wolf. We find out why Chio hates Sei so much. She resents our heroine for having everything she has always wanted. A good marriage, status, and perfect parents. For some reason, she returns to the Black Wolf's house. She can't forget the Beastman and keeps thinking about him. Even the filthy rag he used to bandage her hand becomes something special. She gets her wish as the Black Wolf appears. He seems surprised to see her and calls her troublesome. Chio is confused. She is supposed to dislike Beastmen, but this man is different. The wolf is bothered by her tears and offers to listen to her problem. The girl acts like she has found her savior and cries like a child. Chio tells the wolf her story. She makes Saya seem like a bad person who stole from her. This is a lie, but the Black Wolf believes her. He has always envied others because he is an outcast. He supports Chio, which makes the girl happy. She thinks he is the only one who understands her. The man also has the same thought. He starts flirting with her and calls her name beautiful. He holds Chio's hands, which makes her shy. The wolfman changes into his human form, which is unfortunately not shown. But he seems to be very handsome because Chio's face turns completely red. He suddenly moves closer and kisses her. He promises to protect her. That is enough to make Chio happy. But instead of enjoying that feeling, she compares herself to Sei again. She believes she is better than our heroine. Sei has no idea what her delusional cousin is up to. She has finished her work for the day and Senri keeps praising her. She thinks Sei is amazing and wants the woman to teach her. Tadamasa mocks her and reminds her that she is supposed to be a bodyguard. The two kids are playing around, but Sei is worried. She has a meeting tomorrow with an important client. If everything goes well, she will secure high-quality materials from overseas. She is determined to do her best to support Lord Suhaku. The man she is thinking about returns from the military. He is surprised to see her with some documents. The girl says she wants to work from home. He is worried she isn't resting enough and reminds her to take a break. They are ready to go inside and enjoy some tea when someone stops them. Sei hears her name, and when she looks back, she sees her aunt. The woman looks very scared and tells her that Chio is missing. She thinks Sei might know something and begs her to tell the truth. Tadamasa and Senri are ready to chase her away. Meanwhile, our heroine is terrified. It seems really suspicious. Why did Chio go missing as soon as Lord Jiru escaped from prison? She thinks the two might be related and starts to feel scared. Lord Suhaku returns to the military. He keeps thinking about Yoshi's words and decides to tell the colonel about Chio's disappearance. Rindu Kagami isn't a simple man. His family is very powerful and has raised many military leaders. The most popular one is Rindu's grandfather, Marshal Kagami. The man is the supreme head of the imperial military. Because of his family background, no one has dared to challenge Rindu. After our male lead returned to the military, he was placed under Rindu's command. The colonel is more concerned about catching Jiru. Lord Suhaku tells him his best trackers are already hunting him down. Rindu isn't impressed and mocks Suhaku. He doesn't need him to track smells, he wants results. Our male lead tells him about Chio's disappearance, but the colonel doesn't seem bothered. Suhaku thinks he might have some information, and indeed he does. Rindu asks Suhaku about the Black Wolf. Our male lead has heard rumors about the Beastman. They say he has been eating humans for years, but no one has ever caught him. Rindu tells him the Black Wolf is back in the capital. And this time, he isn't alone. A girl with light purple hair was seen with him. Suhaku is shocked and wonders if it is Chio. Rindu thinks she matches the description. He thinks finding her might lead them to Lord Jiru. Now our male lead has another job to do. Thinking about the Black Wolf being together with Chio gives him a bad feeling. He needs to find both of them. The girl they are searching for is at the Black Wolf's house. The man returns home and she hugs him. She totally looks like a little wife. He gave her some secret tasks to do, which she has completed. The man praises her and it makes her happy. She really believes he is in love with her. He might not come home often, but he really loves her. He changes to his human form and Chio looks obsessed. He's just so amazing. For the first time, she is really happy. Our heroine is at the Fujigamine company when Riri arrives with a stranger. Sei has called them over to assist her. Her company is short on staff, so she needs their help. Riri looks happy to be here. The stranger, who has covered herself up, turns out to be Misono. Sei knows the girl dislikes her human form and asks if she is comfortable. Misono takes off her hood, and we see a gorgeous beauty. Our heroine is obsessed with her and keeps praising her. She has fallen in love with her beauty. Sei isn't alone. Riri still remembers how stunned Lord Edward was when he saw her. She found his behavior very embarrassing. Misono says she wants to get used to her human form, and Riri teases her again. She believes the woman is preparing for her date with Lord Edward. Misono shocks them all when she says she has called off the date. The girl is still not used to her human form. If she loses focus, she might change back into a dog. She is afraid of embarrassing Lord Edward and decides to cancel their date. She asks the man to wait until she is more comfortable in her human form. She doesn't want to disappoint him and is ready to do her best. Sei looks sad. Misono and Edward have to hide their relationship because the world hates beastmen. If they were normal humans, they could have gone on a date without worrying. Our heroine is determined to make the suppressant. That is the only way the beastman can live a free life. The client she is meeting produces the best medical machines. If she secures this deal, she can partner with other companies and mass-produce the suppressant. Our heroine is ready to do anything for this goal. But is she ready to sacrifice the beastman? The client arrives and wants to know more about her proposal. Our heroine says she wants to build a factory that can mass-produce the suppressants. That way, all the beastmen can afford the drug. She believes they will get a lot of profit. The man seems interested and everything is going well. Until he calls the beastmen animals. He looks down on them and thinks they are trying to copy humans. Sei is annoyed. She says she wants to create a world where the beastmen can live free lives. They are not trying to copy humans. The man doesn't believe her. He notices that Senri and Tadamasa are beastmen and mocks them. He isn't afraid because he knows they can't understand his language. He agrees to her proposal, but he only cares about the profit. He isn't concerned about the beastmen. Sei is unhappy because the man deceived her. He pretends to like the beastmen when he actually looks down on them. She doesn't want to work with such a vile person, but she has no choice. Things become worse when Misono enters. The man begins to mock her, thinking she can't understand him. But she can. Misono has been learning a foreign language so she can understand the nasty words the man is saying. The poor girl is afraid and changes into her beast form. She begins to have a panic attack, but the man keeps mocking her. Lord Edward gets angry and warns him not to insult her. The girl was just trying to serve him tea. The client doesn't care. He looks down on the beastman and refuses to drink the tea served by one. Lord Edward is angry and tells him to apologize. He looks ready to attack, but Sei stops him. She tells him to take Misono away and promises to handle everything. The man feels proud. He believes he can control Sei because he is from a large company. She won't dare to offend him since she just started her business. The man is really a hypocrite. He looks down on beastmen but wants to do business with them. He knows he will make a lot of money. He thinks he has all the power, but Sei disappoints him. She refuses to work with him. Everyone is shocked to hear that. The man finally starts to panic. He reminds Sei that her project has already started. She won't be able to find another company as big as his. Well, our girl doesn't care. She would rather work with small companies than partner with someone she can't trust. The man tries to hide his shame by insulting her. Still, he runs away in disgrace. Tadamasa and Senri are confused. They can't understand anything but are sure there was a fight. Poor Misono is panicking. She blames herself and thinks it is all her fault. She runs away and hides in a corner to cry. Lord Edward chases after her and finally finds her. They have all been worried about her and he tries to convince her to come back. He tells her not to worry about the business, but Misono is feeling ashamed. She seems to lack confidence no matter what form she takes. She can't even control her own form. She is still feeling sad when the man suddenly confesses. He tells her he likes her smile. From the first time he saw her laugh, he fell in love. He doesn't care if she is a beast or a human. He just loves her. The man becomes shy. He was planning to confess on their date, but now everything is ruined. His embarrassed look finally makes the girl smile again. The man is happy to see her smiling, but his happiness increases when she says she loves him. The lovers are hugging and don't notice someone watching them. Our heroine doesn't disturb the two and is happy to see them. She believes everything will change. One day, the hate for beastmen would end. And then they could all live together peacefully. She is ready to do everything to make that possible. She refuses to give up and starts searching for other companies that can mass-produce materials. She is ready to work with others to achieve her goal. This time, she will find trustworthy partners. Lord Suhaku is also busy. His men have finally tracked Lord Jiru's smell. They trace him to a hidden alley. But it is very strange because that place is a meeting spot for beastmen. They even sell human blood here. Our male lead is suspicious. Santa's friend also said he bought his blood from the capital. This must be the spot, but why would a human like Lord Jiru be here? Just then, our male lead notices a hidden figure watching him. He immediately chases after the person. He catches up to him, and it turns out to be a beastman. The man looks innocent, but Lord Suhaku can smell human blood on his dirty clothes. The beastman finally realizes Suhaku is a beastman soldier. Our male lead thinks he might be a man-eater and plans to bring him back to the military. The beastman suddenly becomes violent and attacks him. He accuses Suhaku of being a slave to humans. He is shocked when our male lead changes into his beast form. Lord Suhaku is really cool. He stops the beastman with just one hand. He wants to know if he has ever eaten a human. The man denies and says he has only drunk human blood. Suhaku wants to know where he found blood, and he says he bought it from the Black Wolf. We see our heroine making a call. Misono and Edward look worried, but they shouldn't be. There is good news. A company is finally willing to work with them. They will produce the suppressants together. The lovers are happy, but are still worried about the machines. Sei tells them the company has its own machines and is willing to lend it to them. Even better, their company president likes beastmen. He had a beastman friend once, but because of discrimination, they separated. The president still regrets it. He wants to create the suppressants so others won't suffer like him. The three are very happy. Misono asks Sei for the day off. Today is her date with Lord Edward. Our heroine teases them and tells them to have fun. The lovers are shy and leave. Sei watches them and is happy. She is more determined to make the suppressant. But our heroine is also worried. They have no idea where Lord Jiru and Chio are. Sei is afraid they might be planning something evil. And they are. Well, Chio is. She has become the Black Wolf's mistress, staying in his house and waiting for him to return. Her prayers are answered and the man shows up. But he looks really sick. Immediately he sees her. He asks for some blood. Chio hands him a bottle. She doesn't think it is wrong. She believes the man when he says people sold their blood for money. She thinks he is a saint who doesn't harm humans. Who is going to tell her the man is a wanted criminal? The man makes up another story. He claims his parents forced him to drink blood when he was a kid. He confesses and tells Chio he is a man-eater. He says he doesn't want that life anymore. Now he wants to spend his days with her. He claims he can't live without her. Chio loves hearing those words. She believes the man is in love with her. She makes up her mind to support him and do whatever he wants. She tells the man she is going to stay by his side. She is willing to do anything for him. She hugs the wolf but doesn't notice the evil smile on his face. The Black Wolf has always been a menace. For years, anytime he appeared in the capital, there would always be multiple deaths. Yet, no one could catch him. Not even once. Lord Suhaku is worried. People have seen the Black Wolf with a woman who looks like Chio. Our male lead believes the wolf has been selling human blood to the beastmen. He thinks Chio might be helping the man with his business. Well, he isn't wrong. Suhaku refuses to think anymore. He and Senri are heading to the document room. A human soldier sees Senri approaching and chases her away. She wants to see the report about Lord Jiru's escape, but the man refuses to let her in. He tells her to just focus on being a slave on the battlefield. His attitude changes when Lord Suhaku appears. He even opens the door for them. Our cute Senri doesn't forget to mock him when she enters. She is still annoyed about the man's behavior. Suhaku wants to see the report about Lord Jiru's incident. He reads the document, but the story is similar to what Colonel Kagami told him. Our male lead finds it suspicious. He doesn't think Lord Jiru escaped alone. Someone must have helped him. Unfortunately, there are no witnesses. Suhaku continues reading and finds out Kagami was also at the scene. He was the one who handled the investigations. Now this is more suspicious. There is no reason why a commander like Rindu should be doing field work. Plus, he immediately abandoned the work to Suhaku. Our male lead examines the handcuffs and it really looks old. But for it to break that day, it is too coincidental. Senri is frustrated since they couldn't find any new information. She becomes happy again when she remembers she will be meeting Sei. Our heroine has been feeding her some foreign sweets. She is ready to abandon Lord Suhaku. Tomorrow is the Lord's day off, and he will be spending it with Sei. He follows his wife to a meeting. It is a success, and the man is happy. He thinks they might be able to produce the suppressant soon. Sei is going to make sure it happens. She is ready to return home, but the man stops her. Since they are both free today, he wants to take her on a date. Sei is surprised. She thinks her husband is cute. He must have heard about Misono and Edward's date and decided to take her on one. Lord Suhaku is nervous and thinks she dislikes it. Our heroine assures him she does. She is happy that he asked her and is ready to leave. Suddenly, a truck stops right next to them. A man steps out and mocks the two for being so affectionate in public. We can all guess who it is. Colonel Kagami. The man seems to have turned into a little ghost. He keeps following them around. Our male lead also thinks so and asks why he is here. The colonel claims he is on a mission. He was returning to the headquarters when he saw them. He says it is a coincidence, but Suhaku doesn't believe him. The man greets Sae and suddenly tries to kiss her hand. Suhaku isn't pleased and stops him. The man pretends and says he has forgotten they are married. Our lord looks ready to beat him up, but his wife stops him. He tries to control himself. Sei greets the colonel. He reminds her of the last time they met and says he is really happy to see her. I wonder how, though, since his eyes are always closed. The man really has no sense of danger because why can't he notice the wolf staring at him, about to eat him up? Lord Suhaku gets a strange feeling when he sees the colonel talking to Sei. He even starts to sweat. Rindu seems to know everything about the girl. He has heard about her new company and her plans to produce a suppressant with Lord Suhaku. He keeps praising her and even seems concerned about her. He warns her about the Black Wolf and urges her to be careful. Sei has no idea what he is talking about. Lord Suhaku says he already has bodyguards protecting his wife. The colonel thinks it isn't enough. He casually drops a huge piece of information and says the Black Wolf is connected to Lord Jiru. Our couple is shocked. Suhaku is confused and wants to know more. Rindu says they will discuss it tomorrow. He tells him they will be very busy and advises Suhaku to rest. Well, he has just destroyed our couple's date. It is night, but our heroine is still worried about the Black Wolf. Someone seems to have told her about him. He is a threat to the army, but nobody knows his identity. He is responsible for all the man-eating incidents happening in the capital. Sei wonders why her uncle got involved with such a dangerous person. She trusts Lord Suhaku and hopes he will catch them. But still, she can't calm down. She has a very bad feeling. That night, neither of the couples can sleep. Sei is still thinking about what happened earlier. The Lord decides to comfort her and says she should come to his bed. I'm sure he just wants to hug her to sleep, but our heroine has a different idea. She immediately starts kissing him. Sei is embarrassed. This is the first time she is taking the initiative. She apologizes because she is just using him for his body right now. Despicable. She wants to forget all her worries, so she seduces the man and tells him to touch her. Well, our lord is willing to obey. He is also upset and can't forget how Colonel Kagami looked at his wife. It felt like he wanted to steal Sei away. For a moment, our male lead felt some danger. He tries to convince himself that he is just overthinking. There are many things he needs to think about, but right now he has to please his wife. Our couple really had a lot of fun last night. Sei wakes up and sees her handsome husband staring at her. What a nice view. But she quickly becomes embarrassed when she notices she fell asleep naked. Lord Suhaku feels sorry. He thinks he might have been too rough last night. Well, our girl isn't complaining. The man hugs her and suggests they sleep a bit more. Thankfully, they didn't start another round. Sei is on her way to the company. She feels a little sad since Lord Suhaku won't return home until his mission is completed. Since her man is so busy, she has to be productive. She stops at a dessert shop to pick up some snacks for her partners and unexpectedly meets a familiar face. The owner of the shop turns out to be Teruko, Sei's ex-husband's former wife. What a complicated relationship. The lady is happy to see Sei. After all, they are both Shuichi's ex-wives. The man probably thinks they are suffering, but the ladies are actually doing well. Teruko reveals the dessert shop belongs to her family. After she abandoned Shuichi, she returned home with her children. Her family isn't as wicked as Sei's. They let her stay there, and in return, she would help them manage the shop. Sei remembers the woman was pregnant and wants to see the child. Teruko brings him over, and he is such a cute baby. The boy is curious about Sae and keeps staring at her. Our heroine is really happy to see the woman living well. Who knew her words would make Teruko cry? The lady has been praying to meet Sae again. The last time they met, our heroine was really nice to her. Because of her, Teruko decided to stop lying and live her life honestly. She is really grateful and thanks Sei. She has heard about her marriage and congratulated her. She asked the question we have all been curious about. When will Sei have a child? Back then, Sei couldn't get pregnant because her ex-husband is impotent. Now that she is remarried, Teriko encourages her to have a child. She thinks Sei is going to be a wonderful mother. Well, we think so too. Sei imagines having a child with Lord Sohaku and becomes shy. The Lord hasn't said anything about children, but she really wants to have one with him. Sohaku doesn't know his wife is being led astray. He reports to Colonel Kagami's office, but the man refuses to tell him about Jiru's connection to the Black Wolf. He says he has to drink his tea first. Our male lead is furious, but he can't do anything. Right now, Rindu is the only one who knows about the Black Wolf and Jiru. He has to obey him. Kagami is finally done. He tells Sohaku the information came from the beastmen he caught in the alley. They showed the man Lord Jiru's picture, and he said he had seen him together with the Black Wolf. Sohaku wants to know the location, and Rindu reveals they were at the Red Light District. We can all guess what that is. At the Red Light District, a beast woman, Madame Kokono, is relaxing when she is told a soldier is here. She panics, wondering why the military are looking for her. Her servant has no idea since the soldier refuses to say anything. The man insists on speaking to her since she owns a brothel here. The servant describes the man and calls him handsome. There is only one handsome lieutenant working in the military. Madame Kokonoe already knows who it is. It must be the White Wolf, Lord Sohaku. She wonders why he is here and tells the servant to let him in. Lord Sohaku visits the Red Light District and is stopped by several women who invite him to join them. Senri is surprised to see the humans and beastmen walking together without any fear. Sohaku explains that people who come here don't care about races anymore. It is the perfect spot for the Black Wolf and Lord Jiru to meet. The two head to Kongoro Brothel and demand to speak to Madame Kokonoe. The woman lets them in and introduces herself. She used to be the most popular courtesan in the brothel until she retired. Now she owns the place and manages the other girls. She is sure Sohaku already knows this. Well, she also knows everything about him. He might be a beastman, but his family is very wealthy. Plus, everyone has heard about his marriage to a human woman. Kokonoe isn't happy about that because the man is her type. Lord Sohaku didn't come here to chat. He hands her a picture of Lord Jiru and asks if she has seen him. The woman looks scared when she sees the picture. She obviously recognizes Lord Jiru. Sohaku already knows that the Black Wolf visited her brothel with Lord Jiru. He believes the woman might have some information about them. However, Madame Kokonoe refuses to speak. She tells him she will only cooperate with the military if he gives her some benefits. Lord Sohaku is curious and asks what she wants. It is a very simple request. She wants to become his mistress. She also wants to have a taste of his bed skills. I'm not sure Sei would like that. Lord Sohaku isn't interested and rejects her. He already has a woman he loves. The wolf woman looks very angry. Suddenly, they hear some strange sounds. They go out to look and see a group of beastmen locked up in a cage. Senri and Sohaku are shocked, but to the brothel staff, it is a normal scene. These are courtesans struggling with their desire to eat humans. Every time a beast woman sleeps with a human during her mating season, she might attack her customers. The brothel didn't want to send the women to jail. They would lock them in a cage until their cravings disappeared. The ladies look like they are in pain, and Senri feels sorry for them. Still at the Kongoro brothel, a lady is throwing a tantrum. She demands to have the prettiest clothes, claiming she is going to be the #1 courtesan. Who else could be so shallow if it isn't Chio Fujigamin? The maids leave, but they keep complaining about her. Chio has only arrived at the brothel, but everyone already hates her proud behavior. They wonder why Madame Kokonoe allowed her in. Another maid has heard a rumor. It seems the Black Wolf is in love with this girl. But even the maids don't believe it. Well, Chio does. She is ready to become the best courtesan in the country, all because of the man. Lord Sohaku seems to be going out with Sei. It turns out the two are heading to the Red Light District. Senri can't believe the Lord is willing to bring his wife there, but Sei says she forced him to. Lord Sohaku had come looking for her, requesting for a large amount of suppressants. He had told her about the courtesans. Because of their man-eating urges, they were always in pain. Our heroine has a soft heart and decided to go with him. They arrive at the Red Light District, and the first thing Sei hears is a bunch of women calling her man. They all want to spend a night with him. Senri, always a big gossip, tells her the same thing happened last time. Her husband seems to be really popular. Our heroine is annoyed and looks at Sohaku. He really is too beautiful. She is sure many women must have confessed to him. Our male lead saves his life by saying his only love is Sei. Our girl becomes shy. Lord Sohaku warns Senri to stop messing around. The Kongoro brothel has not been peaceful. The other courtesans are tired of Chio and complain to Madame Kokonoe. They want the woman to kick her out. Chio is really annoying. She keeps asking for expensive clothes but refuses to learn how to entertain men. She has no manners and always acts selfishly. The girls believe no man will ever want her. Madame Kokonoe is also frustrated and promises to speak to her later. But first, she has to feed her beast women. The girls can't take it anymore. The pain is just too much. Madame Kokonoe tries to encourage them. If they want to keep working here, they have to bear the pain. She manages to calm them down, but before she can leave, Lord Sohaku shows up. Our male lead arrives with some suppressant drugs. He hands it over to Madame Kokonoe and tells her it can suppress the man-eating urges in beastmen. The lady is shocked and refuses to believe it. She has never heard about a medicine like this. Lord Sohaku tells her it is a new drug. He wants her to give some to her courtesans, but she refuses. She is afraid the drugs might harm her girls. She doesn't believe a single pill can cure their man-eating urges. Lord Sohaku begs her to trust him. His goal is to make sure no one suffers from these cravings anymore. He urges her to save her girls from suffering. But the woman is still terrified. Sei arrives and tells the woman not to worry. She knows Madame Kokonoi is scared, but they are just trying to help her. She says Lord Sohaku has also taken the drug and it worked. The woman is surprised to see her and immediately guesses who she is. She must be Lord Sohaku's wife. Madame Kokonoi finally agrees to let them help when her girl's craving starts again. She allows Lord Sohaku feed the drug to the girl. She still doesn't believe him and keeps asking Lord Sohaku if it really works. Well, she doesn't need to ask anymore because the girl finally speaks. She says the pain is gone. Madame Kokonoi is in shock. Sohaku tells her the other courtesans can also take the drug. He vows to keep supplying them if she needs more. She said she wanted benefits, so he is using this to exchange information about the Black Wolf and Lord Jiru. Madame Kokonoi returns to her room, but she keeps thinking about Sohaku's words. It seems she has someone she wants to save. She opens her door, but someone is inside her room. It is the Black Wolf. She seems afraid to see him, which the man notices. She pretends to be happy and even hugs him. The man thinks she should depend on him after all he is supplying her with blood. It turns out the Black Wolf has been selling human blood to Madame Kokonoi. The woman accepts it, but she keeps trembling. The man has heard about the military's visit and warns her to keep quiet. He threatens to reveal her secret if she betrays him. He wonders what would happen if he told everyone she is involved in the trade of human blood. Even worse, she also takes some herself. If the military finds out, she will also be in trouble. The woman is annoyed and snatches the bottle from him. She already knows this and doesn't plan to reveal anything. She is more concerned about Chio and wonders why the girl is here. She keeps saying she will become the best courtesan, but she is too dumb to succeed. The Black Wolf doesn't seem interested and tells Kokonoi to leave her alone. He just wants the girl to remain here. Lord Sohaku and Sai visit the brothel again. The courtesans are happy to see them and praise the suppressant. All their man-eating urges have disappeared. They tell him the other courtesans also want some. Sei's company has produced more suppressants. They plan to use the drug to exchange information with Madame Kokonoi. Senri doesn't think it will work. Ever since that day, Madame Kokonoi has been avoiding Sohaku. She refuses all his requests to see her. The courtesans don't know the truth and just think the madam doesn't trust the drug. Sei overhears them talking and wants to know more about the madam. The girls say she is very kind. She used to be the most popular courtesan in town. She was very pretty, and everyone loved her. After she retired, she opened her own brothel. Because she was also a courtesan, she cared about her girls' feelings and treated them well. They really like her and call her their mother. One of the girls reveals that Madame Kokonoi has a son. Sohaku has never heard about this and is surprised. Tadamasa has heard some rumors. During her time as a courtesan, the madam had a child with a human. The courtesans say he is right, and everyone wonders how he found out. The man reveals he used to visit the red light district during his time as a soldier. Really, Tadamasa should have kept quiet because Senri is now annoyed. She believes he must have been messing around. The man is scared and tries to defend himself. He says he only came here to work since the district is the best place to gather information. The two keep arguing, making the courtesans laugh. Our male lead sees his little wife staring at him. He is afraid Tadamasa might implicate him and rushes to prove his innocence. He says he hasn't messed around. Our innocent girl wasn't even thinking about that. This is the first time she heard about a human and a beastman having a child together. Sohaku says it isn't impossible, but it is very rare. It is difficult for couples from different races to have a child. Our heroine is upset. Ever since she spoke to Teruko, she has always imagined herself having a child with Lord Sohaku. She wants to tell him it was all her ex-husband's fault that they couldn't have children. But now it doesn't seem important. Either way, it will be hard for them to have a child together. Sohaku can tell she is upset and tries to comfort her. He says she is the most important person to him right now. His words are sweet, but our girl is still disappointed. She really wants to have his child. Kokonoi's servant is panicking. He visits the woman and tells her Lord Sohaku is here. The soldier refuses to leave without seeing her. The servant wonders what they should do, but Kokonoi is also confused. She knows the suppressants can save her girls' lives. She wants to trust our main leads, but she is really scared of the Black Wolf. The servant returns to our main leads and tells them the madam is willing to see them. They are all happy and relieved, but it doesn't last long. They suddenly hear a mocking voice. Sei would recognize that voice anymore. It belongs to the girl they have all been searching for. Chio Fujigamine. Chio appears, and as always, she isn't happy to see Sai. Our heroine is shocked and upset, wondering why her cousin is here. The girl thinks her question is very silly after all. She is dressed so beautifully. Still, she answers and says she is going to become the best courtesan in town. Sei is angry. Ever since Chio went missing, her mother has been searching everywhere for her. She wants to know where the girl has been. Well, her husband answers and says Chio has been working with the Black Wolf. Back to a few days ago. The Black Wolf approaches Chio and reveals his secret business to her. He tells her he has been selling human blood at the brothel. He says the business is failing, so he needs her help. He wants her to become a courtesan so she can bring more customers to the brothel. Chio isn't willing, but the man praises her. He knows how proud she is, so he calls her beautiful. He makes her believe she will become the most popular girl in the brothel. The girl becomes proud. She can already imagine everyone worshipping her beauty. He calls her his woman and says he wants to see how charming she becomes. His words make the girl happy and she vows to do her best. Back to the present, Chio isn't afraid and admits she is working with the Black Wolf. She shows off to her cousin and says the Black Wolf loves her. She thinks he loves more than Lord Suhaku could ever love Sei. She is willing to do anything for him. Meanwhile, our heroine wonders why her family members are all sick. First, it was her uncle. Now, her cousin is also working for the Black Wolf. Tadamasa is amused by how naive Chio is. Senri knows the Black Wolf is using the girl and tries to warn her, but her words make Chio angry. She refuses to listen to Sei when she says the Black Wolf is dangerous. She warns our heroine to shut up. She has always hated her cousin's behavior and how she looks so perfect. It makes her want to throw up. Sei is upset, but Lord Suhaku stops her. He isn't like the rest and knows talking to Chio wouldn't make the girl change. The only thing they should do is arrest her. Since she is working with the Black Wolf, she must have important information. Chio is shocked to hear this, but before they can touch her, they hear some strange sounds. A group of beastmen suddenly appears and starts searching for human blood. They try to attack Chio, but Lord Suhaku saves her. Tadamasa protects Sae while Senri helps the Lord. She kills the beastmen, but Lord Suhaku is injured. Just then, more beastmen appear, and they are all hungry for blood. The soldiers are distracted and don't notice Chio trying to escape. Suddenly, someone grabs her. Our male lead suddenly has a strange feeling. He turns around only to see the Black Wolf has appeared. Chio is happy to see her lover. She believes he is here to save her. Well, the man just ignores her. Everything is in chaos. The soldiers are wondering why the Black Wolf showed up, while the beastmen keep begging for blood. Lord Suhaku is sure the Black Wolf created this situation. He wonders what the wolf is planning. The beastman doesn't reply and only picks up Chio. The girl is pleased, but the soldiers are upset. They try to stop the wolf from escaping, but he suddenly throws a bottle of blood at Lord Suhaku. The blood has been mixed with something else, and it makes the other beastmen crazy. They gather around Suhaku and try to attack him. Chio is relieved and tells the Black Wolf to run away, but the man doesn't listen to her. The rest of the soldiers are fighting the beastmen, so no one notices when the Black Wolf suddenly rushes to Sei's side. Tadamasa and Sei are terrified. We expect the Black Wolf to attack them, but he only stares at Sei. Those red eyes are really scary. Our male lead jumps down the stairs and rushes to protect his wife. The Black Wolf stares at them again and finally escapes. Senri offers to chase after him and also disappears. Lord Suhaku keeps checking his wife, worried she might have been hurt. He is sure the Black Wolf has been hiding in Kongro, waiting for a chance to attack them. He believes someone must be helping the man. And who else could it be but Madame Kokonoe? The woman appears, and Lord Suhaku tells her she is going to tell him the truth. She has no choice. Madame Kokonoe begins her story. Just like Santa, her son was forced by his friends to take some human blood. He soon became addicted to it. But he was a good child, and would rather bite himself and self-harm than hurt humans. Madame Kokonoe was confused and didn't know what to do. That was when the Black Wolf appeared. She was desperate to relieve her son's suffering, so the Black Wolf introduced her to the blood trade. Soon, she got used to buying human blood from him. Sei remembers the courtesans talking about the Madame's son. They hadn't seen him lately. Kokonoe says she was trying to hide his condition. She feels guilty because she always forced the courtesans to endure the pain. But when her son began to crave human flesh, she couldn't bear to see him suffer. Lord Suhaku requests to see her son. The woman misunderstands and thinks the Lord wants to arrest him. She tells him the boy was forced to take the blood. She is ready to accept the blame and begs him to spare her son. Well, she is just overreacting. The Lord plans to arrest her since she assisted the Black Wolf in his blood trade business. But he is asking about her son because he wants to help him. He plans to bring the boy back to the military and give him the suppressant. Since the boy is already addicted to human blood, the drug might not cure him completely. However, our male lead vows to do his best to treat the boy. He will make sure he recovers no matter how long it takes. The woman is grateful and starts crying. Tadamasa has dealt with the other beastman. He tied them up and dragged them back to their room. He found a bottle of blood inside, which he hands over to Suhaku. Our male lead examines it and finds out a stimulant was mixed into the blood. Kokonoe thinks the Black Wolf has been giving it to the customers secretly. Since he knew about the military investigation, he must have been planning his escape. The madam is ready to confess and tells Suhaku about the Black Wolf and Lord Jiru. The men have been meeting in her brothel secretly. She saw Jiru's face and is sure he is the same man Suhaku showed her. She doesn't know what they are planning, but she saw Lord Jiru leaving after the meeting. The first time he appeared, he was dressed in dirty clothes. But that day, he looked different. She believes the Black Wolf might have cleaned him up and given him some money. Tadamasa thinks Lord Jiru has been working with the Black Wolf even before he was arrested. The Black Wolf must have helped him escape from prison. Our heroine is still worried about her cousin. She wants to know why the girl was here. The madam says the Black Wolf abandoned the girl here and told her to take care of her. Sei is confused and wonders if he was trying to pimp Chio out for money. Tadamasa doesn't think that is true. They might not know much about the Black Wolf, but it doesn't seem like he wanted Chio to become a courtesan. They all wonder why the man is working with Chio, because the girl has no value. Hours pass, and Senri returns to the brothel. She tried to follow the Black Wolf, but he disappeared. She searched everywhere, but couldn't find him. Lord Suhaku is ready to return to the military base and report to Kagami. Madame Kokonoe has been arrested and follows him. Her girls refuse to let her go. She apologizes to them and reveals she was working with the Black Wolf. She is ready to accept her punishment. She has prepared another job for the girls, but they refuse to leave. They will wait for her return. The woman is touched and starts crying. She regrets her actions and keeps apologizing to them. She really wishes she had found the suppressant earlier. Speaking of the suppressants, our heroine plans to start a business in the red light district. She wants to spread the drug to all the courtesans. Madame Kokonoi starts crying again and praises Sei's business spirit. The Black Wolf arrives home with Chio. She is still worried about their plan to make her a courtesan. The man tells her to forget the idea. He says he has gotten a better benefit. I wonder how Chio will feel when she finds out the man is thinking about Sei. Lord Suhaku visits Colonel Kagami, but he is stopped outside the man's office. The soldier says the colonel is on private leave and tells Suhaku to report to him. Our male lead hands him the document. He says he met the Black Wolf and confirmed he is working with Chio and Lord Jiru. The soldier is shocked. Suhaku is the first person to have seen the Black Wolf. He asks the Lord to describe him. Our male lead says the rumors about the Black Wolf are true. He has black fur, and his eyes are as red as blood. He is so scary, he frightened the Lord's little wife. Suhaku is determined to catch the wolf. Senri is in heaven. Sei has prepared some desserts for her again. Our heroine also made some for her husband and can't wait for him to taste it. Sei isn't the only one thinking about her lover. Senri hasn't seen Tadamasa and wonders where he is. Our heroine says he is on leave because his rut has started. For some reason, Senri starts blushing. What are you thinking about, girl? Although Tadamasa's symptoms have reduced because of the suppressant, Sei gives him the day off. Senri is still traumatized and wonders if the man has gone to the red light district. Thinking of the district makes Sei upset. She remembers how badly the courtesans suffered. She thinks all the beastmen go through the same pain during their rut. Senri says it is different for everyone. Some people can endure the pain while others suffer more. She is a horse. During her rut, she doesn't crave human flesh. But for other beastmen who are carnivores, it would be harder. She seems to be tracking everyone's rut and says Lord Suhaku's would soon begin. Sei is upset again. Ever since their wedding night, Lord Suhaku hasn't touched her once. She knows it might be the effect of the suppressant, but she is still upset. It is dinner time, but Lord Suhaku doesn't show up. When Sei asks about him, Riri says he has refused dinner. Ever since he arrived, he locked himself in his room. Sei thinks he might be sick, and Riri confirms it when she says he looked pale. Our heroine remembers Senri's words and thinks the Lord might have started his rut. She knows how stubborn he is and hopes he isn't suffering alone. Our heroine is still worried and decides to visit the man. She shows up in his room and sees him lying in bed. The man is surprised to see her. Sei has the perfect excuse. She heard about his sickness and came to check up on him. The man doesn't think she should be worried. A lot of things have been happening, making him tired. He tells her he just needs to rest. Sei is relieved and smiles. She offers to prepare some dinner or desserts for him. She is ready to leave when the man suddenly pulls her back. Sei falls on the bed. The man keeps kissing her neck, making our heroine panic. He said he wasn't in a rut, so what is going on? Lord Suhaku is thinking of something naughty. He remembers what happened during his last rut. It was in this room he first slept with Sei. The man clearly wants her again and begs her to accept him. Our heroine remembers the first night they slept together. Back then, her heart pounded so fast, she almost fainted. Even though they are married, she still feels the same way. When the man looks at her, she feels like a child again. She confesses her love to him and offers him her body. It is about to be a very busy night for our couple. After some intense bedroom activities, the two relax. Sei asks about his rut, which surprises him. She thinks he is offended and apologizes. The man wonders why she thinks he is in rut. Well, it was clearly Senri who led her astray. She also thought all wolf beastmen share the same rut season. She isn't wrong. The Lord admits he is in rut, but his symptoms have always been mild. Plus, he is also taking the suppressants. His behavior today was just because he was tired. Well, our heroine misunderstood. She feels embarrassed and hides her face. Her shy behavior amuses the Lord, and he decides to tease her. She thinks he slept with her because of his rut. He tells her it isn't true. Just seeing how cute she is makes him want her. The man kisses her hair, which makes her blush. He keeps staring at her and he looks so good, I might also fall in love. Lord Suhaku isn't satisfied and decides to have another round. The result? Our heroine keeps blushing the next day. She can't forget those 2 rounds. She looks like a love-struck fool, making Senri suspicious. Sei stops daydreaming and focuses on her work. She has started a pharmacy in the red light district, and the business has been successful. She is planning her next step when someone knocks on her door. The girls aren't expecting anyone. Senri opens the door, and it is the last person she expects to see. Why is Colonel Kagami here? Well, we are about to find out. The girls receive an unexpected visitor, and it turns out to be Colonel Kagami. The man is here to see Sei. Our heroine is surprised but still welcomes him. The man notices her shock and apologizes. He says he has something important to tell her. He insists on being alone with her and sends Senri away. The girl can't refuse his orders and leaves. Our heroine wonders why he is here. She invites him in, but when he passes by, she catches the smell of perfume. She wonders why he uses it and assumes he just likes the scent. Wrong. Our heroine doesn't think she has anything to discuss with the colonel. He might have helped her during Lord Suhaku's imprisonment, but she knows he hates beastmen. He is now her husband's superior, and the 2 men work together. But he still gives her a strange feeling. Sei is focused on making tea and doesn't notice the man approaching until he is right next to her. He suddenly says he likes the scent. Our heroine looks terrified until he says he is talking about the tea. She feels relieved and says she made it just for him. The man is pleased. He tells her he likes sweet scents and laughs. But even though he is smiling, our heroine feels strange. For some reason, the man makes her feel scared. The man has heard about the incident at the brothel. He is curious about the Black Wolf and asks Sei about him. Our heroine can never forget the wolf's eyes. Just looking at him almost made her heart stop. He is too scary. The man sympathizes with her. He also feels sorry for Madame Kokonoe since she was used by the Black Wolf. Sei is worried about the woman and wonders what her punishment will be. Kagami says it will be light since she wasn't the main culprit. Plus, she has also been cooperating with the investigation, so she will soon be released. Sei is relieved to hear that. The man is puzzled by her behavior. He doesn't understand why she is so nice to the Beastmen. Sei is also confused and wonders why he hates them. She asks him about it, but the man has no reason. He just hates them. He hates their existence, which is why he has to catch the Black Wolf. He changes the topic and says he is here to talk about her uncle. He wants to know more about Lord Giroux. He has some information that is going to change everything. He believes Lord Giroux has been working with the Black Wolf for a long time. Even worse, he might have killed her parents. Chio is in despair. The Black Wolf hasn't returned home for days and she starts panicking. She thinks he is avoiding her because she is useless. She imagines him abandoning her, but the thought is too painful. If the man leaves her, she won't be able to survive. To prevent this, Chio decides to do whatever he wants no matter what. Colonel Kagami has some information that might change everything. He thinks Lord Giroux killed her parents. Sei refuses to believe him, but the colonel has even more frightening information. During their investigation, they found out that all the people the Black Wolf killed were related to the Fujigamine Company. Kagami became curious when he heard that. He wants Sei to tell him everything that happened after her grandparents passed away. The man knows she is in shock and begs her to focus. The girl calms down and begins the story. The Fujigamine Company was started by her grandparents. After their death, her father inherited it. Her uncle always resented him for that. Kagami thinks Lord Giroux has the motive to kill her parents. If they died, he would be the one to inherit the company. Sei refuses to accept the truth. She says she was also there when the fire started. Maybe she thinks Giroux wouldn't try to kill her? Her behavior makes the colonel laugh. The girl recalls that terrible day. Her father had saved her and went back in to help her mother out. Unfortunately, neither of them made it back. The incident happened 11 years ago, but Kagami still remembers it. The fire killed many people. Sei doesn't believe her uncle could murder so many innocent people. The colonel reminds her that the cause of the fire was never found. It is possible that someone started it. Sei can't believe her uncle would harm her parents. But then, she remembers the man's words. He always said she was supposed to die in that fire. Our heroine is completely heartbroken. Kagami seems to be enjoying her suffering. He says he will investigate the fire and leaves happily. The next day, our male lead goes looking for Rindu. Sei has told him everything, and the man is annoyed. The colonel told Sai such news without any evidence. Kagami isn't bothered and is sure his theory is correct. Suhaku can't control himself and attacks the man. He says he should have told him first before telling Sei. Rindu thinks the Lord is just a nuisance. He tells Suhaku to focus on his duty and find Lord Giroux. Our male lead is still holding the colonel, but he suddenly lets go. He looks like he has seen a ghost. Kagami thinks the man is just afraid. He reminds him he just attacked his superior. It is a great crime, but he decides to forgive Suhaku. He will be traveling out of the capital and hand over the investigation to Suhaku. He tells the man to provide the results quickly. Meanwhile, our male lead stands there sweating. He has just discovered a huge secret. Under the strong smell of the colonel's perfume, he smelled the scent of a beast. Lord Suhaku refuses to believe it since the man is supposed to be human. But if that was true, why does the colonel smell like a beast? Even worse, his smell is very familiar. He smells exactly like the Black Wolf. We see the colonel leaving. He finally opens his eyes and they are the same red color as the Black Wolf's. Our male lead knows this isn't the time to be surprised. He chases after the man and sees him turn the corner. Except when Suhaku arrives there, the man has disappeared. He notices an open window. Kagami must have jumped down. The only way the colonel could survive such a long jump is if he is a beastman. Lord Suhaku wants to expose him, but he has to be careful. Kagami is a high-ranking officer in the military, and everyone believes he is human. If our male lead tries to accuse him without any proof, he will be the one in trouble. The first thing he must do is gather evidence. As if our male lead hasn't gone through enough, Sanri arrives with some bad news. His wife suddenly fainted during work. Lord Suhaku rushes home and sees his little wife lying in bed. She looks really sick, which frightens him. She tells him she was feeling unwell this morning. When she arrived at work, she suddenly felt dizzy. The man thinks she is overstressed. Because of the Black Wolf, she was forced to remember her parents' death. Sei doesn't want to disturb the man's work and chases him away. However, the Lord has already taken the day off. He decides to remain with Sei and take care of her. The girl looks really stressed. She feels unhappy, and the only thing that can comfort her is a hug from her man. The man changes into his beast form and holds her. He feels so warm, the girl begins to cry. Ever since she met Kagami, she has been thinking about her parents. Remembering their death is so painful. She also feels bad because she seems to be useless. Her husband is trying so hard to catch her uncle, but she is doing nothing. Lord Suhaku isn't happy to hear this. He reminds her they are now a married couple and are supposed to support each other. He tells her not to hold back and cry as much as she wants. Our heroine is touched and starts crying, but soon she stops. How is she supposed to continue when the man keeps kicking her tears? His actions make her laugh. The girl is happy again and kisses him. Seeing her smile makes the Lord realize how precious she is to him. To protect Sei, he is ready to destroy Kagami. The man is too dangerous, so he remains in the military any longer. But there isn't much time. The colonel is supposed to travel in 3 days. Before he leaves, our male lead has to prove he is the Black Wolf and expose him. Lord Suhaku is determined to expose Kagami, but he can't find any useful information. He investigates the colonel's background and finds out his mother died in an accident. His father went missing, so the colonel was raised by his grandfather. Suhaku still can't believe the heir of the powerful Kagami family is a beastman. Since Rindu has managed to hide it for so long without being exposed, he must have destroyed the evidence. Our male lead will be wasting his time if he tries to investigate. The man decides to try another method. He returns home and heads to his medical lab. It seems like he is going to make some medicine. He knows this method is risky and might not work, but he is willing to try. He is interrupted by a sudden visit from Lord Takeo. Well, it isn't sudden. His uncle was supposed to pick up the suppressants for the people in the village. Suhaku was even the one who invited him. Well, our male lead has forgotten all about that. He apologizes and explains he has been too busy. Lord Takeo isn't bothered since he knows how stressful the military is. He was planning to just sneak in and pick them up. But he heard about Suhaku's return and decided to visit him. The Lord prepares the suppressants, and an eager Tadamasa takes them away. Takeo seems to have some regrets. He keeps talking about a certain man who became a man-eater. Suhaku is curious and wants to know more. Remember when our main leads visited the village? Back then, Lord Takeo told them a story about a beastman who fell in love with a human. The whole village disagreed, but the man was very stubborn. In the end, he turned into a man-eater and ate his wife. Our grumpy uncle Takeo has just become Suhaku's lifesaver. He is still talking about the couple and suddenly mentions that the girl was from a powerful military family. Our male lead is shocked. This sounds really familiar. He asks his uncle what the man's fur looked like, and Takeo says it was black. The man-eater had beautiful black fur and red eyes. Sound familiar, guys? Uncle Takeo confirms our guess. He says the beastman also had a child with his human wife before she died. Well, Lord Suhaku has the complete story now. It seems Kagami's father was a beastman who killed his wife and ate her. If everything is true, then Kagami is surely the Black Wolf. Our male lead is happy. The colonel must be feeling proud right now. But now that Suhaku has this information, he will be able to crush Rindu. Back at the Black Wolf's house, Chiyo is about to go crazy. She misses the Black Wolf and keeps calling his name. Suddenly, the door is opened as someone arrives. Chiyo is happy and rushes out to welcome him. She stops and suddenly looks shocked. The Black Wolf has arrived, but he isn't alone. He brings along a special visitor, and it turns out to be Chiyo's father. We expect the father and daughter to have a happy reunion, but our hopes are ruined. Jiru looks very angry as he asks Chiyo why she sold his company. The Lord doesn't seem to care about his daughter. His true love is his company, and he questions Chiyo, asking why she sold it. Of course, the girl quickly pushes the blame to her mother and claims it wasn't her fault. Still, the man looks very angry. Chiyo has always been smart and quickly kneels on the floor, begging for his forgiveness. The Black Wolf also speaks up for her and tells Lord Jiru to forgive her. The girl becomes a love-struck fool again. She looks at the Black Wolf with adoration. She really believes the man is protecting her. More like using her. She is curious and wants to know why her father is here. However, the wolf refuses to answer. He tells her not to worry and chases her away. Lord Jiru is impressed by the Black Wolf's skills. He really knows how to deceive people. He never thought the great colonel who showed up at his door to arrest him would be the Black Wolf. Our male lead was right. We finally see the Black Wolf's human form, and it is indeed the colonel. He might have arrested Lord Jiru, but he was also the one who helped him escape. He secretly gave the man his gun and made sure his handcuffs could easily break. Lord Jiru knows the colonel always handles his work perfectly. He has one more job for the man. He wants to take back the Fujigamine company and kill Sei. Upstairs, Chiyo is eavesdropping and hears their conversation. She is in despair, wondering why they want to kill her cousin. She doesn't care about Sei anymore. The only thing she wants is the Black Wolf's love. Our heroine has no idea her death has been planned. She seems to be thinking about something serious. Tadamasa interrupts her. Seeing her worried face, he knows she is thinking about Lord Suhaku. Well, she has every right to. The day we have all been waiting for finally arrives. Kagami will be leaving the capital today. The soldiers have gathered around to see him off. Rindu is about to leave when Lord Suhaku suddenly shows up. He wants to remove the colonel from the military service and accuses him of being the Black Wolf. Lord Suhaku stops the colonel from leaving and accuses him of being the Black Wolf. The soldiers are all shocked to hear this. Kagami's assistant refuses to believe it and tries to defend his boss. The man himself isn't concerned and still looks down on the beastman. He tells Suhaku to provide his proof. He probably thinks he has none, but the colonel is bound to be disappointed. Our male lead came prepared. He shares some documents with the soldiers. They are all shocked when they read the report because it explains Kagami's origin. According to his investigation, Rindu's mother, Kyoko, was his grandfather's only daughter. She was a human but fell in love with the Beastman and ran away with him. The Kagamis were a noble family and couldn't bear the shame. They chased Kyoko down and dragged her back home. But it was too late. The woman was already pregnant. The Kagamis hid this shame. Even though Rindu was a half-breed, they disguised and raised him as a human. We finally get to know why Rindu hates Beastmen. It turns out the Colonel's father was from our male lead's village. Hurt by his wife, his love soon changed to hatred. He ended up killing Kyoko right in front of Rindu. Kagami's assistant is shocked, but still he tries to defend his boss. He says the evidence is not enough. Suhaku knows the humans might not understand, but he tells them Rindu is the Black Wolf. Because of his beastly instincts, he recognized the smell on Kagami was the same as the Black Wolf's. The Colonel tried to hide his scent behind his heavy perfume. Senri and the rest of the Beastmen all support Suhaku. They looked into Rindu and found out the days he was missing from the military were also the days the Black Wolf appeared in the capital. Yet, the humans refuse to believe it. They think the Beastmen are trying to destroy the Colonel's reputation. They start to condemn them, accusing the non-humans of framing the Colonel. The situation makes Rindu laugh. He thinks the Beastmen are very funny. He steps on the evidence our male lead provided and calls it fake. He moves closer so he can mock Suhaku. He says his proof isn't enough to destroy him. He even feels disappointed since he expected better from the Lord. Well, he is going to get his wish. He calls them traitors and says he is going to kill them all. What he doesn't know is that he has fallen into Lord Suhaku's trap. The Lord thanks him for coming closer. The man has made his plan easier. He suddenly pulls out a bottle of blood. Flashback to a day ago. Lord Suhaku didn't plan to involve Sei, but to expose the Black Wolf, he needs to use her blood. And right now, that is what is in the bottle. Since the Black Wolf likes blood so much, Suhaku is ready to give it to him. He pours the blood all over the Colonel. Kagami doesn't know his end is near. He laughs at Suhaku, telling him he is used to human blood. It doesn't affect him anymore. Well, he is going to be disappointed. The man suddenly looks shocked. He recognizes the smell of this blood. It belongs to Sei. Rindu was feeling proud some seconds ago, but now he is in despair. His body has begun to change into his beast form. The soldiers are shocked to see this. His loyal assistant can't believe he was deceived. The Colonel is the Black Wolf. Our male lead reveals the blood was mixed with a stimulant. At the Kongro brothel, the Black Wolf used the same trick on him. Suhaku decided to return the favor and made a drug even stronger than his own. Kagami is upset. He wonders why the other beastmen are so calm until he remembers they have the suppressant. That is right. Lord Suhaku can smell the blood, but it doesn't affect him. He believes his job is done. Now that everyone has recognized Kagami as the Black Wolf, he can now arrest him. But things don't go as planned. Kagami's assistant feels betrayed because he really trusted Rindu. The man doesn't feel any guilt and insults the boy. He suddenly pulls out his gun and shoots him. The Colonel has clearly gone crazy and starts shooting randomly. He doesn't care if they are humans or beastmen. He shoots them all. Even worse, he has already sent the military doctors away. There is no one to save them. He is just waiting for them to die. Everywhere is in chaos. Suhaku tries to save the injured. He tells the beastmen to capture Rindu since the man is still weak. Everything should be fine, but another plot twist appears. Someone arrives to save Rindu. A car suddenly rushes in, making everyone scatter. It stops next to Rindu. The Colonel feels a little regret. Because no one had managed to expose him, he became too proud. He praises our male lead before he jumps into the vehicle. We finally see his driver's face, and as expected, it is the Lord Jiru. Kagami tells Suhaku their battle isn't over and escapes. Our male lead is torn. He has two choices: chase the Colonel or save the injured soldiers. We all know what our Lord is going to pick. He tells the beastmen to focus on helping the injured. Even at such a critical moment, some humans choose to be racist. They try to prevent the beastmen from touching the injured humans and call them filthy. For some reason, they blame everything on the non-humans. They claim they were deceived by Kagami, who is also a beastman. I really wish our male lead would just leave them alone to help themselves, but he is too righteous. He is frustrated by the way humans think and tells them this isn't the time to think about race. Right now, they all have to focus on helping the injured. He is the only military doctor here, and he vows to save everyone. Suhaku vows to save everyone. He says the humans have to work with the beastmen. If they continue wasting time, everyone will die. The beastmen are always the most helpful and bring over a stretcher. Over at Rindu's side, he finally pulls off the jacket covered in blood. Jiru mocks him. He always thought the Colonel was used to human blood, but at the end of the day, he is still a beast. Kagami isn't offended and even laughs. It turns out he had informed Lord Jiru and asked him to wait nearby. He clearly knew something would happen. The Lord is still annoyed and scolds Rindu for exposing himself. Now that the Colonel has been dropped from the military, he tries to control him. He says Rindu must obey him from now on. The Colonel is upset, but he has no choice. Jiru drops him off at home and warns him not to hurt his daughter. As soon as Kagami arrives at the mansion, he rushes to drink some blood. He sees the abandoned jacket and remembers it is Sei's blood, which excites him. From the look on his face, it seems like he wants to lick it off. Thankfully, Chio appears and saves us from that disgusting scene. However, when the man looks at her, he keeps seeing Sei's shadow. How frustrated would Chio be if she knew? She is busy caring about the man, but he pushes her to the bed. He reminds her she is now his woman. He tries to brainwash her into doing anything he wants. Chio has been starved for love. Remembering what her father said about hurting Sei, she is ready to do it. She is willing to kill her cousin just to make the Black Wolf love her. Lord Suhaku finally returns to the Kamishiro estate. He hasn't returned home since he began his investigation. Tadamasa waits outside to welcome him and immediately praises him. Our male lead isn't happy. He might have saved the soldiers' lives, but is still worried about the Black Wolf. His assistant tells him to relax. He managed to expose the Black Wolf without causing any deaths. He should be proud of that and take a break first. Suhaku asks about his wife, and Tadamasa suddenly starts smiling like a clown. He says our heroine has been sick ever since the day she fainted. He is clearly complaining about how bad her health is, but he keeps smiling. For some reason, he insists the Lord has to see her immediately. Our male lead also thinks Tadamasa's smile is weird. He looks like he is planning something evil. His assistant just laughs and chases him away. He pushes him and tells him to go see his wife. Our heroine is waiting for her husband to arrive. He hasn't returned home for so long and she misses him. She suddenly touches her stomach and says she has something important to tell him. I think we can all guess what is going on. Lord Suhaku still has no idea. He arrives at the bridge and sees Sei. The couples are excited to finally meet. Sei rushes to hug him and he holds her tight. He tells her how much he misses her. He is worried about her health because she looks a bit thinner. He is still holding her when he gets a weird feeling. Something doesn't feel right when he hugs her. Even her scent has changed. The man is confused and wonders what changed. Sei teases him and tells him to take a guess. The man thinks of something and looks like he is in shock. He doesn't want to believe it. Well, he has to because our female lead is pregnant. Sei tells her husband she is pregnant. She didn't understand why she was always feeling sick until her period stopped. Talk about overreacting. Suhaku lifts her up from the ground and hugs her. He can't believe they are expecting a child, but Sei confirms it. The couple are really happy. The man starts panicking when he realizes he just picked her up. She assures him it is safe and the baby is stable. Sei tells him her fears. During her last marriage, she couldn't get pregnant. She assumed it would be more difficult this time because they are from different races. Even now, it feels like a dream. Suhaku tells her he's also surprised. Being with her makes him happy, but he had always hoped she would get pregnant. He never mentioned it because he was afraid of making her sad. The couple shares a kiss, and Suhaku thanks her. He knows he won't rest until the baby is born, but it's a sweet torture. Our heroine is really happy. Having a child with the man she loves is just perfect. She can't wait to meet her baby and vows to protect the child. Half a month has passed since Lord Suhaku exposed Rindu as the Black Wolf. The news has spread throughout the military. Rindu's grandfather, Marshal Kagami, took the blame for his grandson and was forced to resign. Still, there has been no news of Lord Jiru and the Black Wolf. No one knows where they are. Lord Suhaku visits Kagami's assistant, Captain Seki, in the hospital. The man has fully recovered. Seki actually thought he would die since he was shot in the stomach. Suhaku says he was lucky, but the captain doesn't think so. It was because of Suhaku's quick treatment. The Lord saved his life. The two men smile, but Seki suddenly looks sad again. He is still hurt by Rindu's betrayal. He was investigating the Black Wolf, but never knew his boss was the Beastman himself. He feels ashamed and thinks he is useless. Suhaku tells him not to feel guilty. If they had rushed there with their weapons, they would have been accused of treason and shot to death. Our male lead also blames himself. He relied too much on the Beastman's special abilities. Because of him, many were injured and the Black Wolf escaped. Suhaku has completed his duties as the military doctor and has a deal for the captain. He is in charge of the team who will track down Lord Jiru and Rindu. He knows the men are dangerous. If they want to catch them, the humans and Beastmen have to work together. He wants Seki to become their representative. The captain is touched. He also has the same idea and promises to do his best. Sei visits Teruko, who is happy to hear about her pregnancy. She is worried about Sei's health. Our heroine is okay, but there is one major problem. She has become a glutton. For some reason, the only thing she craves are the desserts from Teruko's shop. The woman makes fun of her and advises her not to eat too much. If not, she will end up as round as a ball. Our heroine gets her desserts and returns to her bodyguards. But for some reason, the Beastmen look shocked. Sei is afraid something bad has happened. They tell her everything is okay, but they just saw her aunt. Sei looks over and sees the woman. Yoshi is hanging out with a man who keeps buying her gifts. It turns out the two are planning to get married. The Beastmen are surprised to hear this and think the marriage won't last. What shocks them more is that Yoshi has completely forgotten about her daughter. Our heroine doesn't look pleased, and she suddenly approaches the woman. Yoshi is shocked to see her niece and pretends she doesn't know her. Well, our heroine isn't going to let her escape. Sei reminds the woman she has a family and wonders how she could remarry. She mentions Chio and says the girl is involved with a dangerous man. But Yoshi doesn't want to hear it. She plans to start a new life and tells her niece to mind her business. She tries to blame the girl for her misfortune, but Sei isn't having it. She reminds her aunt that she willingly sold the company. The amount she was paid is enough to live a comfortable life. Yet, the woman refused to change and live properly. Sei is really annoyed by her aunt's selfish behavior. She could even abandon her own daughter. Our heroine calls her the worst kind of mother, but the woman feels no guilt. She doesn't care about a daughter who ran off on her own. She warns Sei to stay away from her and tells her they aren't family. She only took the girl in because she survived the fire. She finally shows her ugly side, which shocks her new husband. Yoshi has been lying to him and has never told him about her previous family. She claims she was an orphan who lived a hard life. The woman begins to panic and tries to explain. But the man is done with her. He tells her to stay away from him, but she refuses to let go. She kneels on the floor and keeps begging him. Sei is disgusted by how pathetic she looks. She won't waste time on such a hopeless person and leaves. The three are on their way home. Senri knows Sei is kind, but wants her to stop thinking about her uncle's family. Tadamasa reminds Senri that Chio and Jiru's affairs are related to them, but he also supports the girl. He wants our heroine to rest and focus on her pregnancy. Sei is confused. She remembers a scene from the past. She had shown Chio her dog, Maru. The girl liked the dog and also wanted one. She asked her parents, but her father beat her up instead. Her mother supported him because she hated dogs. Chio returned to Sei's house looking upset. Sei's father was unhappy and decided to speak to his brother, but it just made the little Chio angrier. She was jealous of Sei and felt it was unfair. Why did her cousin always have everything? Thinking about it now, Sei suspects that was when Chio started to hate her. With a violent father and a selfish mother, it was only normal that the girl would become vile. Our heroine is frustrated. She wants to forget these people, yet they keep disturbing her. Days pass, but our heroine is still upset. She is interrupted by the maids, who tell her the visitors from the village have arrived. The maids all treat Sei like glass and are worried about her health. One even offers to carry her. They know how difficult pregnancy is and want Sei to rely on them. Our heroine is touched by their kindness and begins to cry. She blames the pregnancy, but we all know she has always been a crybaby. Our couple waits outside to welcome the visitors, and they soon arrive. Sei is excited to see her mother-in-law, and the woman immediately hugs her. She has heard about the girl's pregnancy and is happy for the couple. Hearing Ritsuko call her family makes the girl cry again. The woman comforts her and says everything will be fine. Lord Suhaku also appears and hugs her. Sei is happy because she finally has her own family. But some people are still planning evil. To find out what happens next, comment and hit the follow button. Until next time, ciao!